Welcome back, everyone, to the Fast Life Podcast. Appreciate you guys joining us again. It's good to be back, right? Yes, so I don't know if you guys follow us on Instagram, our Fast Life Garage page, but we had brought up a topic today about, putting up a paywall basically and charging per podcast or making it a subscription-based thing. And just something we've been kind of looking into, not necessarily planning on doing it, but there's a lot of weird shit going on in the podcast world. That's, haven't felt it yet. You might not feel it for a while, but a lot of companies like Spotify and Amazon and, these big businesses are buying up a lot of podcast networks, right? Places like where we host our podcast at and things like that. And it might not mean anything. It might mean something, who knows? But more interestingly, podcasting in general has turned into one of the biggest, places where people spend a lot of time. They get a lot of information. It's looking like more people listen to podcasts nowadays, or are spending more time listening to podcasts than general radio. And even companies like Pandora and Spotify and these other companies that were streaming music are even hurting in some aspects from what I read, and finding that these guys are wanting to spend more money in podcasting. So I don't really know, man. There was also a really great podcast that was done by Joe Rogan a couple weeks back with Sam Harris, and they talked a lot about it there. And I just thought it was interesting. A good topic for debate. We have a lot of Patreon supporters that help us keep this podcast going. And we have also the sponsors, which also help fund a lot of the things that we do on this podcast and places we go and what it costs to operate. And some of it just for the time that I spend doing it. So as of now, the Patreon is the best way to support it, and as well as, reaching out to the companies that you hear in our sponsors, letting them know that it works. I mean, you might not be interested in the products they sell or the service they have, but, just saying what's up sometimes helps, right? But anyway, I guess on a good note though, this week soon coming up, D&D is going to be at fucking Daytona. Yeah, so if you're going to be out in Daytona and you've been hearing us talk about this Redshift cam, this 468 cam by Zipper's Performance, and basically D&D is going to be doing an offer. So if you either have a D&D exhaust or get one, he's going to be installing that cam for $1,000. That's cam, push rods, lifters, labor, all that for $1,000. If that's what I'm reading, you know what I mean? So if that's the truth, get with D&D, 844D and Pipe. Maybe you guys can schedule an appointment to come through and see about getting that done while in Daytona. Just check it out, man. From what I'm hearing, man, that cam's amazing. I have a lot of friends that run it. I personally plan to run it. I'm trying to reach out to Zipper's Performance and see about doing a podcast with them ourselves and find more information about the cam. Maybe even find out how much cams they sold off, all of us talking about it on this podcast. So anyway, check out D&D on Instagram and on their website, D&D Pipe. Fucking it up. 844 D&D Pipe. Call in that order. Just check them out. See what they got to offer. I also want to thank Texas Performance Motorcycles and, what Mark does for this podcast and what he does to keep my bike on the road. So thank you, Mark. Check him out. Cedar Park, Texas. I think he was just at the drag show this weekend. And, looks like he had a good time getting away for a minute. I know he has a ton of work going on, and you can always check all his stuff out on Instagram at Texas Performance MC, as well as follow his website. I don't know why you do that, but you can check it out, texasperformancemc.com. I also want to thank Paint Huffer Metal Flake. We'll be probably doing a podcast with him next week, or actually this Friday, I think. If everything goes right and this weather holds off a little bit and I can jump on this bagger and ride to Phoenix on Friday, then, Friday night when I get there after banging out hopefully 1,100 miles, I'm going to drink a beer with him and do a podcast with him. So let's hope that everything holds off and that becomes a reality. Check out Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram, as well as painthuffer.com if you want to order any cool flakes, pearls, tapes, and other cool shit like that. Whew. Yeah. Awkward, huh? You expecting another sponsor? Well, we lost one. That kind of was back to a point that we were kind of bringing up about this paid sponsorship thing or whatever you want to call it, the paywall. It was a consideration because, we lost a sponsor because they didn't want us to have a particular guest on, and I don't really want to create any drama about it or anything, but I just feel like, this podcast is not for, it's for you guys to listen to and get information from all things that I can get my hands or I think is interesting or whatever the case may be. But, I don't really want to be told I can't have somebody on this podcast or I can't bring on somebody that I may or may not have an issue with. If they're doing cool shit and I see it, I want to bring it out. So, that was another reason why, like, I don't, when this podcast grows and it gets bigger and the sponsorship money gets more, some people in that field feel like they, I hate to use the word own you, but in a sense, and I don't want to do that. I want to do what the fuck I want to do and get drunk and say dick and trade buttholes for bikes on Craigslist. I want to do that because it's real and authentic, and, keeping this thing monetized within ourselves is what allows those types of things to happen. So anyway, don't want to bring this on too long. I know you guys have been waiting to hear back from Joe Kidd, and he came through. I also want to say that his younger brother was with him, and they were here in Texas picking up a truck from a good friend of ours, Robert Cheek, down there in San Antonio, Say Days on Instagram. He also was the one that helped me out on getting us that van earlier last year. So good dude, helping out Joe too. FXR hands, helping out FXR hands. It's always a good thing. Unfortunately, though, on the trip back, man, they ended up catching some ice and they ended up wrecking. I don't think they messed up the truck at all, but basically Joe's younger brother, Martin, out here, they were picking up a pizza truck, a trailer that was going to, he was going to start this little pizza business in. And, they picked it up here just outside of Dallas, and then they were headed back to NorCal, Lodi area. And, man, it just, caught one of those storms moving across the country. And, I guess in Cali, they're not used to driving in that stuff, or I don't think anybody would be good at driving in that shit, especially with a big ass trailer and some ice and some hills and mountains and stuff. So ended up, fucking that trailer up pretty good, man. So if you're hearing this, man, reach out to Joe, show him some love, show his little brother some love, let him know you care about him and you're glad he's doing okay. So at any rate, check out this podcast, man. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
Cool. Here we are.
Are we already on?
Yes. Welcome back to Texas, Joe.
Thank you. I like this place.
So you really thinking about coming here, man?
Yeah. Seriously, I mean, yeah.
Well, let's back up first. Let's talk about where we left off. You was in the process of moving back towards Lodi and stuff like that. Like, how was all that? I mean,
Well, okay, I'm back in Lodi. It was expensive to move, obviously, moving 2,000 miles and a bunch of bikes and a bunch of vehicles and everything else. So, yeah, I'm back there, and I'm really happy to be back because I didn't really like Minnesota very much. But I'm not bound to that place either. I thought I would never leave there, but I don't know. I'm just doing my thing, trying to get back in my groove, I guess, if you will.
Is this the cost of it being back up there kind of pain in the ass dealing with,
Nah, I live cheap.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I got that down.
That's cool.
Nah, man, it's, fuck, I don't know. Just the area isn't, I don't know. I just thought I missed all my friends that I grew up with and stuff, and we're all old motherfuckers now. We don't kick it like we were kids,
Yeah.
So, my kids are there. That part's obviously something that makes me want to be around there, but yeah, looking at Texas real estate, it's very enticing.
In my opinion, the hard reason to leave here is being in the middle of the country. It's a day's drive or ride anywhere. You know what I mean?
Talking about that on the way here.
Yeah, exactly. I like the location a lot for that reason.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not too far from any oceans and stuff. I mean, pick a coast and just head out. I like that. Or even the third coast, like down.
Yeah,
down
I mean,
south
it's the worst coast there is, but
yeah, right.
It's still there.
Yeah, no, it is. It does the same thing, Galveston is not one of my favorite places I've ever been, but I don't know. I go trip around a little bit.
There's a lot of things that take place in just the Midwest in general, like a lot of cool events and shows they're just kind of lacking flavor and style, like Galveston is one thing, and Rock Rally in Austin's another one that are big events, but it's just kind of ran by much older generations of bikers than like you or I or our scene, you know what I mean? As opposed to like a lot of the things that take place in Cali, seems like it's more put on and operated by guys in our culture, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So the events out there are a lot more fun and shit.
Younger,
you know?
Younger, more based around stuff that we probably like more, you know, the performance type bikes and stuff. You know, I always laugh. I always feel funny saying that with Harleys.
Yeah.
It's because
it's an oxymoron.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's performance and Harleys, like, fuck. But I mean, they're coming along. I mean, the stuff people are doing out there, making these bikes ride.
Dude, it's like I've used this analogy before. It's no different than if you took a 1969 anything car,
right,
and you put a big ass motor in it. The suspension still sucks. The brakes still suck. Technically, the motors still suck. You know what I mean? So there's new technology you throw into that, and it makes them handle, work better, and everything. So the same thing with a Harley. It's like nowhere near as fast as a GSXR, Suzuki, Kawasaki, any of that shit. But it feels a lot cooler when it is fast like that. It might not never be that quick, but when you put the money in it and it fucking runs and does wheelies, it feels a lot cooler than...
I'll tell you right away, one thing that hasn't changed in the last year since we did this is I'm still all about my FXRs, man. Marty,
true.
My brother bought a Softail style bike. Those, I don't know if you call them Softails or not. I don't like that name for him either, but he bought one of those monoshock bikes, and I gave it a lot of love, man. I got to be real. I was impressed with it, actually. You know, the motor still feels doesn't have that old school V twin soul that I like those Evos do, you know, and even the early twin cams. But the way the bike handled, real fast handling, felt real light, well balanced, stuff like that. The chassis felt really good. Didn't feel all fucking like riding on a bag of mashed potatoes or something. You know, it was nice that way. So. But I'm not sold on that.
Yeah, there still needs to be catch up with the aftermarket to kind of give these bikes a little bit more personality. Yeah. But it's come a long way. I mean, when they first came out, like, we were all on the fence, and then, you know, guys like Mark really helped sell it.
Yeah,
you
Mark's
know what I mean?
bike. I've seen some tastefully done versions of that bike now, and I've kind of been paying attention to what people are doing with them, but more so for me, man, it's the ride. It's that soul. It's that connection to the bike, and those do nothing for me, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
There is something super weird. Like, you know, this trip I got coming up next week is going to be the first time I've ridden that bike anywhere far. And even last year when I went to Daytona, I had the bagger, but I rode the FXR. My homie rode the bagger. So I haven't really, you know, that you are right. There's just so much more connection to the bike, and especially that FXR. So it's kind of... I'm kind of excited to see how this bike feels. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm not worried about it breaking down. Right. So that really loving your bike and letting it know that you care about it and wanting it to take care of you on this trip, it's not there. It's more like a side check. You know what I mean? You just want to fuck it.
Treat it dirty and see how it handles that, you know?
Exactly.
Give it a real world test, though. Which is what I want to hear. You know, I want to hear that. I want to know how that goes from dudes that ride FXRs or like-minded bikes. You know. You know
I've been you know, I think about it all the time. I've had to stop looking for FXRs because I get into that. Like, I need a car right now. I don't even have a fucking car to drive. So it's like, but I'm on fucking Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace looking at bikes and shit.
Well, you know, all right, so. Here's something that's going on. The FXR scene, market, whatever you call it, it's very different than what I felt before. I've really been trying to understand it, you know. So what I do a lot. I'm not I think I've said this probably on here, and just people that know me for sure know this. I'm not like a I don't even know how to say it. I don't follow the trends of stuff very well, or like why shit's happening. Guys will have a good understanding of the economic reasonings and shit like that. The market, basically. I'm just a biker, man, and so I don't understand why people have all their theories about that scene and what's going on with it, and why maybe prices are up or down, and is it these raffles, right? A lot of guys were saying, you know, because the raffle phenomenon has just gone fucking bananas, right? Yeah. And that's something funny, because I feel like I was one of the first dudes I seen doing that on Facebook, and now it's like a common thing that... like more than common. It's fucking
the
crazy.
whole raffle thing. I've talked to Henzo about this a few times, and even FXR Mike, and it's like on one hand, the raffle thing is annoying as fuck, and I'm tired of seeing it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, like say if my gold bike, if I was trying to sell it outright, it would have been, in my opinion, it would have been easier to ask like 20 grand for that bike or 25 or whatever, and got it through a raffle as opposed to someone just having that 20 grand to 25 grand.
That's been proven.
Yeah.
That's why dudes are doing it.
That bike would have been worth it though.
Yeah, but the only issue, I think the thing that people don't want to see is all these bullshit ass bikes, these basic bikes online.
Here's what I know right away from when I first did it. If your revenue exceeds the value of what you're raffling, it just, people don't like that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it just feels shitty. Like, a raffle is supposed to be for that guy getting it for $100. It's for him.
Yeah.
I believe, that's like what you're doing. You're like trying to build this as this dude's gonna get a bike for $100. But if you're exploiting that and making a ton of fucking money, people are gonna feel like you're being kind of shitty,
Yeah.
And I don't feel, I'm kind of I have no opinion. I don't give a shit either way.
Yeah.
But I sell these bikes for bread and meat, so I don't know if those raffles are fucking me over in some way, and I don't get it. I don't see it. I'm gonna sell my bikes outright. I'm not gonna raffle.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't even have a PayPal anymore. So I don't, or a Venmo or anything. I don't have a bank account. I'm not planning on raffling shit, and I'm building some nice bikes, and I'm gonna ask fucking top dollar for them. And I'm going to give top dollar bikes, what I feel like they're worth.
I've had a lot of people say I should raffle off helmet paint jobs and shit, but it's just like, man, I don't have a problem selling paint helmets as is.
Right.
So adding a raffle aspect.
I don't know if it's devaluing what we have, if it's like devaluing.
That's a good point, man.
But I don't understand. These are the things I've been thinking about this shit every day, man. It's been on my mind at least once a day. I've been wondering, like, are these raffles doing anything to fuck with me in my life or anything? And I don't know. I don't see if it does.
I think,
or not.
you had touched on like the market and just the concept and all these conversations that take place, whether on podcasts like this or just in general with people that like FXRs and buy shit, right? But I feel like, other than a handful of people, like if people were just still riding these bikes, getting out, ripping them and running them, they'd have more to talk about than this other bullshit, wondering if it's valuable or not. You know?
Bro, okay, here we go. So I've got caught up in social media, I'm gonna say. I don't even know what it is, man. Just fucking, I strayed away from who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
I started worrying about how many bikes I was selling and what kind of money they were bringing. And you know what? I had to finally check myself and say, you know what, Joe? You're a fucking biker. First and foremost, all I give a fuck about is riding my bike. Like I was just telling you, I'm gonna ride from California to Daytona. That's what matters to me. That's what's fucking important. Like the other shit is just a means to get that money to do that.
Yeah.
And to eat and everything else. So I got caught up, man, like watching other people and just raffles and everything, man, just seeing what's going on in that and my scene,
It kind of puts a competitive nature that I think we all
weird,
have.
Man. Yeah, I started looking at it too business. You know what? Fuck that.
Yeah.
It ain't a business. I've said that since day one. I didn't want to do this for a business. I mean, I do it as a means, as a necessity, not a desire.
Yeah.
It's still that way. Fuck, I've been considering getting a job so I don't have to sell my motorcycles anymore. Dude, I'm sitting on some badass bikes, and the nicer I make them, the more money I get for them, the more I need to sell them. So people will tell me when I make one that is pretty tight, they're like, yo, why don't you hang on to that one? I'm like, fuck no, that's a big earner.
Yeah.
That's going to give me enough money to put in my pocket to ride that little shitty one across country. Not even shitty, but just not as nice, So thank God I finally got back to being grounded to who the fuck I am. And you know what? I don't care. I don't care if motherfuckers raffle their bikes for $100 grand. I don't care what they do. I'm going to keep doing me and stay true to who I am. And I think that's important for me and my well-being, because I was over there, like I say, I was like it was changing me, like you know what I mean? And like you just said, though, is a good point, is that if motherfuckers were out riding their motorcycles and enjoying them, none of this other bullshit would matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get out there and ride your fucking bikes, dudes. And ladies,
and that's exactly why, this trip that I got planned next week, it was just like I was here in town going to Fort Worth, and it was like 36 degrees, right? And it was kind of misty. It was a stupid day to be on a bike, but that's all I got right now, right? And I'm like, man, this ain't bad. I can fuck with this. I'm like, man, I need to get away. And I was like, fuck it. I have this opportunity in Vegas to go do some graphics on a bike real quick, so 3 days. make the rest of my money I need to make for the year or for the month, and then go to LA and hang out, see some homies, do some podcasts, and then more than anything, man, just like recenter myself.
Get back and find out what you do this shit for.
The only ride I really did last year was Daytona, and the one that the one that me and my brother went on to Indianapolis and all that stuff that happened.
I'd be willing to bet you that 99.9% of people in the motorcycle industry got to wherever the fuck they are because they wanted to ride a motorcycle. In the very beginning of their infancy, the biggest shops in the country, in the world, guarantee the fucking dude that's ahead of that probably just used to ride at one point.
They all did. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I will say that I think that there's probably people, like, put it like this, like, for instance, like right now in the big wheel bagger world, the biggest shit is stereos, right? So there's a lot of shops that do stereo work that have found like money in these baggers, so they started working on baggers.
Right.
They'll ride them, but they don't have that connection, and that was one thing that I felt like a lot of people in that scene never experienced from Jump Street. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That riding connection to the road, to I'm leaving, don't know if I'm gonna come home tonight kind of feeling.
You gotta break down sometimes,
Yeah.
man. It's fucking fun to fix your shit on the road. It feels good, Like
that's how we met, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But so at the same time, there's other side of that coin where these shops, they, one thing I love about Mark is that he continues to keep his business as small as possible. But I mean, he's in demand, so there's so much. He has a huge waiting list to get worked on. But not for him, but I know a lot of shops that completely lose the desire to be around bikes because of working on so many of them, dealing with so many different types of customers and people.
That's what was happening to me, man. I was getting annoyed with people, just with the whole thing. I was like, this shit isn't even fun to me anymore. But I was too fucking worried about a business or like, my name, man. I've seen dudes lately. Something just recently happened on Facebook. Some dude was kind of trying to get on me, like made some fucked up post, just kind of being, I don't know, taking shots at me and something. Man, I let that get to me, to my heart. Like I was like, if I see this dude around, I'm gonna.
I get it.
Good,
I get it, man, because you're an honest dude, and you really are a shining light of what it is to be a motorcycler, biker, whatever you want to call it. And a love for a bike. So it's like you don't really put any shade out there to need that. I mean, you have an opinion, but it's an earned opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of how I feel, man, is that I've always said that type of shit too. As I earn my right to feel however the fuck I feel.
Yeah.
I'm out there grinding it out, man. I'm building bikes, fucking painting bikes, doing every facet, cutting them up, welding them, fucking doing all this shit, and riding the fuck out of them, thousands and thousands of miles every year consistently, man. I go to all the events on my bike. You don't ever see me roll up unless I happen to be there for business, buying bikes or something like that.
Yeah.
But 90% of the time, you're gonna see me on my shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, like homie started hating on me and whatever on there, and I just had to like take a step back and say, you know what, fuck what that dude thinks. I don't care about this clown.
Yeah.
I'm living my life. You know what, man? It can't hurt me. Whatever he's trying to say. He was hating on me. My shop looks all messy. My floor's all dirty. But really, that was a house that I owned. I had 13 or 14 bikes right behind the camera of my video that he's hating on. My messy floor. You know what, homie? I own that house and that acre of land and the trucks are in the driveway and the motorhome on the side of the yard and all the mess in the fucking ground and the 14 Harleys. Homeboy doesn't own shit.
Yeah.
He might have a couple bikes, but he ain't got shit. So I did think, you know what? Don't let the shit get to you, Joe. Just fuck them. People are gonna hate or whatever. And then I get all weirded out about kids that are fucking with FXRs and they don't have that love for it.
It's the fad aspect of it.
Yeah, that fad thing, man.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. But this is shit that's not something that is common for me.
Yeah. Well, to touch on that, just to give you another perspective also is like, I agree that, being into bikes in general for just the fad aspect of like, check out me, I'm this guy, or I have this type of bike. But that to me, it's okay if that's what got you to get into the bike, but you should at some point either fall in love with that bike and be someone that like, okay, I got into this because I heard about it. It was, it was a fad that pulled me in, but now I'm hooked. I'm about this life.
Right.
You know, but some people just, you know, bikes are...
they don't get that bug from it.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. I'm like...
It's weird.
I'm like, what the fuck, man?
You know?
I don't know. So, but with all that being said, I've removed myself from that. I don't give a fuck, man. Bunch of little nerds want to buy these bikes and just have them in their garage just to have them and shit.
Just talk about
I
them.
can't trip off the shit. I just can't worry about other people. I got to try to stay in my fucking lane, do what I do, and just try to enjoy. I used to have so much fun with this shit, man. When I first got on FXRs, it was like I was so stoked that I found this. Like, damn, dude, I've been fucking around with these other Harleys since I was a teenager, and now I'm on the dopest shit there is, you know. And like, I just loved it, and you couldn't phase me with nothing. Because I was just out riding the fuck out of these bikes all the time.
There's also that whole FXR scene, you know, which is why it's like when people still ask me, like, what do I get it all the time, like, what do you like better, that new bagger or the FXR? It's like, well, the new bagger's fucking nice, dude. Like, I can't deny that. It's a brand new fucking bike that is got a lot of amenities, and all I do is hit a button, it starts.
You hear me, bro?
Yeah.
I always give it a fair. I don't never come in here and just fucking hate on any bike like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, fuck that thing. I
But
told you, like, it doesn't get me, man. And if it did, I would fuck with it.
But you know, like the FXR, like it sucks because I feel like my real opinion about it is getting so far in my past now that, like, I don't know, like, I don't remember what it was like. I remember things about the trips and about the rides, but it's been a minute since, you know, that trip to Cali that I took, or the trip to this or that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And those trips are always start off like, you know, fuck, man, like, I should make it. Yeah. And then the closer you get there, the more you rag on it because you're almost there, and you're like, fuck it, if I'm here, then, you know, I'll deal with it. If it blows up or something don't go right, you know.
I take off real slow and easy.
Yeah.
And then I get comfortable with the vehicle I'm on, and I start to learn its little quirks and its bullshit about it, and pretty soon I'm comfortable with that, and I'm like, yeah, this thing will, you know, I just start, next thing I know, I look down, I'm whooping on it, I'm going, you know. And I do that with every vehicle. It doesn't have to be an FXR or any, you know, this new pickup I bought right now, I'm out here buying. Started out real nice and easy on it, slow, feeling it out, feeling how it goes into the gears, and pretty soon I'm like, you know what, this thing's legit. I've just been fucking banging into gears and smashing the throttle and getting it, you know.
Just using it for his worth.
Yeah, I'm going to work that thing. I'm in love with that, man.
You know, this year for me, though, it's just about, you know, like, trying to level out, because I've had to deal with a lot of tax stuff, for at least for me and stuff. So if I can get that stuff handled, then next year I can go back into an FXR. But the reason I want to wait is just to be a little responsible on the adult side of me, you know. And you know, I want to do another FXR, but I want to, like, figure all the things that I learned building that bike, and things I learned I shouldn't have done or shouldn't have wasted my time on, like getting the right bike to start with, because it's going to be a full fairing bike, bags, everything again, because that's the look that I want.
We talked about that last time.
But, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, I want to do it right. Like, I don't want to, I want to be so worried about leaving, you know what I mean, on those trips, you know what I mean? I mean, some of that was because I built it with an Ultima motor.
Don't build it. Just get a little stock bike that you put on the side.
It's hard to ride.
Throw a carb pipe. Ignition, maybe a cam, but you don't really even need that, honestly. You throw a thunder header and a Makuni on a fucking stock motor, bro, you're ripping. I gear them up. That's where it's at.
I could probably see myself, you know, later on this year probably having a couple G's. And, you know, my boy Brad, like, I want to say you met him. He was,
hell yeah.
Yeah, so Brad.
I know Brad.
Brad fucking found a fucking FXR 2 miles from here for $2,000. It was a lowrider, like a 94, black motor, everything.
Yeah.
For $2,000.
Yeah, they're out
running.
There. Yep.
And I'm like, so it's sitting in his garage. He's about to start working on it again, and you know, it's one of those deals, man.
These bikes on the West Coast are not selling right now.
They're not?
No, bro. I had that nice cop bike that I just put together. Mind you, a lot of people noticed that the fresh powder coat didn't match the patina of a 30-year-old fairing, and it was $200 to powder coat it. It's not that big of a deal to change it or whatever you want to do, you know. But the bones were there, man. This thing was fucking bad. Motor's bad, everything. And when I built it, I fully intended that thing to sell for my asking price right away. And I thought I was being very fair. And it sat and sat and sat and sat. And I ended up taking, you know, a lot less money than what I feel. I mean, I know the bike's worth more than what I took. And but I had no choice. I mean, I couldn't. I banked on it selling right away, and it didn't. And I was like, fuck myself. I didn't have enough money to keep going. So I was like, shit, I got to do something.
It seems like you know, I know we're talking about the market again, but it seems like the $10,000 is like the cap for a lot of things. And then when you, because we talked about this before, it's like when you have a fairing, you know, a fairing on a just a stock, you know, full fairing on any of the bikes, it's like you can bring $8,000 or so is what it was kind of going around.
Yeah, 8 to 10 for sure.
But then like a full fairing, you know, full like cop bike or fucking RT or something, it's like we were talking like 10, 12, 14 grand.
That's the 10 to 15 grand range for sure. And I took under 10, and I was like, you know, but it's not, I'm not mad about it or nothing. See, that's what I mean. Like I let that bother me, and then I had to get back in touch with myself and realize, fuck it, man. I didn't lose anything. Yeah. So I get to keep going. I get to keep grinding. I just needed that money to keep putting more parts onto my other bikes, you know? Yeah. So I need to stop thinking business sense and market and all this shit and just do what I love, man, and just have fun with these bikes. Buy them because I want to buy them and ride them because I want to ride them and sell them because I have to sell them, you know? Yeah, yeah. I got that Jay Leno money like I always talk about.
That's cool. I'll give you a job to make the pizza.
Yeah, I considered going back to Harley right when I got to Cali. I thought, because I can make good money over there, decent enough to live and everything.
How the dealerships? You still talking about the one like, was it
Modesto's where I was going to go back to? Yeah,
they still got that one in French Camp or whatever.
Yeah, Eagle's Nest. I don't know. That's more of a, I don't know. It's Sacramento. Harley Davidson owns it, I think, and I think it's more of a businessy vibe as far as the ownership goes. Where Art Mitchell still owns Mitchell's. And he's like a good dude, like a friend, you know, more than the owner of a dealership, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought about going back over there, and then I think about this ride I'm about to take to Daytona, and I can't do that shit with that job. So then I'm like, well, fuck, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the scary thing about me, because I've had a couple offers as well to do some things, and the one I mean, like if I was to downsize my paint business and just do it like on the side of another hustle, like I'd be balling. You know what I mean? Yeah. Me too. That's kind of how I feel. Because I could do 2 helmets a month, and that extra, you know, $3,000 a month on top of whatever I'm paying is just fuck off money. You know what I mean? Fuck yeah. But realistically, the main reason I turned it down is that I don't want the experiences that I plan to have on my motorcycle to be determined by a job. Yeah, you wouldn't be going on this ride you're about to go on. Yeah, exactly. You know, I would have to put in for to get approved for vacation stuff, which I know is the majority of people that want to do these kind of things. But it's kind of like once you've done it, it's hard to give up that freedom. And it's not so much freedom like, oh, I'll wake up when I want to, go to work when I want to, get off when I want to, not work if I don't want to. It's more like, no, if I can afford to go and I got everything in line, I can just go to Cali. I could just go to fucking, Daytona or whatever. Yeah. And the crazy thing, man, because I grew up around a lot of old bikers back in the 80s and shit. My whole family was in this stuff. And you just see these guys, and, just society itself was kind of like telling you, like, oh, you should have a house and a family and a career in your 40s and 50s. And here are these old fucks with long gray hair, choppered out, just free, I wouldn't say freeloading, but just free living, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. And it's like, the older I get, man, the more I'm like, dude, that dude's got it figured out. Even when I own a house or have like this huge equity of like owning things and this, but he's fucking freer than everybody else. All my life I've been watching these little old biker dudes that look like they're homeless walk over to a badass fucking scooter, like doesn't even fit them. All my life I've seen this, and it's like, and then they got a badass old lady too a lot of the times. They look like it's their daughter, and then I see them stick their tongue down their neck. I'm like, God, that dude is a fucking gangster. Yeah. All my life, man. My dad was one of those dudes, girls were my age shit. And that's who I want to be, man. I don't care about none of this other shit. That's kind of what I'm saying is I want to just I want to go all in on just being a biker again, that's who I am, man. That's just all I want to do, is just that right there. I don't care about a home. I still to this day I don't have a bank account. People nowadays, I talk to this all the time, talk about this with people, and they're like, how do you even live, because they're so fucked up and brainwashed by the government, fucking just the way the government works, you know. You have to have a bank account. I'm like, bullshit. I'm an outlier, motherfucker. I don't need people in my business. Why? I can't manage my own fucking money. My safe is lesser quality than the one they're gonna put your cash in at the bank. Yeah. Fuck that. You don't need that, How do you even buy and sell and do things? I'm like, shit, man. I'd work on a handshake a lot, That's why I drive all over the country. I like that interaction, man. Everything's getting lost with people, PayPal, they don't even want to fucking see you. You sell them a bike, they just want you to ship it to them. You never even get to meet the guy. then he might get something and doesn't even like what he got. So check this out. Parts. So bikes aren't selling, parts are fucking crazy. Parts are bringing top dollar, easy sales. Everybody's got all the bikes, I guess, now. The FXRs are so popular now that all these dudes got FXRs. Now they're like, well, the fuck do I get parts at? So now the parts, I've been slanging all my parts now just to make ends meet, you know?
Yeah.
And so even doing that, I did one run on Instagram, a little hustle on Instagram. I just got rid of a bunch of my shit. And even that, I had a guy get back at me and be like, hey, I'm not really happy with what I got, you know, and this and that. And I'm like, dude, I mean, I slightly feel for you, but at the same time, like, dude, you're a grown-ass man, you know? If you don't know what you're doing or what you were getting, I mean, I gave you good parts. This is what this shit is. It's 30-year-old stuff. If you don't know, there was nothing wrong with what I gave him. It's all usable shit. But he just didn't feel comfortable about his purchase or whatever. Had we done that on a handshake, none of that shit would happen. And we would probably, that little, you know, it's that little uncomfortable feeling between us now, you know, and I don't hope he doesn't have it for me because I don't have it for him. I mean, in the initial, that annoyed the fuck out of me. I'm like, well, why are you even
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, like, these different types of people are coming into the scene and they're not used to, like, you know, like I said, a 30-year-old part.
That's what I mean about how I was getting tainted. I was getting burned out, you know, like, because these people don't appreciate, they don't even know what this is. It's like, you know, why are you trying to fuck with these bikes just because you see me riding around on mine and now you want to do it? You know, man, you got to earn this shit, bro. These bikes are not easy to deal with. All the little jokes about calling them fixers and shit, I don't like that. I never even use that term, but you know what I mean? I mean, I'm my bikes, I'm lucky. Not even that I'm some fucking badass wrench. I just have always had good running bikes, you know?
And I mean, you know what you're looking at and what you're looking for.
Yeah, but you still got to get lucky. You could have a bike that looks perfect and it's a fucking turd. It's going to give you tons of hell. And it could be badass. I've bought shit that was really nice in the whole beginning and needed lots of work, you know? So me and Marty rode cross country together, and I had the nicest fucking bike on the road, man. And his was old and kind of questionable. We just bought it.
$1,000 sight unseen, bro. I smashed across at 90 miles an hour, 2,000 miles home without a glitch, not a drop of oil,
Yeah, right. But my bike was fancy, brand new build. We all knew it was frame up build, and I was the one on the side of the road taking parts off, fucking scraping powder coat off of covers and shit because I got leaks and stuff going on. You know what I mean? But mechanically, I've always been lucky. I mean, I was just talking to Robert down in Texas, and he just blew a bunch of gears off of the back of his tranny, you know? Like, I don't know if he's riding harder than me or what he's actually doing to do that, but just other guys, you know, so if you don't love these bikes and that happens, then you start hating on the bike and the whole scene, the whole thing. Fuck FXRs, I'm going to sell this thing and blah, blah. And that kind of shit was getting to me, you know, and then now I'm like, you know what, it don't matter. Just go ahead, buy their bikes from them cheap then and fix the little dumb shit that's wrong and keep on grinding, you know?
They'll come in waves. I mean, like I said, I felt like a lot of the chopper dudes, you know, were coming into the dynos and some of them were just staying with the FXRs and stuff like that, so... But it's really hard to tell, you know what I mean? Because
when I sell a bike to a chopper dude, they're blessed with what they got.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Okay, I like those guys. I always think of my buddy Gary. I don't know his last name, but he's a good motherfucker. I just seen him at the swap meet this weekend. And Gary was a chopper dude, and I sold him his first FXR. Bro, he's been through that motherfucker, the motor tranny, every part, heads, everything. And every time he tells me about it, he doesn't tell me like it was an annoyance. He tells me like it was fucking awesome that he had that shit broke that he had to put, and then he fixed it way better. But he's schooled that way. He's riding old fucking panheads and shit, man. They're breaking all the time. So he's already hip to the fact that got it, you know, and I love that guy for that, you know what I mean? I like him. I see him, I'm like, dude, I just want to hug that kid. Then I get other guys that I sold a guy a really nice bike, police bike, and the speedo or something fucked up on him, and he acted like it was my fault, you know, and he ended up buying one from another guy and got taxed for it, and then he's like tells me about it with a little bit of animosity, like, I had to go buy a fucking speedo for this bike. Well, you should have asked me, dude, because I have one. I gave you one. He said, well, the one I bought has problems anyway. So I still ended up giving him one. He probably didn't even need the one I gave him, but
just out of
you know. And so those people doing that type of shit, I'm like, man, this isn't the bike for you.
That goes back to, like, you know, like there's a lot of dope ass people out there, and like I've said many times, like some of the coolest cats I know came from this FXR community. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, still all my buddies.
I really haven't had any like dudes in the scene that are like legit FXR like enthusiasts ever give me any issues, anything, right? But you get some people out there that are spending a lot of money, and it's a different kind of transaction for those people. It's a purchase. They want to be treated like,
I can tell.
Like it's
I can tell by their questions.
Yeah.
They'll literally ask, "Is this bike gonna get me down the road?" I'm like, "You're asking me shit I can't really answer."
Yeah.
I hope so. I don't want it to fuck up on you, but realistically, bro, I can't give you, and I'm not trying to dissuade them from buying the bike or anything, but I am going to be real. I can't fucking give you a guarantee on nothing, man.
Yeah.
On a brand new bike, they shit the bed all the time, man. Especially this new shit, got all kinds of weird plastic parts down in the lower ends of those bikes, balancers and shit like that. I don't even know what's all in there, but they fuck up, like cam chain tensioners on twin cam, twin cams. That is just something that is going to fail. So if a guy's buying a T-Sport from me, this ain't going to make it to cross country, I would ride it, but if it breaks on you, bro, don't come looking at me like I did you wrong or something, because it's not. Well,
there's also enough information out there that people that are like doing, if they do the right research, the ones that I hate are the ones that just ask questions.
Nah, I'm telling you, yeah.
Do research and then fill in the void with the right questions. Like, look, you go to any fucking Facebook forum for sure, and you could put in, which they might not be that helpful, but you could put in on the search, like, 86 to 91, like what do I do to change it, from a newer tranny in the older bikes? Like, what all I got to swap out?
Right.
Like, there's enough information on there to find that.
On that forum, on the FXRs of California forum on Facebook, and dude, I don't even know how that thing has fallen off so bad.
For real.
Fucking heartbreaking, man. It just, that is it's horrible. I don't know what happened. I think all the old heads on there got tired of answering these questions, and the youngsters that are coming in, they seem to not even really care about any of this shit. They don't care about the bikes enough to really even want to pursue the top quality setups and things and listen to guys that have been doing it, and they just don't even give a fuck. They want to strap on some new school trendy parts that look cool and hope that
get some likes on Instagram. Yeah.
I want to make a t-shirt that says, on the front it says choppers are alive, and on the back it says bikers are dead. I've been talking about doing this. It's like my slogan of 2018 at the end. By the end of 2018, I was so jaded with this whole thing. I'm like, fucking bikers are dead, man. There ain't even no real bikers anymore. What it really means to just pull over on the side of the road in your sleeping bag and fucking just sleep, wherever you fell and shit. It's like being a biker isn't even a pride-filled thing anymore, man. It's like people just they've lost touch with that old school fucking earning it. It's always what I say, earning it. It's fun. It makes it so much more enjoyable.
In the response to that, I even question myself, this trip I'm about to do, I want it for myself. I want to go solo for myself. But I'm also going to do a lot of videoing, a lot of Instagramming, and all that shit. And so it makes me feel
about you. You did a camp out.
Uh-huh.
That's that old school vibe, man. You like it. You understand it. You may not even know it.
Yeah.
But you are into that. You are.
The thing is, I guess where I question myself is putting it on, it's almost like giving away to charity, but then hey, check out me handing this homeless guy $10.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it feels like, doing it.
But I think your intent is just to make people aware. You're trying to keep being a biker alive by doing that, because that's where people are. You're not going to reach them on the road. You got to reach them through social media now. That's where everybody's at.
Yeah.
Every motherfucker today is on their phone. While we're talking right now, every single dude we know during this podcast, as we sit here and bullshit, is going to check their phone and their Instagram at least once, right?
Yeah.
So you have to. That's just the means we have nowadays to reach these people. But at least you're doing shit to influence people to come and camp out. You like to talk about Steve from Came Down. That dude's a biker, man.
He is a biker.
I like that guy, and he rips his bike. I never rode a mile with him, but I've heard you talk about how he got on his fucking his Ultra, his Glide, just went out and just railed it on that Road Glide.
Yeah.
I seen his bike. I know he loves his shit, dude. He puts a lot of love into it, a lot of money.
Yeah, there's that aspect of when people are focused more on what they're doing on bikes instead of putting so much emphasis on the bike itself, then you kind of weed out all this fucking animosity that's related to money and the purchases made and those kind of things.
All you guys out there listening to this, if you don't cross state lines on your bike, you're a pussy.
Straight up.
Yep. Yeah, and I could say that because I'm going to cross state lines here in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And all my homeboys that are my friends, they all do it.
And that don't even count for you East Coasters. It's like 100 miles to the coast.
Last year, how many miles you put on in less than a month or 2 months? We rode from Minnesota, bro, 2,000 miles. He rode all the way to California with me, then continued on to L.A., went to San Diego, came back, jammed to Colorado to sell that bike, ended up selling that bike, went back to his house, got another bike.
I had a big summer. I had like a 20,000 mile summer.
Dude, in like a month.
And I hear dudes brag about how many miles they don't have on their shit, and I'm like, you guys are dorks, man.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing this for? Like, go out there, fucking go, and like I just said a minute ago, I don't give a fuck, man. If you don't cross state lines on your bike, if you've never crossed a state line, not even a one, then fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Live your life. Figure it out. Quit your fucking job, man. Quit being a slave to the system that doesn't give a fuck about you, and live your life for you. Don't worry about paying in all these taxes to a bunch of, like I say, a bunch of political people that aren't, paying into a system that gives two fucks about you. You get nothing in return. You can't even go to the fucking doctor. You know what I mean? Like, man, get out of that shit, man. Just, fuck, dude, sell all your fucking stocks and shit.
You met that dude, Scotty Kegel or something like that he's been living on his bike since like 92.
I keep hearing about that.
He's in Cali a lot. Just, I mean, obviously the weather, and he camps just about everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like following that dude on Facebook and shit, and man, and he did a podcast with Danger Dan. Okay. It was pretty good.
Yeah, good.
But man, like that shit it's crazy because, like, you know, there's a part of me that wants that life, you know what I mean? But the responsible side of me with a wife and kids.
Yeah, how do you do it? It's
so there,
fucking,
I still think that there is a middle ground.
Remember the money and the time.
Yeah.
You know, like that applies. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to have the money and the time. How the fuck do you do that? Most guys will listen to me say that and go, oh, fuck you, Joe. It's easy for you to say that because you don't have to, you know, you're not wife and kid up and all this shit, you know, or whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know. But other dudes do it. Why the fuck can't you?
You know, a lot of dudes ask me all the time. He goes, man, like, how do you get your wife to let you do that kind of stuff? I was like, let me.
Yeah, right.
Like,
it's
you know,
a compromise.
My wife knows that how much this stuff means to me. And so if that was my wife and she knew how much riding and having these experiences mean to me, regardless of whether the fact that she may or may not be a part of those experiences, like, why would you want to be with somebody that doesn't allow you to have any kind of happiness? You know what I mean?
Last time I was married and now I'm divorced, man.
Yeah.
And I told you in the podcast, I didn't go into it, but I said that my job, my lifestyle, how I live is really affecting my home life and stuff, you know, and I didn't really elaborate, but yeah, man, I love my wife. She's, you know, I don't know that I'll ever even get married again. Who knows? I don't know what happens in life, but I'll tell you this much. I love that person and that'll never change. And I have nothing but love and respect for her. But, you know, she's not as committed to this shit as me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that going in either. I mean, I feel terrible because, you know, I didn't realize it was going to happen like this.
Yeah.
But I have to just be me. And so, and she's a trooper, man. She let me, you know, you've seen me on the road so many times.
Yeah.
I go every year all over the fucking place. And she was good about it. But at the same time, it affected her in other ways. Not the immediate thing, like about what I did, but it would come through in her whole attitude. It would just hurt her feelings more or less. I remember one time she told me, I wish I was an FXR, you know, you give me much attention as you do these fucking bikes. And, you know, I heard it, but I don't care, man. That doesn't touch on my heartstrings. I'm like, girl, you can get on the back, or you got to just figure it out. Like, just like I tell all of my homeboys that want to ride and make up excuses. It's kind of the same for her. It's like, look, I figure it out because I love this shit, man, that much that I navigate through my life and set myself up to be able to do this shit. I don't know. I mean, I fucking am proud to be a biker.
Yeah.
You know? A dirty old fucking tramp, man. That's just what I want to be. Town to town. Like I said it in the last podcast. It's something I'll always say is that, you know, I always dream about just riding from town to town and hustling into town. I don't fucking care what you got to do, man. Go to the grocery store and help people put their groceries in their car just to make a couple $20, $40 just to fill up your tank, get something to eat, roll to the next town. mow someone's lawn. You see someone out there pushing a lawnmower, some chick, you know, pull over, fucking, hey, let me get that for you. Give me $20, I'll mow your lawn real nice, you know?
Yeah.
Keep riding, man, because the way I always felt it was like, that's how my dad and his homeboys used to do it. They'd go to bars and they were bar gamed up, shot pool, played darts, you know?
Yeah.
Go in there and gamble. You might lose, man. You might have to turn your ass around with your tail between your legs, go back home, and, you know, just whatever you got to do. You got to get it done.
Well, yeah, it's
know?
like that kind of, you know, that is ultimately the I don't know the right word to use, but that's the romanticized lifestyle I think a lot of really bikers want to find a way to live. But
yeah,
you know, it's easy to, you know, it's easy to go on, like I've said a lot, man. You know, I'm geared up to go on this trip. You know, even the one in Cali that we're doing in June, geared up. You know, don't really pay too much attention to the wife, the family, everything here, because I'm getting, how's the bike? I got to make sure it's legit, and then I get on the road,
getting your gear together.
And it's usually not till after a couple of days of being gone that you kind of catch that, man, like, fuck, man, like I've been a dick to my wife for the last 3 months because I've been getting ready to go on this trip, and now I'm gone, and now like this trip's taking place, and I'm here, and it's happening, and I don't have all these worries anymore because I'm here enjoying it. And then you start thinking about like, fuck, man, like that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
you know, like I was saying with the whole wife thing, man, like I feel like when I'm happy as a person, I do things that make myself happy, then I come into my relationship as a more happy person to her, instead of expecting her to like fill the void of unhappiness.
Yeah,
you know,
you gotta be who you are, who you truly are.
And what that does,
who you are,
and
you
a
know?
lot of people have heard that, but what people don't realize is that if the other person isn't strong, then you see like jealousy or insecurity in the other person, because they start comparing themselves to the other things that you have in your life that make you happy. Right. And I've always just told my wife, I was like, look, if I'm ever not happy around you or don't find any type of happiness in you, I wouldn't be with you, just straight up. Like it'd be in.
That's where I ended up, man.
You know, but every day I'm here, and every day I wake up and I leave and I come back, it's because I fucking love you. So, you know.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if doing something that makes you happy, if like going on these trips or doing these things, like, you know, I could do like 5 trips a year, and then at some point I'm like, man, I really want my wife to come on one, and then she'll go, but I know she can't do them all, and I don't really want her to do them all, you know.
Right.
But man, it's weird, you know. Like I said, relationships and this lifestyle and motorcycles.
The season's coming up right now, bro.
Yeah.
In the next couple weeks, I'm gone. I'm gonna go to Florida, go down to the Keys, fuck around. I'm going to come back, catch Giddyup on the way home. And then right away in April, we're going to Laughlin. I'll probably go to Laughlin. And then May, I'll probably take off because June is the biggest one for me. That's Maggie Valley. And then it's going to be fucking dope this year.
So Maggie Valley, what's the date on that again?
Yeah, I think it's the first weekend of June again, June 10th or 12th or something. Yeah. I don't know. They've been posted 13th through the 16th, I feel like it is.
Okay.
I believe that's what I've seen. So you look at, man, I don't
so on
even
the
know
12th,
the dates,
like we're leaving to go to Cali on the 12th.
Right.
So we'll probably around that time, by that weekend. Yeah, I think we'll be in. We will be
passing you.
Yeah,
coming
we'll be
from California on the way to North Carolina, because it's going back to Maggie Valley this year. We did Arkansas last year, and that shit was
I heard
dope.
It was like super racist up there.
We were in the most. We were in the home, like the headquarters of the KKK. Harrison, Arkansas is like. I think it's the way it was told to me. That's the most prominent KKK area in the country or something.
Somebody was telling me about that shit, how fucking weird it was. I think it was Mark telling me about it.
I mean, I don't necessarily notice it. The only things that happened that I can point out to you that even showed any signs of that was I seen these flags hanging in front of people's houses. It's unlike anything I had ever seen. I can't even describe you the logo, but I can tell you right now I know what the shit was.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, it was hanging out, American flag on one side of their walkway, on their entry to their door, and that other flag hanging, you know.
Yeah.
And then at one point a carload of dudes rolled up into the hotel to see what we were up to. They were like in a little white fucking Ford Taurus or something. They had full back seat, 3 men in the back, 2 dudes up front. They rolled up. They didn't know it. Not one of them got out of the car. All right. They just looked at us all and we're like, what's up? And they're like, what are you guys up to? And we're like, we just rented out the hotel. We're all riding Harleys and shit. And they were like, right on. And then they took off. Like,
you got no black people in there, do you?
I mean, yeah, I don't know what they were looking for or what they thought was going on, but yeah, man, that was a cool place though. I dug it there. A neat little town. I mean, we all had a good time. That was a really good trip too, you know. Right when I pulled in the parking lot, I was so exhausted from riding. I fucking did a big burnout on the lower level of the parking lot down there and went right for a truck, man. I swear to God, it took everything in my whole fucking life to not hit that truck. I had my pack and everything still. Everything was still on the back of the bike, real heavy in the ass end. I still broke it loose, and that thing fucking hooked up better than I thought it was gonna. Shot me straight forward towards that fucking truck, man. Oh, dude, almost dumped my bike. First 5 minutes of being there, not even 5 minutes, you know. So,
are you gonna be able to make it back for Born Free and all that shit, or what?
Yeah. I'm coming straight back to go to Born Free.
Nice.
I'll probably come back, and I might. So now that I know you guys are planning on going, I'll probably just come catch up with you guys and follow you.
Yeah, we'll be in. Once we get like that Thursday before Born Free, we'll end up coming down, and we just got an Airbnb in like Venice, I think, for Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. So we're not gonna do Born Free on Sunday. Sunday morning, we're gonna wake up and do the Angels Crest Highway.
Yeah,
and then
that's
head
the
to
one
Vegas.
That's in New Mexico that you were talking.
Well, I don't know if it's.
Oh no,
that's the
something
one.
else.
That's the one that goes in those mountains just north of LA.
I wanted to go to that. We were talking about that before, and you were talking about it. There's a road in New Mexico up by Taos. Remember that guy that we rode with out there?
Yeah.
Everybody. There was this dude Amos that showed up in Arkansas and just fucking
was killing
schooled
everybody,
bro, on a stock ass bike too. He had nice shocks.
We're
on the
actually
back.
so when we leave LA from Born Free, we're gonna go to Vegas. So Sunday night we're staying in Vegas, and then Monday we're gonna be riding up into Utah and go hit Monument Valley,
Moab and shit. Yeah.
And I think we're gonna stay in Durango at Monday night.
That's
no.
Colorado, right?
We're gonna stay in Durango Tuesday night, and then we're gonna do all like the Taos and that it's like the Angel Fire,
something too.
Angel
That's
Fire.
What,
I think
when you said that last one, Angel's Crest or whatever.
Yeah, so we're gonna do all that and then head back home. So it's basically a 14-day trip.
Yeah,
totally.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's cool. Like I'm super stoked about going, man. But you know, that's 14 days. I ain't making a goddamn dollar.
I know.
So
don't worry about that.
Yeah,
you'll make more money. Otto, Mike Deutsch told me the other day. He said I told him, he turned me on to the C10 trader thing on Instagram, and I just fucking with him. Of course, I sent him a message and said, I'm mad at you for turning me on to this thing. I don't have enough money.
You've been posting all that fucking square body.
Oh
You've been posting.
Bro, I love it. It's badass. I've been wanting one of those for a minute. I used to fuck with hot rods, and I've been away from it. And now I'm not married and shit. I can be more selfish. I'm doing things more that I wanted to do for a while, you know. And back in California too, the cars aren't all rusted out. It's a better pickings over there.
Dude, I love that. I love like the mid 70 square bodies that have
so
that.
Fucking pumped on that truck, man. And it is a beast too.
For
That
real?
is not it looks cool, but it's a hot rod. The thing's got a 383 stroker that is fucking gets down. So what the fuck was I just going to tell you about? Oh, so I was fucking with Otto and saying, hey, you know, I'm mad at you for showing me that site, and I don't have the money to buy all these pickups. I want them all. And he goes, hey, man, money's the most replenishable resource that we got, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, fucking A right, man. Just tell it like it is, bro. That's keeping it real, you know? Like, don't.
See, I'm also trying to go to Sturgis, too. So it's a stacking of trips, you know, like bam, 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 being gone a week, 2 weeks at a time. And
I'm going to all of this shit. I'll be there. I'll be in Sturgis. I don't care if I'm if I gotta fucking, you know, pimp myself out just to get across the country, I will be there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to do that again. I didn't catch it, dude. Last year was a good year in a lot of ways, and a bad year in a lot of ways. Like I didn't get to do the things I wanted to do, but I created a lot of things that I forever am involved in now. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's, like that camp out shit is fun, and we got the other one coming up, so a lot of people come to that. And you know, we're trying to do them across the country, like in different spots. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be cool.
Like I'm trying to find. I want to do one in like Pismo Beach area. You know what I mean? Like get one and just. It's far enough away from LA and
it's
NorCal.
dope because it's in the center of the state, so people can come from both places. We've talked about that in the FXR community, doing a Maggie Valley on the West Coast and having it right centrally located where everybody from both ends of the state can kind of get together, kind of mingle the Bay Area set with the LA guys, you know, and Because, I mean, the FXRs now, man, all the LA dudes, there's a lot of bikes down there now.
Yeah.
For sure. The Bay Area used to be like the
hub.
Probably still is. I'm sure it is. But like the LA, man, they're holding it down there. There's a lot of badass bikes down in that area, and the whole greater Los Angeles area, even into San Diego, you know. I've personally took, I don't know, 20 of them down there in the last few years, you know.
Yeah.
So that's something that we've talked about, but that was all through that page, and then kind of everybody just kind of dispersed, man.
All the Ventura homies on the FXRs was the ones that told me about like doing something in Pismo. And ever since they brought it up, man, I just been thinking like, man, that really is a dope little area and some good riding.
That's the crew of guys. Arnell Pio right there was one of the guys that was kind of on talks. John threw a camp out, you know. I guess all this shit's gone on since I did the podcast with you last.
Yeah, John had the camp out too up there.
Dude, that was horrible, man. It was fucking, I mean, it's cool, but like only 10 people or something, man. It was like a number.
It's one of those things, man.
What
like,
the fuck, man? Why didn't people want to go up there and hang out with us? It was a fucking cool, dope-ass spot. He found the coolest goddamn venue, if that's what you even call it, to throw a fucking get-together in the middle of the mountains in this crazy little valley. It was fucking bad, bro. I'll always go up there.
Yeah.
You know, like after that, that was a cool place. And no one turned up for that, you know? Like,
it makes you wonder, like, if, you know, I don't know, man, like you've been to Giddyup and you've been to Born Free, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you see the kind of difference. Not the fuck the show. The show's nothing. It's that camp out.
Yeah.
Was the party.
Fuck yeah.
And
I can't wait for Giddyup.
Yeah.
Probably Maggie Valley's the same style.
Yeah.
It's a hotel, but it's essentially the same thing.
Same shit, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you
everybody's
sleep in
sitting
the room.
outside.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Just kicking it tough like that. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, just fucking chill. So those are my two biggest things on my radar this year is going to be Maggie Valley again and then Giddyup, man. I can't fucking wait.
Yeah.
I'm only going to Daytona just to go
Pass
for
time.
a ride. Yeah, to kill time while I'm waiting for Giddyup.
Yeah.
And I can catch Giddyup on the way back, so that's kind of rad,
supposedly
you know?
they're not doing that show like they did last year again. So
Okay.
no big deal.
Yeah, whatever.
But
I got a homeboy over there, my buddy DL.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I want to just go hang out with him. I'm going to see him.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you know. He's a real fucking biker.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that kid's about it, man. He's a youngster, and he's into these bikes for real. He's got so many of them, you know, all in, bro. You know, every extra dollar he's got goes into that. You know,
Yeah.
he ain't out there buying no fucking expensive watch or out there, you know, driving no nice car. This motherfucker's got badass bikes.
Yeah.
And his whole garage is full of them.
That's
you
the way to
know?
do it.
Yeah, I mean, gotta love his spirit, man. I think he does like landscaping or some shit to get his dough. And but every dollar he gets, I'm telling you, dude don't show out nothing except bikes.
Yeah.
He can fuck your stable up with bikes. He'll be, come on in. He's got fucking probably 5 to 7 FXRs, a couple baggers, a couple dyno defenders. He's sitting
Nice.
on some shit. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's you know, we that little spot that we're staying in downtown now, it's pretty expensive. I mean, for us Texans, you know what I
Right.
mean? So I'm done with that lease in May, and I got to find another house after that. And hopefully, I can find a house for less. You
I
know,
don't get how you guys can't, man. I think Mike
Well,
paid
it's
80
because-
G's for his little place. Fuck.
yeah, but you know, I'm self-employed, man. I don't really have I don't show the income to buy a house. You know what I mean? And
Cash,
you know,
bro.
Yeah, I don't have 80 grand.
Stack
either.
that shit up.
But the thing about here is like, yeah, like our housing market is a lot cheaper, obviously. But if you've lived here forever, it's getting higher. It's raising. When you're used to having
because of us,
like that house,
Californians
yeah,
coming over here.
that house I was in that you stayed in that night, like I paid $1,000 a month for that spot.
Yeah.
Like that house, the reason I moved out was because the taxes got so high on it that for that same house I was gonna have to pay $1,300. And to me, it's like it wasn't worth $1,000 in my opinion.
Right.
So I was like, fuck, I don't want to.
I can buy that house for like 120 grand.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what happened. He sold it to another cat, and you know, I just like fuck it. So we found the first place that was easy to get into.
When my brother started showing me these places on his phone, I think he's on some app or something that's not even legit. You know, I'm
Man,
like,
honestly-
what is this? Is this fucking for real? Like, this can't be real. And then now he's showing me fucking 50 of them, and I'm like, bro,
Dude,
this
like,
is for real?
the area I'm like looking like west of Fort Worth, not far west, but just outside the the main
Mesquite, bro. That's where I'm trying to go.
This hood as fuck over there, dude.
It's what?
We're hood, brother.
It's out in the country, though. These houses are in the neighborhoods are so nice, bro.
Another
It's
dude
not.
told us that too. He said, "You don't want to live over there." We're like, "Do you guys know where the fuck we're from?" I mean, you gonna compare Mesquite to Stockton?
Well, I wish they could see your face when you said that.
What?
The way you look like we're from the hood,
Bro,
dude.
yeah, this dude right here, me, we ain't tripping. You know, I lived in the
Y'all probably
penitentiary
wouldn't
before,
get y'all probably wouldn't get approved for the HOA out here.
We're coming in to buy cash, bro. They're gonna sell to us.
But no, on the west side of Fort Worth, man, the terrain is a lot nicer. So you have more. There's more better, 10 times better riding.
What towns?
Just
I'll start
you got to
looking.
think. Okay, so
We're
a
doing it.
little geography
Like
here,
this
right?
year, I'm trying to move out here. Like,
Little geography here. So from pretty much the route of 35 north and south from Oklahoma City all the way down to San Antonio. We live on a fault line. You know, y'all Californians know what faults are, right?
Absolutely.
So
San Andreas
basically,
fault
when you like go just like say from here, like if you go 15 miles over, you're going to go down a relatively decent sized hill for what we have out here. That's the fault. That's 2 tectonic plates and shit, right?
Right.
So as soon as you cross over that, all out west, it becomes hilly. And that's how you have the hill country
That's
and
what's all
stuff.
nice and green, right?
Well, it's not necessarily green. It gets more brown. And then if you go east, it gets more green.
No, I know what you're talking about. I traveled
So,
through here enough.
Yeah, so when you go west just a little bit, like you catch more terrain,
That's
more
where
hills.
Cody is on 20.
Yeah, Cody's like
That way.
160 miles out at
West,
in Abilene, but just like downtown Dallas and downtown Fort Worth are exactly 30 miles apart. So other side of Fort Worth, it's cheaper. You get nicer house. You can get land. You don't have to deal with like the Dallas like county taxes and you know getting it's kind of a pain in the ass to live on this side of town now for a lot of reasons, but you know
No,
it's just
What's
nicer.
the name of the town? What's the name of the town? I can start
Just
looking for houses
look
in.
at any of them and just
On 20, is that a good highway
20
to look
to
off of?
south, like any of them, like fucking 287 if you're gonna go hit 40 up there, or 20 or south, like there's Benbrook and fucking like Weatherford and all that stuff is nice, man.
Now, the further north you go, though, it starts to get worse weather too, right? It's pretty.
So pretty much like
different-
like say if
different.
you go straight north to Oklahoma City, like the Red River, which is the border between Oklahoma and Texas, that's like the snow line,
Okay.
right? So
doesn't come down here that
yeah,
much
so
past
pretty
that.
much there north, you're pretty much getting snow every year.
Right.
Like that sticks and it's on the ground,
right.
and then you go south and it tapers off. And then here we haven't had any legit snow in like since
You
15.
get a flurry, but it won't stick.
Yeah,
or nothing like
we
that.
might have like 1 to 3 days of like ice maybe, but we haven't had ice all year this year
Right.
or last year.
'Cause that,
Weather's beautiful
for me, that's a big deal, man. Because out of coming back from Minnesota, I'll never live in an environment like that again.
Yeah.
I don't want a fucking piece, not a flake of snow on the ground where I'm at.
Well, I feel like a lot of the cats up north right now are just going crazy in the garage, doing their winter projects on their bike, can't ride them anywhere, just online, just turning into assholes because they don't have nothing else to do.
when I first met Chris Harry a long time ago, he online he was telling me that he goes, I was in California still. We're talking like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And he goes, man, don't worry about us guys over here. It's the middle of the winter. We're just grumpy, because
Yeah.
one of his homeboys and me were having words a little bit on just not agreeing on some shit, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, he jumped right in right away and said, I don't mind him. He's a good dude. He just been stir crazy. He's over here in his fucking house, all cooped up, can't ride, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like the winters up there. They start like in October in some aspects of some areas, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So come February,
All the way to April, bro.
Yeah, come February, you've been in this shit for the last 4 or 5 months almost.
Dude, Wilson's my favorite though.
Yeah.
Wilson,
too.
yeah.
He's
I just
riding
did
his bike
that. I
in
just
the
did
snow.
FXR for him a couple
Yeah.
weeks back. Yeah, the dude, he's still cool as shit. But damn, Casper, Wyoming, he's like in the
Yeah,
thick of it,
dude.
dude.
He
He
rides
knows
his
it.
bike in the winter, brings it in the garage. He tries to spray it off the dirt. The shit, the cleaner's fucking frozen solid to the side of the motor, and he's laughing about it. Dude, I love that guy.
he recently we were talking and he was talking about Texas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's thinking about it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, man, I should just go down that way,
Dude, it's a good state, man. I guess, like I said, we've been on the fence of moving up to
You
NorCal.
always want to move everywhere else. I've listened to you
it's-
say you want to live in every other place
Yeah.
but Texas, and,
Well,
I'm like, fuck,
It's
I've
perfect.
never even
It's
thought
right in the
about.
center of everything, bro. We were just talking about
It's got its perks, man. It really does, man. But like my boy in NorCal right now, right, the one that they got out, we used to do all the work together. Like he's even telling me that it's like, man, like I got like 6 dudes that want to do bikes right now, and it's all big time money jobs. And man, yeah, I can just go up there for a couple weeks and come back, and that's pretty much what's gonna happen. But it's just a lot of money. I mean, like most of our work all comes from the West Coast and like other parts of the area. So, there's times where it's like, fuck, man, like.
Yeah, but you get that West Coast money and that Texas living, bro, goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it does.
You're self-made. Your money, you're making the same money you're making here as you are there. So like,
but your dollars stretch out a little further.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
that's what our logic is.
If all the homies start coming down here, then it's like more of an incentive.
You're the main reason that I would consider coming here, and not just you, but the people you know and I've met, you've introduced me to and stuff. So I got people I care about, Mark. Like I've already talked to Mark this morning already. He's in Arkansas. He's going up there to Kansas or
Dude,
Kentucky.
I feel so bad. So he stopped by here yesterday to tune my bike before I go out of town. He do a flash tune in it, and then he went to run it around the corner just to kind of make sure everything was working right, and dropped his phone and destroyed it.
Oh man,
I'm like, fuck, man.
Well,
thanks, Mark.
People like you guys are why I would even consider moving here, because I don't know. I gotta know people, man. I can't just go somewhere where I'm gonna be. I was isolated up north. I was fucking like I was doing doing an isolation term up there is why I describe it. I had no contact with
You're north of the wall,
homies.
dude.
Yeah, it was terrible, man. I didn't like Minnesota at all. I'll never live there. You couldn't fucking pay me to live there. If you just gave me a home there right now, I would never even move back up there for nothing. There's nothing up there. I know some good, nice people up there. I met some good dudes, but I wasn't into that place.
Yeah, I think like I said, with more homies coming here, it makes it a lot more of an incentive. You know what I mean? But that, like I was saying, going back to the house thing, it's like I've been talking to my wife too about this, like going hardcore on like doing taxes so I can afford to do a house and everything like that. It's like I don't want to buy a house on this side of town because I've grew up on this side of town. It feels like it's a stupid logic, but it's like, man, like this is where I grew up, man. I don't really want to live in the same area I grew up in. I want to live in a different area.
Yeah.
Dude, if you go look at fields here on this side of it's trashy feeling, right? You go to the side of Fort Worth, you see a field, it just looks like you're in Arkansas, or it looks like you're in somewhere where it's not like the all you can see is the next tree line in a fucking field. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just a little bit, it makes me feel like I'm somewhere different. You know what I mean?
I thought I was going to be excited, or I was. I mean, I'm excited to get back to my hometown in Lodi. But once I got back there, I just feel like, fuck. I guess I was more excited to just get out of Minnesota. Yeah. So I thought I would never leave. If you asked me 2 months ago, even like for 3 months ago, around October when I moved back, if I would told everybody, fuck, I'm done. I will never leave this place again. I'm staying here. And then my brother's been on my ear all the time about Texas all of a sudden, and I didn't even ever consider this place for nothing. I just now all of a sudden I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe I could justify.
I got a homie that's up there in I think he's in Disco Baby. He has a tattoo shop. He just had John do some work on his bagger, and he has a shop. I think it's in Pittsburgh or some shit up there in NorCal. And he had moved here, right? He moved here. Him and his wife does nurse, and he was a tattoo dude, right? Moved here. They were living in Mansfield, which is a pretty nice area, other side, 15, 20 miles away. And he's like, man, like we got to move back, man. We can't make it here, because his wife was making like 100-something grand there, and then she's making 60 grand here.
Yeah.
So their lifestyle, even though it's cheaper and the money does go further, it's just that what the pay cut they took coming here for the jobs they did. Now for you, me, our money still comes.
My brother's the best example. We're out here right now. He's going to buy a pizza truck, slang pizzas out of this truck, slices and pizzas and all that shit. Go to events and stuff. That slice of pizza is going to cost the same here as it is in California.
That's why you need to come to the camp out, man. We're gonna be fucking.
He will be. He will be there.
Yeah.
If it's,
I got a whole back right here. You can put anything in there.
Saying, we'll park wherever.
Yeah. So the pizza slice is gonna be $5, be it in Cali or be it here. So for him, doesn't fucking matter where he's at. He could be in anywhere in the country. It's still gonna cost the same amount for that slice of pizza.
That's a good idea.
So here, his money's gonna go a lot further. Me, it doesn't really matter where I'm at either, because I'm still gonna go all out around and. I don't know, man. I'd like to consolidate everything I have and start getting into real estate or something else where I can just keep my bikes. Yeah, that's my end game, and it doesn't change. I mean, that's where I'm headed. I'm just, I was a little more geared up.
One good thing about Dallas, as far as like in the rest of the state, like Austin's the fun town, but it's very expensive down there compared to Texas living. It's expensive. And San Antonio, same way. It's not as expensive as Austin, but it's a cool ass place.
Doesn't turn me on down
but
there.
What's good about Dallas is just, like I said, for the traveling and the hub of like getting around and doing shit. Like we have a huge ass airport, cheap ass flights. Everything comes to this airport. So, and like I said, 20 straight shot east, west, 35 straight shot north, 287 straight shot to Colorado.
Right.
You know, like
40s right up there. You
yeah.
Get on and
so there's just so many.
West.
There's so many good things about Dallas. It's more of a logistics of living and stuff. But you know, like I said, we're 160 miles from Austin, and we're having a good time. I mean, me and Brad used to go down there and rip down there in the morning and do rides with cats, and then ride home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
yeah,
it's not a bad spot, man. You know, it's just it like I said, it's been for the last couple of years. It's just all the homies haven't been here, so it's like you feel like you're missing out when all of you motherfuckers are on the West Coast living that. It's fucking. I mean, it gets cold here. Don't get me wrong. Like it'll. We don't usually get into the teens, but it can.
Yeah.
And
well, dude,
on average,
California's been fucking gnarly weather lately.
For real?
Yeah. You haven't seen none of that? Flooding is going on already now and all that. We were showing the Yuba River I seen on social media yesterday under a bridge. It's fucking, dude, there's moving a lot of water. Like John just posted, John Jessup's like, I don't want to hear no shit about the drought no more this year or whatever. Because
come summertime,
we've been getting pounded.
What?
We just drove up to Oregon, dude. It was in the teens in Northern California.
Wasn't Shasta like that lake up there?
it was empty, bro.
It was
last
empty
year, yeah.
like a couple years back, and that was like one of the main water sources for the Central Valley and South.
It was down to like 10%.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Well, I had a homie that used to do bridges. He used to build, like, he worked on like the Bay Bridge, and then he was up in Shasta. They were doing a bridge, and he was showing me pictures of like the water line. You'd see where it used to be, where it is, and but that was of course like 15, 16. But then when you're driving down like the 5 or 99, you see all these fucking farmer protest signs everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, don't give our fucking
they
water
don't like
to
us.
Cali.
Yeah, the SoCal, man. There's that whole canal system that gives a bunch of the water from Northern California down to Southern California.
It's the LA,
I don't understand any of that. It's more politic shit that I just don't. I don't even own a television, man. I don't fucking know. Half the shit that people know about current events and shit going on, like levels of the lakes and things. I don't know none of this shit. I live in my shop now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't have a TV. I don't really, I don't have much going on except motorcycles.
I mean, realistically, man, if you don't, if you don't have a wife, you know what I'm saying? Because I think about shit like that all the time. Especially when my wife pisses me off. I'm like, I already have my other life planned out. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't want to hear my opinion.
But
you have a lot of wives.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I do that or anything, but if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think about it like, man, like if just when I was single, the things that I like, my daily routine was just so much different. You know what I mean? Like, you like, obviously when you're single, like, you do everything. Like, I'm not trying to sound like sexist or anything, but my wife first moved in, she's like, hey, I'll wash that, or hey, I'll cook, I'll do this. I'm like, and then after 4 or 5 years of that shit, you're like, fuck, I forgot how to cook. I forgot how to wash my own clothes and shit.
Yeah, right. Become reliant on that.
But like we find ourselves watching a lot of TV, like Netflix, shit like that, more than I ever did my whole life, because I've always, like, when I leave here, I usually go home and I spend 2 to 3 hours a day drawing, like sketching out paint jobs or whatever, because one paint job could take 5 different sketches to get it down, like where it's gonna be. Yeah. So that's 3 hours one night. Oh fuck, this didn't work. I don't like it. Sit on it a whole day, go back the next day. So sometimes you can have fucking 15 hours in just one design before you even fucking do the paint job. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I do that, and then then you try to fit in some fun time or whatever the fuck it is. It's it's different. When you have all this stuff.
You know what I just started doing again is swap meets since I went back to California.
Yeah, I saw that.
I wasn't doing any before, so I've done 2 now since I've been back. And man, that's something, a big part of what I missed. Like, man, I've been so juiced on going to the swap meet, man, having a really good time out there, slanging all my parts off. I've been collecting for years. Motherfuckers are tripping. When I went to SoCal for that first swap meet, I made about $9,000 in one day out there slanging all my shit. And it was, I had sold, thousands of dollars worth of stuff before the place even opened up. All these guys I put a little shout out, let people know I was coming through with some stuff, and it was rad, man. I was like, I don't know, I just had so much fucking fun. Just the banter that goes on between dudes, because that's where, like, it's fun to deal with low ballers at the swap meet.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I a couple times, like a seat, I can give you a perfect example, a bagger seat. Nice, clean, stock type bagger seat. I don't want that shit at all. I want someone to take it. But dude say, how much? $10. Will you take 5? I tell him, fuck it, just take the seat, man. And if you're gonna haggle me over $5 on a seat, just take it. And that kind of shit, I was having a fucking blast out there all day, getting into shit with people, talking shit, just, you know, slanging off all my parts. I went home and tripped out because, like, I got rid of shit that I probably didn't want to.
Yeah.
But, man, that's just something that I'm looking forward to now in my motorcycling life. Is I can't wait to see everybody at the swap meets, man. Like, everybody that's riding motorcycles, if you guys aren't hip to the swap meets yet, oh fuck, you're missing out.
We don't really I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't feel like we have a lot up here in Dallas as much. We used to.
That's why in Minnesota I never did any, and they have them, but the shit that I have isn't worth anything there. But it is in California, so that's why I switched gears, man. Like, fuck it, the bikes, I let them sit. I'm slinging all my parts right now. I just did the NorCal swap meet last weekend, and fuck, dude, the bank rolled off on that too, you know. And
so, like, are you still looking for parts too, though, to kind of?
No, I'm not doing much, man, with bikes.
Got so many parts right now. Still, I didn't even touch.
Yeah, I don't bring none of my really, really good shit.
I was just wondering, like, are you like still on the hunt for parts though? Like, if you.
So it's one of those things where if it comes across my radar and the deal's right, then I will buy them. But I'm not necessarily looking for anything. I don't buy anything at the swap meets. I've spent $10 on a derby cover at the SoCal one, and I did buy a front end at the NorCal one for $500, Sportster Sport front end. But I have that going on a bike, you know. And like I don't. There's certain shit I don't pass up. Dual disc performance, dual disc front ends, bar and riser setup, seats, and shit like that. I'll always buy that stuff. Thunder headers. I'm always looking for those, like it's a crack rock, you know.
How's that shit going on with all that exhaust stuff up there? Like, have y'all felt it in the motorcycle?
So all these laws happened, and I rode to the Sacramento show, the Easy Rider show.
Yeah.
And I was on that fucking pump police bike with a thunder header. This thing is so fucking loud. I mean, this motor is just built. So I was like, all right, this is going to be the test run right here. I'm sure that the cops, if they're going to be busting people for exhaust, they're probably going to be out here just getting people left and right. I ripped all the way up to Sacramento, probably seen and throughout that whole day at least 10 to 12 highway patrols and local sheriffs and all that shit. And I mean, I literally started my bike with 2 cops standing right behind it, and I kept looking back at them, and they didn't even like look at me, like they didn't give a shit, you know. Yeah. So I don't know what the fuck that's all about. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if they're literally.
Don't have a patch either.
I don't know if they're gonna pull people off their motorcycles and fucking really fuck with them for having open like loud exhausts.
I feel like
or
it's
what.
just a way for them to fuck with clubs, though.
Yeah, maybe targeting club dudes. I don't know.
I thought it was initially in place for more of the street racing kind of car thing that was always been real big in SoCal and shit like that.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like when it first dropped. A lot of those people were on social media bitching about it. I don't know who's getting busted for it. I haven't heard of anybody getting a ticket, having to change their pipes or anything.
I want to say I've seen something like on like a video or some shit passing through like, you know, Instagram or fucking Facebook talking about some dude on a bike that did get a ticket, but I honestly don't feel like I don't think it'll fucking stick, man. Like,
no one we know is coming forward saying they've had to modify their exhaust back to stock or anything like that. I haven't heard of anybody that's reputable or anybody I can think of that's come forward and said, hey, guess just so FYI, I got popped from my pipes, you know? And fucking dude, everybody's got pipes. That's the first thing you do. I don't even understand the law if that's what it's all about. It's like some decibel thing, if you can have a certain amount of decibels or whatever. But they should get those fucking Hondas, though, with their nasty little sounding fucking, those little Ricer cars, you know? All their fucking crappy little sounding fucking, fuck that shit.
Well, I want to say that, like, I don't know, man, like that having, especially like, you know, say, you know, lane splitting's legal, right? That exhaust is kind of the only thing that's keeping you known in between those cars at a lot of times.
So my brother just got in a bad accident. A lot of people seen that. I posted that on my IG. And, you know, like his main thing that he's pissed about is that he didn't have pipes on his bike because the dude, he was passing all these cars on the left side on the lane to pass on a 2-lane road. And a guy made a left turn at the end of the line of cars, the very first vehicle that he was going to pass, the first vehicle, you know, in the line made a left turn in front of him, and he slapped right into the side of the truck, didn't have a chance to even do shit about it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he and myself, of course, we feel like that old loud pipe saved lives, you know. If you'd had a loud ass pipe on his bike, that guy probably would have heard him coming or something and not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, dude, loud pipes are important, man. I mean, some instances, especially like splitting lanes, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, I know guys though that also abuse that, and like they antagonize people. They go by their open windows and fucking rap on them, or if somebody doesn't happen to give them enough space, then they fucking go by and antagonize them, bah, 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 hit the rev limiter on them and shit. You know, and I ain't defending or voting for anybody in the situation, but I do know that, you know, you can misuse the privilege. You know,
sure.
I mean, some people do, I'm sure, but for the most part, dude, they're Harley Davidsons. You can't come in and fuck with a company that's been around for 120 years. And, you know, that's just the sound of that's the fucking huge deal, is that sound. You know, that's why I don't like the newer bikes, because they've lost a lot of that deep note.
Yeah.
You know, they're too proficient, makes them sound shittier or something. I don't know. Especially the new ones, man. You can't get that thump out of those. That 151 bike those guys did with that M8. Some of the guys in Arizona, maybe the motor witch. Yeah, he built that bad little fucking racer looking thing.
Yeah.
And that 151 and that bike sounded like all kinds of hell and fury coming out of that. But you know, Evo's got probably the, you know, Shovelhead with a Thunderheader. Fuck, bro, that's such a good sound. You know? I don't know any human being that doesn't like that melody. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't been affected by any of the new laws as far as that goes. And
what did you think about that bike though? That M8 shit in the FXR, like it seemed to kind of shut the FXR window, not shut FXRs down, but like own the spotlight for a while. You know.
I'm not.
Because you've done a lot of twin cam swaps.
Yeah. So I know those motors are proven. Mm-hmm. I actually like them. I believe in them. Especially the early ones. I'm not so much for the later model ones, but the 06 and up shit, when they went to the different compensator and primaries, I really don't like as the primary. But you know, I don't know that I'm not that hyped on an M8 anyway to do it.
Yeah.
And but I mean, it's cool. I like people that do shit like that, go outside the box. And it was funny because there was a genuine race to do it, like literally, like that seemed like that was a big deal, like who's going to be the first one to put an M8 in an FXR. And I'd never seen anything like that happen with FXRs prior. It wasn't such a big deal because, you know, even when twin cam swaps were in their infancy, it wasn't like so publicized as that was. You know, that was like a big deal. I mean, it was like, you know, I think a lot of people were saying who's going to do it. A lot of people make memes or whatever now, and they show like what Harley should have built. You know, you guys have talked about that for a while. I haven't heard any lately that you guys have gone back to all that, but like the releasing of all these new models and stuff. And you know, a lot of people, everyone has their opinion on what Harley Davidson should do and as a company, and that they're fucking up. That's all the general consensus, is that now they're losing profits and things because their target audience is not right, or they're losing touch. You know, there's a bunch of corporate fuckers that are deciding what models hit the floor and what they're calling them and shit. The personalization, you know, the over customizing them and shit like that. Yeah. You know, all that stuff, man. I'm loyal to the brand, but I don't pass 1994. You know what I mean? Or 2000. So I'm loyal to the old brand. You know, the new shit, I don't ride it. I don't really have an opinion because I'm not really even in it.
You know, the one thing, as being someone that kind of has experienced the FXR, experienced the bagger, experienced mini dynos, you know, I know that there are certain people that just can't do the FXR. Like, they don't physically have the patience.
You told me that before.
You know, they don't have the ability to you know, like when they see, like, you know, you see a base gasket leak, it's not going to keep you from running across country.
No.
You know, but some people,
there
you
could
know,
be a chunk of that shit hanging out, and I'll fucking stuff some silicone in it and keep going if it's that situation.
Exactly. So there's a lot of people out there that are just, they don't have the ability to let that be, like, a little bit more passive.
Right.
You know, they have to have things perfect, precise, and those bikes have a lot more personality and a lot more soul, like we had talked about. So some people just, they need to be on M8s. They need to be on those bikes that start.
You know what I was
time.
thinking about when these conversations in your podcast were coming up about the new models and how they should bring back FXRs and shit like that? Other companies Chevy bring back Camaros and stuff, and
Dodge.
the old ones are still better in my world.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still LS swapping, and maybe using the powertrains out of later model cars and shit. But if you're gonna 15 to 50-year-old or 18 to 80, you ask them all a '69 Camaro that's been sport toured out like
resto mod type thing.
resto mod, right? Big fucking deep set wheels and all that, just bad autocross. That's my favorite style, right? Tubular A-arms, all the dope shit. Autocross '69 in a brand new fucking ZL1 Camaro. Fucking probably everybody. I'd say 100% of the people are going to say that car is way sicker than that new one.
Well, yeah, there is that.
So that's where I was always been at with the FXR thing. I don't give a fuck if they bring it back. We already got it, bro. What are you guys all bummed out about? Fuck what they're doing. If you don't like it, then don't look, you know?
Don't look.
Yeah. Don't look at those bikes. Are they ugly looking? Fuck yeah. Those soft tail things are fucking dorky looking for sure. I don't give a fuck, man, because I got FXRs. What am I? I'm not worried about it. If you're so fucking worried about it, get on an old FXR and do an M8, you know, and do it. I mean, make it happen. Don't bitch about what Harley's doing. Fuck what Harley's doing.
Yeah, it's been a while since we really talked about any of that stuff. I think, we kind of touched on a lot of that stuff that was a lot of the conversation for the year, the soft tail.
Right.
The new releases on the new bikes. And I think it's just more, that conversation was just more for the general, topic of just talking about the shit. You know what I mean?
Of course.
What's the thoughts? What's this? What's that?
It's interesting to hear people's take on what's going on.
But I would have to say that it would be interesting if Harley created another bike that really did, encompass what we like about FXRs. You know what I mean? The handling, obviously all newer technology and stuff like that. But, it'd be cool if they took something like an FXR, but then gave it the FTR Indian kind of technology with, traction control and all this crazy shit.
That's a bad looking bike.
It is.
That
bike is sick, dude.
Everything about it.
The only problem with it is it's got a fucking Indian logo on it, and I just can't fuck with it.
Yeah, right. You seen my hood, bro. I'm fucking Harley Davidson all through my whole body. I can't even. Shit's in my blood, literally.
We had that IMS show here, and they had that bike. They had all the models of it. It's a bad bitch, dude. It's a bad bike.
Everything comes good on it, right? Stainless,
everything. You don't have to do anything.
Exhaust, fucking suspension, brakes, wheels are fucking dope. The whole chassis tight,
Öhlins front and rear, good stuff. So what I was saying is, what would be super interesting is, the thing is, FXRs, they have that feel. They have that, that evolution motor. You know what I mean? It sounds badass. It feels badass. It feels tactile. It feels mechanical.
Yeah, I can feel the motor.
So
through
there's
the
that aspect that you're pretty much not going to get that on new Harleys. You know what I mean? You're not. That's just old technology, but it works obviously. But it's old technology now, right? So you're not going to get that much mechanical feel on newer shit. And then naturally the chassis are so nice, they handle well, and they just have a look that's just fucking iconic to what Harley's always been. Even though that look obviously was debated when they first came out by the older cats,
right.
It still is the look. So a newer bike that's probably going to be a great performing bike is probably one of these lines they're about to release later this year, this Street Fighter and all this other shit. But to me, it's motherfucker, if I want to ride a sport bike, I'll just go get a Honda or something.
Very true, I say it.
I want the Harley to look like the Harley but perform as close to a sport bike as possible.
Right.
So, when we are I think when I'm debating it or I'm talking about it, it's I want another bike like an FXR that doesn't have to be an FXR, but something like it that has the word performance next to it, but doesn't have a 240 rear tire
and forward
clip-ons, forward controls, and a raked out front end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen these models and stuff. I don't like that they call that one an FXRT or whatever.
FXDR is what they call it.
The
FXR one, the touring, what those bags go on.
Oh, that's
called an FXRT, isn't it?
No, it's a Sport Glide. It's a
that's what a Sport Glide was, an FXRT.
I don't think it has the R in it.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think so. But those bags now, I will say this: if I did build another bike, it would be I'd be very close to throwing those bags on it instead of some OG clamshells, just because they
do the same thing.
They do the same thing.
All the storage is in the lid like a clamshell, right?
Yeah, it's just that one has so much technology.
Hydraulic fucking openers and shit.
But I'm pretty sure that we can retrofit hydraulic openers and little nets and all that shit.
Bro, you can do anything.
Yeah.
That's been proven. Fuck the aftermarket. Well, you can do anything that you want to do. You know, with M8s and whatever the fuck else you want to do, you can cross over your whole bagger onto an FXR chassis if you wanted.
I think the better thing is that whatever Harley's doing, there's still going to be a market regardless. I think that if Harley's doing anything, it's pushing more people to fix up dynos, FXRs, and older bikes.
Have you seen the stuff that Jason down in Florida has been posting that someone else, I think he's getting the information from someone else, but all those numbers of all their profits and shit and how dramatically low.
So last year was only like a $500,000 profit.
Yeah.
And then the year before was 9,000, and then the year before was like 40 million or 9 million and then 40 million.
Yeah, that's weird though. I don't know what all that stuff means. I try to decipher this information and understand everything and just know, oh, this is why this is happening and this and that. I fucking don't get what's going on.
This is the ignorant side of me, right? Man, I would love to make $500,000 profit. You know what I mean? That's profit. That means that after you pay the bills, the employees, the production, everybody's paid other than the shareholders. The shareholders are splitting 500 million or 500,000. Yes, I know it'd be better to split, 40 million. 50
million, yeah.
At least they're splitting something.
Like that. In their world, they're gambling. They're gambling on new ideas and new shit.
Yeah.
When realistically, I mean, most of us are across the board is like, don't make new bikes, just make these bikes better.
You know what I want to say? Here's what it is. I wonder if we got our way. Does that really change all of this? Is that
no,
I don't know
not
that
in the climate that we're in now. Like you could do anything. It could be a perfect bike.
If Harley Davidson, biggest CEO, said, "All right, fuck all these nerds that are designing these bikes and shit. Come on, Joe and Jace and Marty and real world dudes. Come on in here. Let's see what we got to have now. You guys bust them out." What the fuck would we do? Would we do any better? I mean, would if I brought, because I would probably bring back an exact fucking FXRT.
Yeah.
Would that just be the hit of the fucking thing? Who knows, man? All these people that bitch, they might not even buy the fucking thing. So
I also heard that, like, say for instance, the Sport Glide. Sport Glide's a good. What's up
with that fairing though?
That's what I'm gonna get to. So here's the deal: like the Sport Glide itself could have been the new T Sport. Could have been, but they chose to make it forward controls, which was the first single disc, which I'm not really against that, but they made it single disc.
If you have dope wheels, you like
it. And then they had the like I said, that I haven't heard a lot of great things about the Harley inverted front ends. Like it's not known for being super badass and great, you know what I mean?
Right.
So they put a lot of things on there that if they would have did the a fairing and these bags on a lowrider, then you would have had more of the amenities that you wanted on a sportier bike, like mid controls. I like the dampening front end better, than the inverted shit. I think it's cheaper to like put race tech stuff in there and beef it up. You still got the single disc rotor set up, but I mean you can get the other side. I mean you could buy another lower and put some wheels on it or something. But fairing, the reason they didn't make that fairing actually work, from what I heard through somebody, this could just be the rumor that is passing around, is that they didn't want it to be an alternative to the actual bagger at almost $10,000 less.
Oh, right. Makes sense.
They don't want to make this bike so much cheaper and easier and do the same thing that a bagger does.
Even than a bagger.
Yeah, so the fairing is there, but it doesn't do much. I mean, a quarter fairing does more than that.
They're still trying to push you to the bagger. But do you realize this? That's the Sport Glide. That's what the FXRT's name really is.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Sport Glide, bro, when they renewed the patent and all that shit, we all thought they were going to release an FXR. That's the name. That's what they were doing. Sport Glide is an FXRT. When you get the air cleaner, it doesn't say FXRT on an FXRT. It says Sport Glide. That's the model.
That makes sense too, because but like you see like CHD Harley up there in Canada, they built one that did the full FXRT fairing on it. And I feel like it fits so fucking nice, like on those bikes. It really
looks, of those bikes?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I mean, it looks really good. I mean, if we were going to say a modernized version of the FXR, then that would, with that fairing on it, that's the closest I've ever felt.
You know what is the absolute dumbest shit ever, is putting those FXRT fairings on baggers. I fucking hate that. God damn it, I hate that.
I dig it, dude. I like it.
You do?
I like it.
It looks disproportionate. It doesn't fucking... I fucking hate that. God damn.
I got a homie right now building one across on the other side of town.
I mean,
full Olin's decked out.
What's the analogy, man? Like a cow hood on a station wagon or something. It's like, you fucking dude. And then if they use an OEM one, I will lose my shit. I'll lose it.
You know,
an
what,
aftermarket one, I don't give a fuck. I think it's dumb as fuck.
Well,
still,
I think that a lot of them have to do aftermarket because those bagger front ends are wider.
Yeah, they're fitting them
so
in there.
I know TOL, that's the shop I'm going to go up to Vegas to do that bike. And they actually, my homeboy in NorCal, the one that we were talking about earlier, he actually went down to TOL and made that fairing. Like, made it and set it up to run like a Road Glide. It runs a Road Glide windshield instead of the FXR windshield. Huh. And so he set that whole fairing up, did all this stuff, and then they made him molds of that fairing.
Right.
And then he went to jail, and now he's back out. But that's where that fairing came from. And it's a nice-ass fairing for an aftermarket one.
Right.
I will say that. Like, the whole inside's finished. Like, that's the one thing I hate about... Like, I love the dudes at JD and all those guys, but I do not like that shit.
We all kind of unanimously agree and notice that stuff, you know, when it has that rough interior side and it's... You know, it's
you can come back and sand it all down and body work it and prime it,
dude,
but man,
thing weighs fucking 50 pounds when you're done filling all that porous, that fucking rough finish. You know, it's already heavy to start, and then it's like thick as fuck all when you're done. You know, that's why that's crazy that those companies now making the quarter fairings and those T-Sport fairings, man, they really are gonna shut fools down with that.
Well, that's the same thing that happened in the bagger world. Before I got into this, like when the new shit came out, the new latches and stuff for like 14 and up baggers, they had that new little lever instead of the outside shit. So when those things came out, like fucking China or somebody got a hold of them.
It's always China.
And you could get the stretch bags, like 4-inch stretch, all the hardware, lids, everything, new hardware for $400 shipped to your door.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even get the hardware for that from Harley. So it's like people were taking those bags, you can literally unbolt them and put them on a 99. You know what I mean?
Right.
It all bolts up and you have new hardware.
Cam things are all in the same spot.
So, it did the same thing to the bagger world where, it just made it cheaper. I mean, fuck, dude. Like, my brother's running one of those on his little dyno right now. That fucking quarter fairing, he got that crater, $50, $60.
Yeah, I have 2 of them in my shop right now. And the trippiest fucking part is even the little, I don't know what they're called in molding, but the molding marks and stuff like that, the little recessed like areas where maybe shit can escape or whatever, those fucking things are all the same. The thing is identical to a Harley quarter fairing. Fucking identical. I mean,
I would honestly say that even the T-Sport fairing is damn near on point,
bro. It's
just the actual mounting.
It's thin, it's plastic, but I like that better because you need a whole fucking set of trees to mount it. That shit mounts perfectly fine, you know.
Yeah, that's what we use. That blue Sport Glide we built. It's down at Mark's right now getting tuned, but that one we did that fairing on it.
Man, it's fucking
crazy. Fits, man. It looks so much better.
I'm gonna run them. I'm building
adjustable and everything.
I'm building bikes around those parts. If that makes sense. I'm gonna do an all black bike and just run that unpainted, nest side covers unpainted, all black powder coated tins. Fuck, bro, it's a no brainer for me. It's like this thing's gonna look fucking dope as fuck. It's gonna do everything that I would pay $400 for $60, you know. And mounts, decently. So I don't know, man. All this stuff that's just been going on. This is the shit. I've been thinking about all this stuff for the last year. What's going on with these bikes and people and I'm just back to the point where I just want to be Stone Age, man. I just want to get on my fucking Harley and just ride. That's it. I don't want to deal with any of this shit. I don't want to pay attention no more. I don't care who did what, who's burning what, who's copying, fucking, who made the first set of fucking mid controls for a bagger and who doesn't, and who's got the nicest risers and shit. I just don't fucking care anymore. I like who I like, and I'll support people if I know they're good people and their intentions are pure and they're fucking bikers for the most
that's
part,
the main thing.
But all this, I don't know.
There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama in this because I don't know why the because is, but
I know why. Everyone has a voice now.
Yeah.
And you can be heard with social media. You can make yourself heard. When a guy's raffling a bike, you can jump right on there and say, "Oh, fuck that," or whatever. So it's giving everyone a voice. Well, with everyone having a voice, some people don't need to have a voice. They need to shut the fuck up. They're stay in their lane, you know. And so that's what's happening. And then you got me over there. I'm watching all this happen, and I get all this fucking worked up about it. And I want to start getting on and typing shit out. And, you know, once a day I find myself, I type it all out, and then I have to delete all. Fuck, don't do that, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's like, I guess that's what, like my main place right now in the whole Harley world is that I'm trying to keep my fucking head down and stay to myself and just, you know, like a lot of people have been coming out to me really recent in the last few months and say, man, you're really quiet all of a sudden. Like, what's up with you, man? I never do shit on Facebook anymore. I don't even try to look. Pretty much unfollowed all that shit that I would do in there. And I used to be active every day, man.
You know what I think the main thing is that it gets easy to connect through social media, but it doesn't replace like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you want to save some of your interactions with people, in my opinion, like I like to do, or what. I've tried to step back from social media ever since around like November. So I haven't been as active on like Instagram and all that stuff. I'm on there all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm not commenting. I'm not posting. I'm not constantly. Like I'll go 2 or 3 days without making a post. You know?
Yeah, me too.
Which before I was like, fuck, man, I got to do 2 a day.
Least. Yeah,
you know?
I get it. Yeah.
And so, you know, stepping back and has been one thing I've been doing, but then also realizing like, man, like, you know, we can chat on social media, you know, and we can say some shit, but then we, you know, get together. It's like, so what are we going to talk about? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we've already discussed this every day forever.
But yeah, there's this aspect, man. But like I said, back to the beginning of it, it's like if everybody just starts getting out and fucking riding,
yep.
You know, like people have less to bitch about. They have less to complain about. You know, I understand that for businesses and shops. Like I understand how demanding it can be to run a big business like any of these ones that we buy shit from and still have the time to do motorcycles, but I think that should be a necessity.
Maybe it can promote what you do.
It does promote,
you know
but
what
most
I'm saying?
people
fucking show what you do, bro. You build bikes, then ride the motherfuckers. That's kind of how I always try to do, is lead by example. I'm not just the president of Mile Maker Motorcycles. I'm also a client, right? I ride my shit. You know what I mean? I ride my bikes, and I show people like, I put this together, didn't even shake it down. I've done that every year. I'll fucking get on bikes I just did frame up builds on, and I'm gone. Later, fucking, you gonna ride that thing around the block? Nah, I'm gonna put all my shit on it, and I'm just gonna go for fucking state to state to state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even bring tools anymore. I'm making a bold statement. So you want to question me? I can say, hey, I mean, you know, when a guy asks me, you think this is gonna make it? Yeah, I'll ride it. You know. Yeah. Last year, for the first time, I delivered 3 bikes I rode.
For real?
Yeah, 4 bikes. I rode them out. Blue RT style, red one I bought from my buddy that put it together, Bob. One police bike, the gold one. I rode to Arkansas and then to California and sold it, and I had it sold before I left. And then the black RT to the same guy, my buddy Al. Just same thing. I rode that one to Sturgis and then to California, you know. So I delivered 4 bikes this year for the first time ever. I'd never done this.
Yeah.
I delivered them. I rode them. Yeah. You know, like, fuck it, man. You want to believe in what I got? I'll show you that the shit's legit. Yeah. I'm not going to sell you some bike that you're going to go home and fucking have all these issues with right away, you know.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like whenever I would sell a bike, you know, last year I bought and sold a few bikes. I had that red FXRs in my garage when you stayed over.
Yeah,
I wish
that
I never would have got rid of
it.
My homie lives over in San Fernando Valley, has it now. Like Valley Customs, they went in and did the whole motor, blacked out. It's looking like a sick ass bike. He's still rocking that Mustang fucking couch cushion seat though. And it's kind of player, man. It's kind of like it's kind of dope.
I'm all for doing different shit, you know. I've had a fucking 70 some odd, 80 FXRs. I mean, you do something weird and cool and different, I'm all about it. That's neat, you know.
Yeah.
Show me something I haven't seen, please.
It's super weird though. Like it seemed like last year, all of a sudden, a wave of factory paint became the biggest thing on FXRs, especially on the West Coast.
It's more rare to find a stock bike, period. You know, matter of fact, that's like the ones that are bringing more money than fully flipped. Yeah. Dude, you could turn a bike out and do a badass fucking panel paint job, and the one that's got a stock paint job with some nice components with it, it's just gonna roll all over that other one because harder to find good rare shit. People are realizing that. I realize it more than anybody because I've fucking turned out all these bikes. And I used to be a bitch about it. Like, I had to do stuff to them. Yeah. Now I've realized, like, you know what? Like my 92 RT that I had with like 6,000 original miles. I should have never fucked with that bike. It was so original, it was so pristine, man, that all I did was run-of-the-mill shit that you can do. Powder coat and all this shit. Like, I powder coated a set of wheels that were so fucking cherry. They were way cooler in the stock, wrinkle black and contrast.
Dude, I painted the second to the last FXR I painted was for a homie down in South Texas, and it was a mint lowrider anniversary edition paint job. You know, the two different grays with the red pinstripe.
I've owned that, yes.
Dude, I was trying to find some replacement tins to give to paint, and you know, it was kind of out of sight, out of mind for so long that I ended up having to paint over.
You had to take the logos off and everything. They're metal and
they, you know, and I fucked them up taking them off too.
Fuck.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
Mike was so pissed at me too when I did. He's like, dude, next time you do that, fucking let me know and I'll find you some tins for it.
Yeah, for real, man.
But you know, I noticed it was like super strange, just, you know, being in SoCal a lot and seeing a lot of the homies down there with all the stuff they do, and you know, leaving the factory shit.
The bike that won the Born Free FXR show was a factory paint black. I think the guy's maybe Russell or something. San Diego put the bike together. It had a lot of chrome. Like the gentleman that just passed away, Pat Price, the Nick Nielsen bike that he had owned, that he bought from Nick. Factory painted bike, man. That thing is fucking one of the hardest ones. You know, everybody loves that bike. John Jessup's.
Yeah, dude.
You
still,
know, that thing rules the fucking FXR world right now. And,
both of them too. The fucking Liberty one is sick too.
Both factory paint.
Pretty badass.
Yeah,
they're both factory
dude,
painted.
I had found a
bikes,
Liberty edition bike for like, I think he wanted like $5,000. It was in like Trinidad, Colorado, and it was already a fucking smoking ass deal at $5,000. It was running, driving, all original paint. But I was like, man, if you come down to $4,000, I'll come buy it. You know, and I should have just took it at $5,000.
I've
you know,
done this to myself
He
many
walks away
times.
all the time.
Yeah, we rode to Oregon the other day, and I didn't buy the bike.
For real?
Yeah, all the way up to Oregon, fucking 600 miles each way, and I got all the way up there, and the gal wouldn't come down $500, and I was like, fuck it, keep it. I'm not gonna play this shit. And the shit was beat up worse than what I thought it was gonna be.
So it was a legit question, like, hey man, this is not exactly everything I was expecting.
Thank God she didn't even take my offer.
Yeah.
Because I would have paid more than what I should have. I would have been pissed on the way home when it all set in what I did. I would have been like, oh, I just fucked up, because both fairings were shot out. It came with extra fairings. It came nice set of police bags. It had good police bags, but I'm not gonna spend $7,000 for an '87 FXR EA VIN. You know, plain Jane, tapered shaft bike. No, they're not very desirable, and busted up parts. The fairing right around the headlight area had baling wire and shit holding it together, you know, and it wasn't listed like that. We didn't know, you know. It was turned on to me by someone else.
I don't think she knew either, though.
Yeah, no, she was a gal. Her old man died, so she just got the stuff. And that's kind of my point, too, that kind of pisses me off, though. You got this shit for nothing, lady. Any money is good money to you.
Yeah.
$3,000 is straight $3,000 straight profit to your pocket.
Yeah,
you know?
she probably gets on social media
Fucking
too, or
asshole,
looks
man.
on fucking
I was like,
whatever.
dude, no, she's a nice gal. I offered to take her to dinner and
She said
shit.
everybody was trying to tell her what everything was worth, but everything was busted, man.
Yeah, on pictures it looked real good, but once we got there.
It sucks because Mark's FXR is 88 and that's his birth year.
Yeah.
And I'm an 82 baby, so I was like, I want an 82 FXR, but
Right.
Yeah,
but I'm a
84,
fairing guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I want an 83 RT, you know, with the fucking shovel and everything,
Yeah.
but you know, but I'm 80. It's almost like fuck, man. Like
I'm 1980, so I don't have to even deal with that shit.
84, bro. That's
Yeah, he's always talking about that.
He's got the 84.
I got
in
the
his
baddest
garage right
84, the disc glide at
Yeah.
my shop. I twin cam that. I should have left that bike original, but it had electrical issues. I didn't want to deal with rewiring it, so I just tore it all out and just fucking put a twin cam in it. That's I tease all the time. I call that my spline shaft upgrade.
yeah, it's
I do that on early bikes. I got spline shaft. I'm like, or tapered shaft, I mean, and I want to upgrade the spline. I just change out the whole fucking power train.
just do it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I haven't been looking like I used to, but I would love to do an 83 RT, and I know those are pretty rare.
Fuck yeah. These FXRs, bro, are legitimately really now. I used to say they were hard to get, but they weren't. I had them all over. I had them on the back burners just waiting for me to go get. Fucking now, they are hard to get.
For real?
Like, yeah, bro. It's changed a lot in just 1 year, man. You know, it's just a lot of people are on them now, you know, and but it's cool. That's good because it is a fad and it is going to wear off, and it already even, I think, is maybe leaning that direction. And so then you're going to see a lot of screaming bikes come up for cheap money, and then us real motherfuckers that are really into it, we'll have our heyday later.
Yeah.
And be able to get all these bikes that guys got and put a bunch of cool shit on and never rode them.
You know, they're still pretty rare to see here, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like when you're in Cali, like, you know, this shit's everywhere.
Oh,
you
fuck
know?
yeah.
But here, usually when you see, you know, an RT fairing, it's on a dyno.
Like you can go to an event here that's got fucking thousands, like a more smaller event, but got thousands of people still.
Yeah.
You know, still like not that rot rally or any of that kind of shit. Just like Giddyup.
Yeah.
And you won't even see none there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's just kind of weird. Like that bike was the only swing arm bike you could get for fucking over 10 years, you know, and you just think that there would be more, I guess, out there, but now they are starting to get scarce. Dude, we've flooded the West Coast with these things. I can't even fucking, dude, how many 300 plus probably have just come over there in the last 3 years. And I mean, I don't know, in the scheme of things, that's probably not a lot, but I think for one model or one bike,
yeah, but you think about how, like, the FXR scene, as if you took everybody in the country that's into these bikes, I mean, what, maybe 5,000 people total?
Yeah, you're
maybe?
exactly right. Well, the forum that we were on Facebook, we had all the hitters from around the country mostly, and there was 3,800 people on there, you know, and that had like anybody who was anyone with FXRs was on there, you know. I think, I mean, there's always going to be those outlier dudes out there, old OGs that got fucking there. I always claim I have the most of them at any given time, you know, but I'm sure there's got to be some old boy somewhere in the hills.
There's probably some
that's
fucking
got 20
hamsters.
or 30 of them. Oh, fuck yeah. In that crew alone.
Yeah.
Dude, just like, yeah, some club guys, man. They fucking...
Look at old, like Donnie Cantalupe from where we're from. This is an old dude motocross guy. Doesn't do social media, doesn't do none of that shit.
Straight outlaw.
This dude's got 9 fucking FXRs in his garage. You wouldn't even ever know it. Nobody knows it.
You see him go around town, though, on one wheel, and them motherfuckers all over the place.
Dude,
with a half
60
helmet
years old,
on, no...
Straight Sons of Anarchy.
Baby, no,
We're talking about a
fuck
60-year-old
no.
man.
I know. I'm just talking about that fucking, like, that little, you know, the dome helmet things.
Yeah, he has a little German helmet.
Yeah.
Why he's rad, though, is because he doesn't have T-bars. He's got the stock bars. He'll run fucking stock pipes.
Those rabbit ear looking
and
bars.
just wheelie his shit down the road, man, like it ain't shit. Like, damn, bro, that guy can rip, you know. Or what else was I just gonna say? Oh fuck, I lost it just as fast as I had it. Pete Demas. He's a shovelhead guy. He rides shovelhead FXRs. He's from out that way. Yeah, he's always at the swap meets and stuff. Dude, Pete fucking kills on a shovelhead FXR, and he's like a sleeper. He likes to be like that, you know. He'll roll up. He'll have the raggediest looking bike out there. He'll fucking put it on everybody, you know. Like the dude can ride, you know. I love that.
These older cats that you see that are living this bike lifestyle, like we were talking about, they've already lived 70% of their life without social media, hell, without cell phones for the most part, right? So they're already adapted to a life of being secluded and kind of just known about through, like, you know, actual human interaction.
My dad and his homeboys, he has a little black book, you know, phone book, and he fucking still has it. It stays very close to him. Still, I mean, fuck, dude, he's dying in bed right now, and I guarantee that thing's right on the mantle right next to him, and that's how him and his homeboys still communicate. He's got his buddy Grinch over in Minnesota. He'll fucking pull that thing out, find him, dial him up. Grinch will answer on a fucking house phone. What's up, brother? They'll fucking rap out. Like, unfathomable to anybody younger than me. They're like, the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, but they still get it done, you know, and like they're so solid of dudes that the numbers are still good, you know, like I love that shit, man. So
that's
neat.
what it was like with those cats that me and my brother met when we rode to Sturgis that year. Then we hung out, and this old man was on an FXR. Then they were from Kingsman, Arizona. Just a couple homies that worked together in the 90s and just kept in touch because of motorcycles, and they all live in different parts of the country.
They're real fucking bikers, bro.
Yeah.
They'll cross the country to go see each other, you know.
70 years old.
They don't got it right there where they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
If they want to see each other, they got to go do that.
Yeah.
They got to fucking show. Yeah, that's we met some dudes in Maggie Valley. This guy Bill. That was the worst dry run I ever did in my career. I drove from California to Tennessee to go buy his RD just based on his descriptions and stuff, and got there and I couldn't buy it. He was willing to work too. He wanted $8,000. He was all the way, well, just give me $5,000. And I'm like, look, brother, there ain't an amount of money that I want to give you because all the shit that's important to me is fucked up. The paint and the fairings and stuff's just all cracked up. I don't. It's not an option to buy it.
Yeah.
You couldn't, you know, you could give it to me, but anything more than that, I'm not going to waste any money on it because it's not worth it to me. So that was the hardest one. But nonetheless, we met those guys randomly at the Wheels Through Time Museum. We all come blasting on FXRs, and they're like, fuck, we heard about this, you know, that you guys would be around, but now you guys are here, this is dope, you know. And they weren't on FXRs, they were on their baggers and stuff, just riding, doing their thing. But older cats, you know. And then the one guy, John Gasser, he ended up building a fucking dope ass FXR. It has a new school Screaming Eagle. It's gray and black. I can't think of his name right now. I can't believe I can't think of his name. But either way, man, we influenced him from that Maggie Valley run, and he went home and built a fucking hitter. You know, he knocked it out the park. It was like, that's tight. So those dudes were OGs. They don't have no. He's on there now. Natural Gasser, I think.
Yeah,
is his handle.
I follow him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It has a sharp pointed. It looks like something you might have done. It's kind of got your little swag.
Yeah.
It's like a Screaming Eagle. I know. You know. You do a little more bright and like thorough. This is kind of more basic, but it looks like a Screaming Eagle paint job, and it kind of carries from the fairing through the tank and everything. The lines kind of cross over. You know. Anyway, yeah, you know who I didn't get to talk about last time that I wanted to bring up in the FXR world is my buddy Dustin Collins in Tennessee. That's we call him the FXR Rain Man. That dude right there is like the most knowledgeable encyclopedia of all FXRs and weird shit. And he's in Tennessee. His biggest problem he's ever had was being removed from everybody. He's not in the scene and not present, but he's present in the background through social media and stuff. He's dealt with so many dudes that are big name people slanging them parts and selling them bikes and stuff like that, but nobody knows this guy.
Yeah.
He's an enigma, you know. You might even see him, FXR Dustin, I think might be his handle on Instagram. But
probably do.
He's in Elizabethton, Tennessee, man. Dude's so fucking thorough. He showed up to Maggie Valley. I had him come meet me in Maggie Valley, and he rolled up on his bike and pretty much tripped out the scene. You know, everybody there was like, who the fuck is this guy? Where did this bike come from? Fucking dude is about it, you know. He's got some nice shit.
It is weird how like you can kind of feel like you know everybody in the scene nationwide.
Happened to me a lot.
Yeah. It kind of happens to me here whenever I'm riding around or I'm driving or whatever, and I see someone rolling a dyno with a quarter fairing and, you know, the club style look.
You want to follow them on.
I'm like, whoa, who the fuck is in my town?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because our scene is small here, so it's like when you see a bike like that, you're like, whoa, like I saw a dyna going down this road, like this road that I'm on, with a fucking black quarter fairing and T-bars, and, you know, I just couldn't tell if it was a dyna, because we got a homie that has one like that look, but it's on a sporty and it's all blacked out.
Right.
So I just thought it was him, and I was like, man, was that you going down the street the other day? He goes, nah, man, I've been at work. I'm like, the fuck is that going down my street?
Yeah,
you know
why
what I mean?
didn't he come say what's up to me or whatever? Or why don't I know him? You know?
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, you feel like you know everybody.
Yeah.
You know? There's still, what, 2 million something people here in Dallas-Fort Worth or whatever. It's like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to know them all.
Kind of the same thing, I guess, what we're talking about with the bikes, you know? I feel like they're all exposed, like every FXR is out there able to be seen or something, but in reality, dude, who knows what dude's got, what's in the barn, you know? When I see new bikes pop up, I want an 87 RT. I haven't had one, the blue. It's the only one that came blue like that. And it's just that 1 year 87. And I feel like, fuck, there's just none. Like, I guess I've had it in my mind that I'll just never get one because I just feel like there's none out there. And then all of a sudden that Zartman kid pops up with that one out of real cheap. He rode it to Sturgis for the show.
That thing was
I'm like,
nice.
this motherfucker, man. And he got it for nothing, $2,500, you know, super cheap. I'm like, dude, how the fuck did I not, you know, I don't know, man. Where did that come from?
I guess that's the other thing, too, is that, like, after knowing Mike and you and everybody else and hearing about people finding these more or less barn finds, it's like, I want a full fairing bike, but I really want to spend, like, $4,000 tops on it. You know what I mean? Like,
It's out. They're out there. They really are out there, man. I mean, I've never hidden that type of mentality from people. I've preached that since day one in my involvement with these bikes, is that, you know, if you want to be cheap and do shit yourself, if you're going to know you're going to do something yourself, we talked about it last time, you know, buy a cheap one. Don't get one from me. I'm taking the headaches away. My target person is a guy that doesn't have this time and know how to deal with these bikes. So I'll take care of all that little bullshit, get the kinks worked out, and I'm gonna slang you something, make a few shekels and something you can rip on. But reality is, dude, if you don't buy the shit from me, if you like to ranch, you're gonna tinker or whatever, you want to do your own thing, then fuck, man. You know, it's I feel bad for guys that will buy something that I did and then they just change it all up, you know. And
you remember that? You remember Giddyup last year? That Sportster that was there with that girder front end that was all decked out nice.
Which one?
There was a nice one. It was all like, man, it was like
in the show.
It was in the grounds of the show, but I don't know if it was in the show.
Okay.
But there was a Sportster, it was all, because Mike's been on this girder front end shit, so he was showing me the bike. I was like, fuck, man, it's a pretty good looking sporty.
Yeah.
Well, I did a podcast with that dude who was like Main Drive Cycles cat, and he lives in North Dallas here, and he picked up an FXR. And I think it's a full fairing one that Mike helped him get. And the dude is real meticulous when he builds shit. So it's like he's all about stock looking shit, but he comes in and does all these details to it. That's like, fuck, man. So he's building one right now, still with the gray natural motor and everything in it.
Yeah.
And like, I'm so fucking like waiting for him to, throw it out. Yeah, dude. Because it's one of those things that I know. Like I used to hate the blonde motors. I hated them. You know what I mean?
That's the challenge.
But he found a way to clean them and make them look better than new. And then I want to say you were rolling one or somebody was rolling one somewhere, and it was either a blue bike or a red bike, and it just looked good with the color of the bike. You know what I'm saying?
I had a couple that I pulled off. My orange bike was built around the blonde motor.
Yeah.
I did it on purpose.
So
everybody was murdering their shit out. I did blonde and chrome everything, trim, and gray motor, and orange and that gray look great together.
Yeah.
And blue, dark blue and that gray look great together. Other than that, I love it when I see dudes do it and pull it off.
Yeah.
Like my boy Roman out where I live. I just sold him a bike, just a blue 1992 FXR. Oh, that fucking dude, man, he's got the baddest blonde motor bike. Like he did it right. I just don't, just however he did it. And I even see guys that do it and mix it with black, because it's basic. It's easy to do.
Yeah, it's monochromatic.
I'm doing one right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing with really clean natural mags and motor and blue paint off of his bike.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be fucking clean as shit. It's gonna look good. That's just that's the challenge though, to pull off the blonde motor, right? But I'm with you. It's not the more desirable engine. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah.
The black one's a sure bet.
It's just like I said with certain paint schemes, like I could see it though. Like at first it just like I was more biased. Like if I saw a blonde motor, I was like, that's not desirable, fuck it. But then you start seeing a couple bikes. Like there's a cat up here, my FXR 666 or something like that, and he has a full blue RT, like the blue paint scheme, and a blonde motor and a couple chrome parts on it. Fucking sick.
Yeah.
And who's that? I talked about him before, and I'm a fucking idiot for not remembering his name. But he has, I want to say it's either an RD or it's a gray full fairing FXR up there. It came to John Jessup's party that time when I was with you, and it was but it had chrome everywhere. All over the bike.
It's black, Steve's?
I think it's a gray, like that gray paint scheme, the dark gray and light gray on a full fairing. But he had a shit ton of chrome on it, like chrome wheels, chrome this, chrome thunderheader, all this stuff on it. And it was kind of parked over there, like close to that taco truck, man. It was a sick ass bike. And I always forget about who it is. I've talked about him before.
I don't know.
It was there at the party, though. It was either the blue and gray. I think it was the blue and gray paint scheme.
RD?
It might.
Oh yeah, Josh.
Okay,
FXR Josh. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I fucking love that bike.
Yeah, Josh Berkey. Yeah, that thing is fucking ill. Yeah, bro, that bike kills it with
There's like some kind of weird swag you can have with a bike like that, where you don't. It's like to a guy like you or me, like I can see the money he put into it, but it's just like that ultimate like I just feel like
I'd call it class.
Yeah,
it's classy, man. It's like a really classy looking bike when you do
that's kind of how I feel about like certain bikes like Jessups that are done still running things that look stock to most people, but in reality there's a lot done to it. It's just to the naked eye or to the average dude, it just looks like a stock bike or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? I find that those bikes really have a lot of...
I don't know how John did it with that bike, what it does to people. It does it to me too.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever that color, and that's not a color. Now, okay, if you ask me, I wouldn't run a lot of chrome with that two-tone red. I would have black religiously against that.
Because the black looks good too,
Fucking
man.
A, looks sick with that. So he went and did chrome, which if you would asked me in the beginning, if he would have consulted me for whatever the fuck reason and said, Joe, I'm going to do this whole bike in chrome trim. What do you think? Polish motor out, everything. I'd be like, fuck no, don't do that. Like our discussion in the garage. I'd tell him, no, I don't think that'd be the bike for that. But that bike's fucking went and showed out in every kind of major show and completely won everything it's ever been placed in. So with good reason. I mean, it's just got swag. Fucking just can't hate on it.
At the same time, like I feel like talking about John, like he gets out and does rides. He goes and he puts some miles on his bikes, and that's
He's
what.
a good dude, man.
But that's what you know, and you saw, like you said, he made the effort to create an event for people to go to, and whether the turnout was big or not, it sucks, but it could have just been like, you know, like marketing. I mean, he doesn't have this hugest following.
Last time, I want to say it again. He's been FXRing before all of us.
Yeah.
He's had FXR for a long time. I want to say at least got to be 15 years. He's had his RT, his same fucking bike. Ryan made foot controls for that bike before I. Yeah,
we talked about it on that podcast that we did with him. So,
okay, yeah. So he's had that for a long time, but he was just. There wasn't really a scene when he had it. You know, it was like real underground still. You could buy the bikes for dirt cheap. There wasn't really money to be made in them. It was all the club dudes up there running them and just a few dudes that knew about it, you know, but it wasn't like it is. But then when this whole thing happened, I watched this guy come out like, fuck, man. Like, it just lit a fire under him. It was so bitching to see him just fucking get pumped about something. He got some passion back in him, you know, and then that's what the result was. Is what those bikes. He's just fucking, and he's not stopping. Yeah, he's still doing shit over there. He's still got now. He's doing shovelhead stuff.
Yeah, his brother. You know? Is it his brother?
Yeah,
that works in there that did that fucking sick. It was a twin cam, right? That black and red one.
Yeah. He's been working on that for years, man.
That bike so bad.
I don't understand how these dudes have the fucking patience to do that.
Dude, I don't
Bro,
have
he's
it.
been working on that thing for probably 3 years now, at least.
A lot of money going into that.
I can't. Like, I schedule when I work on my own shit, especially right now with only having one bike. When I schedule to work on it, like, it's down for 3 weeks and that's fucking it. Like, it has to be back together. So
you know who you're talking to, brother? When I go home, I have a bike down to the frame right now. The motor's in it, but everything else is apart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ride that here in a couple weeks to fucking cross country.
Yeah.
And it isn't even nowhere near. Now, mind you, what I build is gonna be nowhere in the realm of what they're doing, but nonetheless, the same amount of work is going to go into what I'm doing, you know, and the same amount of actually still scouring for parts and hardware and all that shit. I still got to do all that. Yeah. But I'll put old bolts in my shit. They're running like every fucking bolt in Tom's bike is all titanium alloy, anodized and shit.
Yeah.
Like all the washers are these fucking badass red washers with, you know.
Yeah, like beauty washers and shit all over it.
Yeah.
There's, you know, definitely not saying anything bad about that, but, you know, when you are built, like, and I know John, you know, he rides the shit out of that Liberty Edition bike. I've seen him do a lot of trips on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, like, sometimes, like, on my Gold bike, you know, I put a lot of time in it. I didn't do fucking ARP every bolt on the bike and shit like that, but, you know, I built that bike with the intention to put 20,000 miles on it in a year or whatever the case may be, or just go everywhere I could on it. So it's like I kind of, like, some things I didn't do because I know it was just going to get tore up on the trips and on this, and it's not necessarily a show bike, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
So, and there's some things, like, when I look at it, like, even the bagger out there, I'm like, man, I could do all the ARP hardware and this and that, but realistically, That's
another thing in this last year I started getting jealous of was the shows and stuff. I actually started wondering if I should build something to show out, just to show off what I can do. And then I'm again now, but now, today, right now, I don't give a fuck about that anymore. Yeah. Doesn't mean nothing to me. I don't care if you won every fucking award. If you ride your bike, I dig you. If you don't ride your bike, I don't give a fuck, man. I mean, it ain't pressing me with that.
The weird thing is, like, if you know, just referencing to that time we all went to Jessup's for that little impromptu bike night that you came through.
Yeah.
Everybody there, like the cats that came up from San Jose and then the dudes from around there, like, everybody was just stoked talking about bikes and hanging out, right? But if that was a show, people would have been, like, more standoffish. They would have been standing in their own little clique corners. Yeah. Like, it's not
hovering around listening to what people talk about their bike and stuff.
Exactly. It's a different mentality, man.
Yeah, for real.
And so, like, but realistically, taking your bike to something like that and just being around everybody is such a positive reinforcement of, like, man, this is why I build bikes, to show it off to people that give a fuck about it.
Yeah, right.
Shows,
appreciate what you do.
You know, like, there's the people that are walking around.
The Mod Glide kid came through with that bike, you know, and I'm not a bagger dude, but I cannot help but like that bike. Yeah. And he didn't do nothing over the top.
Just
those gold wheels, the gray, man, that fucking shit is ill, bro. Yeah. I love it. I like that bike a lot. Like, that's one I just like. Yeah. And I think it's a unanimous thing. A lot of people see that same thing with that bike, you know?
Yeah, it works.
He didn't get all gnarly. So I think the paint's factory.
Yeah, it's factory. It's
But
like
it's
that old,
gray,
like a
matte
grayish
gray color
yeah.
thing, I guess.
Super nice.
Fuck yeah. His old lady, I think, has a cool bike now, too.
Yeah.
I don't know that I like as much as his, but, you know, the expensive wheels, but, man.
But that's the thing, though. It's like when you're out at those places and it's all positive, it's all joking and lightheartedly talking shit, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Fun stuff. But, you know, when you're at the shows, there's people that are walking around that have they don't really give two fucks about it, you know what I mean? Like Easy Rider. So there's a lot of people there, like you're seeing your homies, but there's the everyday bikers coming in, those hog members and shit that, oh, look at this one, it's red, I like red, you know, it's pretty cool. Well, I like the gold one over there, you know, so there's not as much investment from a lot of those show crowds that you can, I don't know, I feel like you get better when you go to things like Maggie Valley or like
that's the show that matters.
Again,
man.
like, you know, our campout is mirrored off of successes of Maggie Valley and successes of what we've found that we love to do in events, which is camping. And yes, the bikes are important. It is about the bikes, but realistically, when you hit that campground, man, those bikes are on the outskirts, and them bikes ain't sitting at the fire with us. You know what I mean? Them bikes ain't drinking beers and smoking weed with us. So it's like that. It's not about the bikes. It is about the bikes on Saturday when we get on them and we go hit these roads. But when we come back, those bikes are back in the background, and we're just doing, you know, we're just talking, you know? And that shit's fucking awesome, man. It's like...
I drove down.
Yeah.
I was trying to go buy some bikes. That was a dry run.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, you were pretty pissed.
I was fucking pissed that time. 2 bikes I struck out on in one trip. I was fucking, dude, what the fuck, man? I was mad at Mike and everything. I was not happy about that whole thing.
Whole day, what's that one dude that his bike broke down? It was kind of a pain in the ass. We were all trying to eat. Mike's homeboy.
Oh, that happened,
yeah.
That didn't bother me. I didn't care. I mean, they wanted me to go back and get it. I was working, man. I don't leave my job to go and do, you know. And I felt bad about it, genuinely did. But at the same time, those guys got it handled anyway. If it was anybody else, maybe if it was some kid I know doesn't. But Mike's he's able. Yeah. So he's asking me. I'm like, Mike, you're asking me for shit that you can. What do you think's wrong with this thing? Shh, bro, me and your level, I consider you a peer of mine. Yeah. You can figure that out too. Yeah. You're just being lazy now. I don't know, you know, or something like that. It's kind of my attitude.
I think it was funny because, like, you know, a lot of the people that we have had on the podcast were at the camp out. So it was really like that fire was like the podcast all-stars just all sitting around the fire, you know? Yeah. Just a little bit of everybody sitting around that had been on.
When you talked about John Jessup's bike night that night, do you remember I had to work on my bike there?
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, I came up on an orange disc glide. Or I mean a candy glide. I'm sorry.
No, you were on that one that you had done.
Orange.
That was orange and gray or something like that.
No, it wasn't like my big touring one. I was on a little orange.
Yeah, I remember that bike. You were running that thing around for a while.
Yeah, I rode it.
It was a lowrider paint scheme.
Yeah. Riley did.
Oh, I was on that.
That's the one that Riley did.
Oh,
I think.
Never mind. Yeah, okay. Well, another one of those nights, I came there on an orange, just all orange candy glide, and I had to bring it in his shop and fucking go through the primary and shit. All the bolts were loose inside there.
Oh, for real?
I heard a noise, and I thought something was click-clacking, and I opened it up, and the fucking chain was in there hitting nothing, the primary chain tensioner. And then when I was in there, I noticed a lot of shit. So why I even want to bring that up, though, is that, see, I mean, you got to earn it, man. Like, that was cool. I got to go in there, put it on the lift, fucking... You know, after that happened during this last year, I had a friend take her bike over there to get dynoed and popped a head gasket on the dyno. And those guys are busy people. They ain't fucking, you know, and you have to, whenever you've anybody dynoed a bike before, you're on your own with that. Yeah. There ain't no warranty on that. If your shit blows up on a dyno, they just bring it right out and give it right back to you. And, you know, you can pay them to fix it, but you're going to pay. It ain't no freebie. You chose to do that. Yeah. If you're doing a tune, you only do a few pulls to get the AFR right, and that's it. Well, they were tuning for horsepower, so they're fucking in there pulling on it to try and peak power out of it. I don't do any of this shit, but long story short, I had to change the head gasket out on this motorcycle right there at the shop, and I wasn't mad. I liked the opportunity to hang out, bullshit with my friends, take this bike apart. It's getting... Literally, glass is half full. It's getting fresh head gaskets, you know. Yeah. I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at Tom dynoing the bike. I wasn't mad at the girl, you know, or anybody else. And I'm the one that had to fucking take care of it. It's not my bike, not my shop. I had nothing to do with what they were doing, but I'm the one that had to fix the bike because it literally, her, Tom, John, everyone that was around all just look right at me like, what are we going to do, Joe? Like, you guys got some head gaskets? It'll fit this 103? Yeah. You guys got some tools I can use? Yeah. You got an open lift? Yeah. Yeah, go for it, man. Tear it up.
Done.
So I worked at John's that day, and I wasn't mad because, but other people that are in this scene, in this thing, they'd have been all butthurt, talk shit. They'd have berated that place. I went to take my bike there and it blew up on their dyno, Well, fucking be a man about your shit, or woman,
Yeah, it's one of those deals. Like, I was actually there. We were hanging out with John, me and my wife. And I think I was hanging out again when I brought my daughter up there, and we were talking, and just sitting at the counter 2 separate times and 2 separate days, 2 separate customers, both at the same time I came in. It was just like you could tell they were trying to get everything they could.
Yeah.
And it's the shops deal with that, man. Like, and John's fucking his enthusiasm to still answer the questions and not be a dick.
Yeah, sweet
pretty
dude.
fucking nice, man.
Oh, he holds his temper so good, man. You can't. He's he's genuinely happy, I think, and so you can't bring him down. The dude. It's what I always talk about with made men. Like anybody I ever knew that was truly made didn't have time to fucking worry about lower level bullshit.
Yeah.
And he's that kind of guy, bro. Got a fucking 20,000 square foot goddamn shop right there full of 100 fucking bikes. He has more bikes in that shop than anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, from any level projects, any type of bike.
I just like walking around in there, man.
You see shit forever. Yeah.
Now, I picked up the sissy bar I had on my bike at the camp out. I actually pulled off his shelf when I was there the week before.
Yeah, see? I mean, that's what
He's like, just take it. I'm like, really? All right,
yeah,
cool,
exactly. I go rate his shit all the time. I'll wait. I give it I go into 4-month intervals, quarterly. I go in there and I fucking go walk around through all of his shelves. I'm like, floating rotors? What's up with these? Oh, fuck Joe. He don't, he's such a nice guy. He don't even like to want to charge me. He'd be like, what, give me $20? Cool. I'm like, bro, here's $40, thank you very much. I appreciate this. This is what I want to show you, He's one of the only dudes I know, any of our friends that dropped money on my brother's PayPal on his GoFundMe when he got hurt,
Yeah.
We ain't even that type of people, but he literally needed help.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, what the fuck else? I don't know. I'm not a GoFundMe kind of a person, but it seemed relevant at the time. And John Jessup dropped $100 on my brother. I wept over that when I seen him after that happened, and I thanked him for that. That made me cry over that because that's how thankful I am. Like, dude, I don't know. We're blessed to have that guy in the area.
And I think that's like the point of that all is that more shops should get out and be more active in the scene like he has become, with trying to do the camp out thing of his own and doing the bike nights they do regularly.
Putting his own personal energy out there like that.
Yeah, and then he also does the rides, and that's kind of like, I think that's the thing that a lot of other shops will find, that it rebalances and centers them whenever they do have to deal with an onslaught of like shitty customers or difficult customers, to be more politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
Going out and riding and being part of it, it shows you why you do it. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Fuck, man, like, I'm at bike night now, and all these dudes are fucking, these are my boys, these are the homies, these are the people that genuinely I don't have issues with, and they make it fun to be doing.
He's going to get business by doing these things because he's putting himself out there. The guys that are coming or hanging out with him now, they're going to be more comfortable to go there. When they do need something done to their bike, they're like, fuck yeah, I'm taking my shit to John. Where the fuck else would I go?
Yeah.
That dude's putting shit together for us, like doing stuff for us in the community. So of course that's where I'm gonna go. You know what I mean?
And
like,
that's the way.
And feel good about it. When you hand that dude a check for some work he did, him. He went to his camp out. He fucking probably provided you with food and drinks and things, and like his own things that he didn't need to do that. His own time, basically. His time's worth a lot of money, man. Harley mechanics make $100 an hour plus. So if he's devoting fucking 20 hours to this goddamn something that doesn't even really necessarily benefit him, I think it will in the scheme of things, right?
And that, like the camp out that we're doing, it's like, I've had a lot of people ask, not necessarily in a way like they're like negative about it, but like we don't make anything on that camp out.
Of course,
like that camp out, like the like Adam Sandoval, the guy that owns that campground, like that money goes to him. And I want it to go to him because that campground's sick. You know what I mean? It's a dope spot.
We want it to keep going.
Yeah, and I want this to be here. Yeah. So, like, to me, to put out a camp out and organize it, like, it takes time. It takes a little effort. But, come on, man. Like, it's the shit I want to do. Like, it's not like.
I guarantee though, the people that go to that and get to hang out with you and shit are gonna get paint work done by you over that camp out.
You know, the main thing is like
not that you need it or anything, but I'm just saying it just, you know, it ain't gonna hurt people to get involved with the fucking community a little bit more, or with the scene, or whatever you want to call it.
You know, it's creating the world that you want to live in. You know, like if you know, everybody's gonna sit there and complain about the way the motorcycle industry is, you know, at some point, I mean, not to everybody, like not everybody has the time, I get it, but man, if you have the reach, the pull, and the ideas and the support from, you know, homies and shit, do something. You know, make an event,
right?
Make something, give some people some shit to do, or at least show them how, you know, some real shit, you know.
Yeah.
And so like you
lead
know,
by example.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, put something back into it. I mean, the camp out might be something that's huge, and at one point in 10 years from now, if it keeps going, it might be something I do make money on.
Right.
But at the same time, like right now, it's not. It's just something to do.
That's not the point of it.
No, it's not.
No,
you know?
You just want to get together and party with people and camp out.
Yeah.
Waste money. Fucking around, being homeless, paying to be homeless. I love that.
Yeah, paying to be homeless.
yeah. I tease. I go, I don't camp. I've been homeless. I don't fucking pay to be homeless. Fuck that, you know.
But you still talk to Tony and all from?
Yeah. Man,
so I think Tony Love's coming back down.
The fuck hell yeah he is, bro. He's got it set up.
Yeah, so he hit me up. I think he's gonna come park his trailer here at the shop.
Coming down.
So yeah, dude, that was a good time last year.
Yeah, see, that's badass. I mean, I can't wait to, dude. I can't wait to. I just partied with him in Vegas very recently. Yeah, he went out to Vegas for work, and I met him up out there, and we tied it on one. I could only hang one night. I felt kind of bad. I genuinely felt bad because I just ditched out. He went to his work thing, his obligations the next day.
Yeah. And
I skirted. I didn't say anything. I didn't even tell him bye because I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're leaving? I just fucking got in the truck, dude. I spent $400 to $600 that one night. And had nothing to show. And I don't even drink, bro. Just fucking off. Like, just gambling. I gambled a couple hundred of that, you know, probably most of it. And eating and just...
you got to pace yourself there, man.
Just the rides, cab rides we took around. We went to a weed store and legally bought a bunch of fucking pot. Spent way too much money on that. I mean, did all kinds of fun ass. I mean, oh, dude, I love that. I genuinely love that guy, man, you know. And so, yeah, we had a good time. We had a good time.
Last year was fucking wild, man.
Yeah, well,
there was a lot of fucking like up in the air drama about whether Giddyup was going to take place this year or not.
Really?
Because of bike
money
club.
And shit.
No, bike club stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this kind of stuff, but I don't really know too much about it. But you know, ever since all that Waco shit happened here, you know, like the Banditos itself have been very under the, you know, eyes of the law and shit. So it's like, it's been, you know, Texas has been a single outlaw state for ever. You know, there's never been another outlaw club here.
Dude, every time I've ever seen a patch in Texas, I can't even tell if it's a Bandito or not because they're exactly the same colors and everything.
There's a ton of support clubs.
Yeah, like, they all wear like,
and they all wear the same red and gold.
Same shit, you know, like.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of shit about that, and then the people that put on Giddyup, there was 4 or 5 partners of that deal, and 2 of them were in a club thing, and then some shit happened. Like I said, I don't know the details enough to like actively talk about it, but that was about it. But supposedly
they've gotten it worked out though.
Yeah, I think those 2 partners of Giddyup are now out off the table, and then the remaining people are still putting it on, but. Then I've heard that a lot of places like Lowbrow and all these other big sponsors of the show backed out.
Don't want to be involved either. Yeah, things like that make it look like they're supporting these guys.
You remember we were at that green Harley Davidson that day before.
Absolutely.
So they don't want to have anything to do with it now.
Really?
And I'm like, y'all are fucking stupid because the show's still gonna happen. Like I was telling there
was fucking probably 5,000 people that graced that place that day.
Exactly. So like, why would y'all not still do it? And see, so I was talking to Scott. You remember Scott? He's the one that runs a lot of the operations and some of the operations
of course,
Simpson.
The Simpson guy. Yeah.
So when we were there, he's like, Simpson ended up stepping up and being the main sponsor of Giddyup to help keep it going because they're right there in New Braunfels, right?
They probably sell a lot of helmets too.
Yeah, they do, and they've been supporting the show since day one and stuff like that.
That guy genuinely cares about the industry, I think.
Oh, for
and I don't even know that he's a biker, but
he is.
He fucking. Oh yeah, I know he rides motorcycles. I don't know that he's like fucking Harley dude.
I think Scott's
he like
He's got a new Road Glide.
British bikes and stuff.
He likes everything. He came from a background of like a complete spectrum.
Just a biker.
Just likes motorcycles, whatever it is. But he
I was very thankful. I would like to say thank you to those guys again for that tour and everything.
Yeah.
That was really nice of them to bring us in the facility and all that. It was really fucking cool. I did learn some things too, actually, which is cool. I learned how they test those helmets with the spike and shit.
Yeah.
It was neat, man.
It's just crazy.
And then that guy that's in there R&D,
making all the designs and shit.
I don't even know if we're allowed to talk about that guy, are we? You can't keep him on the under. But he had all those
I don't know if that dude was legal.
Yeah, he might not be. But he's a sharp cat, though.
Yeah, he was
what a cool job. He just sits in there and fucks with helmets all day however he wants. You know? That guy
was probably
not mad. He was
probably
mad.
like 6 or 7 different Simpson helmets in there with different styling that he's just kind of coming up with ideas on.
We've seen ones that no one will ever people have never even seen.
Yeah, for sure.
And different things they may or may not bring out and shit. That was really neat.
Yeah,
man.
so there was also this going on, that place they had Giddyup, that actual bar that was there on the corner that the show took place at, that got bought out by new owners as well. So there was a lot of things on the table that kind of that are hindering it, but the show is so fucking awesome, man. So it's like, dude, honestly, if they would have canceled it, I still would have went down there and camped.
I've invited the shit out of all kinds of people to that. I've been a huge promoter for that show, man.
Yeah, I got SoCal homies talking about doing a ride out here for that shit.
Yeah,
so it's like,
should. Everybody
Henzo's
should
coming
go.
down too, right?
Yeah, man. Hey, everybody, you guys, any motherfucker that ever talked to me about Giddyup, I push it to everybody.
So like always though, like, you know, the way we got there super early to get us a good spot.
Yeah.
You see how important that is though? Because we had a spot and those fucking club moved us out.
Yeah, not really. We gave that up. We moved over to a better spot. I liked where we ended up at.
Yeah, it was cool.
Right on that corner. Everybody bends that corner, man. That was a good little spot right there.
Yeah.
That was a good fucking time, man. I mean, yeah, I'm going back.
For sure.
I mean, fuck Daytona. I'm going to Giddyup. I'm going to Daytona to kill some time, but the premise of that trip is coming to Giddyup to party with you guys again, sit at that same campfire, fucking tell war stories. And I was impressed with how you guys walk into each other's campsites and just grab beers right out of the coolers and strike up conversations. And I'd ask like FXR Mike, I'm like, how do you know that guy, man? He's like, look, that guy, I don't know that guy. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? You just walked right up to his campsite and grabbed a beer out of his cooler? He's like, well, yeah, you don't do that. I'm like, dude, where we're from? Like, you know, what the fuck? You would never do that.
So my boy Kyle, the one that owns this dyno right here, I didn't know him yet, but he was hanging out in our campsite with us.
Yeah.
I didn't really know him at the time.
Anyone was welcome, man.
Yeah.
Like, people just came up and just fucking
Did you go around any of the times we went to walk around the big loop and we were just kind of like a big mob of dudes walking around?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we would go, you guys would go and integrate right into a party that was going on. I met with the gray in his beard. He's got badass choppers and shit. I feel so bad. I know his name. I can't think of it right now. Anyway, a lot of dollar bill.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. You know him. I think he may even wear glasses. Fuck, it's on the tip of my tongue. All these guys, man. I met all kinds of cool dudes, but the cool thing was that you guys were walking up into their campsites and didn't know them. Like, just walk right up and just get right into conversation and start rapping with people. And, dude, that's a different vibe than anything I've ever been around. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, me and my people were friendly and stuff like that. But if somebody came up and just opened our ice chest and grabbed a beer out of there, probably they're going to get some kind of shit.
I think that for the most part, some people would have to, you know, like say that area, you know, between FXR Mike and his group of people that brought, and then my group of people, there's a lot of people that not everybody knows each other. So I think it's
those
more
Dallas Fort Worth Dyna dudes that
Yeah.
partied with us. You know, those guys were fucking rad. Then they had a bunch of their friends. What were those? Did they have a little name for their crew or whatever? The Dyna
the
guys?
DFW Dyna crew.
Yeah,
they weren't
those
there.
guys. They weren't.
No, they weren't there.
Yeah, well, I thought they were.
No, they were doing a ride back in
They
Dallas.
partied with us.
It wasn't those guys. It was another group of guys.
Little Mexican guy and the other guys. God damn it, I can't remember.
Oh no,
names.
you're talking about like Jamie and Steve.
Yeah, them.
They
yeah.
were all fucking like
Steve, yeah,
high.
little beard and shit. Yeah, those guys were.
Yeah,
cool.
those dudes were cool as shit. Yeah, they are some of the Dyna dudes from up here, but they don't really have a
Okay, they don't run.
They hang out. They got a small group. Wes is a tattoo dude.
They were tight with you.
Yeah,
They were the little
they're good
crew,
dudes,
man.
Yeah, they were camping down at the bottom. Remember, we had walked down their side a couple
I
times.
want to call the one dude. The dude has a badass blue shovel head chopper. You how do you not know him, man? He has a big old gray streak through his beard right here.
I probably know him if I saw him.
Fuck, I want to call him Gus, but I know that's not his damn name. And I know his name. I've talked with him since that show. I've kept in contact. We've, on social media, rapped out with each other. I don't know. I was kind of nerding out myself because I felt like, it was my second time ever going to Giddyup, and I felt like we had, like, I don't know what the term would be, like just one of the sickest ensemble of peoples. Yeah.
There at Giddyup.
Bikes and style, swag.
I mean,
we had,
dude, you fucking Oliver from Cut Rate, and then, FXR Mike and my boy Carlos and shit finally came out of the fucking, woodworks.
Carlos, yeah.
And so
Jade was hanging out.
Jade,
we had a huge Gary, all these guys, man. We had a serious hit. We had all FXRs up there, so I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Our squad was hard,
The shit was crazy.
That was just that was a good time. I'm sold on. That's the point of all that. Is that, man? I really enjoyed that time. I'm coming back because I had such a good time. I didn't know anything about it. I never even had heard of Giddyup prior to that, and I had such a fucking blast. You remember me creeping around the event with my boxer shorts? I had just my boxers on. I do that at a lot of Harley events, and everywhere I've ever been, people say shit. No one said nothing to me there, man. They looked at me weird and shit, but nobody said, "Yo, dude, you got to put some pants on or something,"
Since we grew up going to like the Redwood Run, dude, I was fucking 15 years old. I got snuck into the Redwood Run. It's a 21 and over event with my dad, bro. Everybody there was naked, so that's like normal. You know what I mean? Like,
couples that try to take us when we were kids with them and shit.
That is the weird thing, because I've been to a lot of those kind of rallies and shit, and it's so funny, like how like Giddyup is the shit, right? But when you gone to the old school dudes, like them ladies walking around butt ass naked.
When we go to Mariposa Bike Fest was probably that was our most epic one. When we were kids, we would get wasted there. Fucking whatever. Our parents literally let us do whatever the fuck we want because they were partying. They didn't want us being bothering us. So we would just, dude. I mean, we were raised around this shit. Yeah. I got cut off from the last one when we talked about it. I was trying to talk about the earlier part. We did for about 45 minutes, the earlier part of my motorcycle.
Yeah.
And it's neat to have my brother here right now because he can really attest to like the way we were raised. Our dad drank Jack Daniels and rode the fuck out of motorcycles, and so did all his homeboys. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
can I get some water? You want water?
Yeah, please.
I only got 2. So.
And so for us, man, we're from a different school than a lot of people nowadays, And even then, I was raised around it. I still admire guys like other guys that found motorcycling on their own. I've always been impressed by that because for us, it was a no-brainer that we would ride Harleys and shit. It's just in our DNA. Yeah. But like a lot of my buddies when we grew up and then they ended up getting on bikes, and I knew that they didn't come from that kind of a life for their parents, They found it on their own. I've always appreciated those people a lot more than they realize, like that's fucking gangster when you were the first one in your lineage to ride Harleys.
Yeah. I
like that a lot. I always admire that about people, And dudes surprised me. I had dudes, jock friends in school and shit. We ended up growing up. They're riding Harleys. I'm like, damn, you guys.
They found it.
I wouldn't bring those kids to my house when we were kids because our parents were burning weed and I hung out with a lot of preppy kids. So they'd go, let's go to your house, Joe. Fuck no. No way. You never knew what was going to be going on at my house when I come home from school. You never knew. It could be there was tattoos going on in there. There was
the bike shop kicking off.
There was all the homeboys in there fucking burning, fucking
weed growing in the backyard.
All outlaw biker dudes, real biker dudes that were just fucking filthy, long-haired, no filter. If I brought a girl home or something, they'd be like, "What's that, Joey? That's your little piece of ass right there." So, what I mean? That's just how they fucking... And they weren't trying to put nothing on it. That's just how they were, very brash people.
Yeah.
So, now that we grew up, we are those guys. You just product of my environment or whatever. And then it was just fun to watch through life, like the guys that come to that lifestyle and then embrace that, and unexpected and shit. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I feel like, like I said, I kind of grew up in a back and forth household like that, where some parts of my life was like, my parents were heavily around the motorcycle shit, because my stepdad was in and out of bike stuff, all the time. And you'd be around some of that stuff, man. It's like you're a kid and you got one side of the family that's like super got their shit together, going places, and then you got this side where it's partying, but then my mom and my stepdad would argue all the time, and my mom would leave. So it's like it was such an unstable household on one end that it felt like it wasn't right. But the older I get, some of the people that like I said earlier, some of the people I found or I remember from back in the day just seem to have things a little bit more figured out than others. You know what I mean? As far as just like living a little bit more free and shit. So
yeah. Well, we were raised around all these people, man.
And they were doing it too. Their pops going to Sturgis on a fucking old bucket pan head or just whatever he's doing.
The bikes they rode.
I remember being like 6, probably the earliest memories of this type, like 5 or 6 years old, probably 6, and just being at field meets. Like my parents used to go to a lot of parties in fields and just like outdoor kind of parties and shit.
Like Dazed and Confused.
We'd be out.
Those kegger parties and shit.
We'd be out. Yeah. It'd always be like biker shit. And like I remember because there was one like group of people that had kids that would come too, and they always had Easy Rider magazines. Yes. So we would get them. We would get them and like go sneak around behind the car and look at the titties. I was
10 years old, dude. Joe took all the centerfolds out of all the Easy Rider. We had a stack, bro, from like the 80s, 70s, and 80s, and he took all the centerfolds, our entire room.
The border of my room at the top was all Easy Rider centerfolds, naked women, all the way around my room. We were kids. Literally, I was probably like 14. He was like 10 years old, you know? Like that dude, I've been having Easy Rider magazines in my living room all my fucking life. When I lived on Low Street before any of this, when I was a really little kid, I used to eat my cereal on the seat of the bike was parked in the living room of the house. You know, like, I mean, there's a fucking huge oil stain right in our carpet. Dude, the Ghost Rider tapestries hanging on the wall in the living room, and in our house later on Olive Court, the whole fucking
Ghost Rider,
a whole Jack Daniel shrine across the whole wall with scattered Harley Davidson, things about and stuff, and it's just like that's why it's so important to us.
Does it not feel weird, like growing up seeing that was literally the house that you lived in, and then you see how popularized it became like in the last 4 or 5 years?
Well, yeah, it wasn't suits back then, man. Mm-hmm. It really, even in my lifetime, it just wasn't like that. Everybody that rode was a fucking biker. Everybody was an outlaw biker. There was no fucking, at least I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm fucking completely tripping. But in my world, every fucking dude knew how to wrench on his bike. They were always dirty as a motherfucker. They all wore boots. Fucking blue jeans, 501 blue jeans. I mean, long fucking hair. Like every one of them, man, big old mustaches and shit. Every dude that would come around our house was old school, tatted down, fucking biker. Yep. All of our older homeboys, you know, all
I was
the most.
10 years old, bro, going across state lines on the back of my dad's panhead, bro. Literally jump. Hey, it was the Eel River or whatever it is, or the what's the river coming into Oregon? The
Eel River.
Is that the Eel River? Yep. Yeah, going. There's a Snake River or something weird. Anyway. Jumping in the river, take baths and shit, like jump back on the bike, let's go. It's 110 degrees outside, so we just jump in the river,
pull off, get stripped down, fucking go skinny dipping, fucking, have a beer and shit. Like, I mean, it was just good living, man. Like you say, free. You just felt so fucking free,
Pop's trying to figure out a way to put a car lighter on his panhead so he could smoke joints while he rides and then pull over.
Yeah, it taught me that. Taught me to use a cigarette lighter because it don't blow out, so you could burn and ride. He'd be burning. He passed me the joint while we're riding when I was a teenager. That's my life, Like, I'd fucking pull up next to him, boom, hauling ass. He'd be like, big old beard too. I'm like, how the fuck is he smoking this joint, not burning his beard off? He'd hit it, fucking pass it to me on my bike. Fucking I'd take a hit, boom, pass it back. Just keep on trucking, like that's just the shit is so fucking important to us because it's our lineage, man. It's like, I don't know, man, maybe your dad would be in the model airplanes, so you're in the model airplanes really big and it means a lot to you, and that's how it is for us, for me, and my brother. My brother's fucking ruined his whole body on motorcycles and yet he still
fucks with him.
Has to. He can't. Yeah. He's like fucking.
We're trying to find a way because my right arm doesn't work, man, so we're gonna put something down here or put the throttle on the left side, run a foot clutch, so then I can still.
Yeah, but no matter what, he's almost killed himself twice on these bikes in the last year, and it don't matter. He's gonna, and everyone that doesn't know any better is like, why would you guys? Like, I have our elder not grandparents, more like just people I know that are more respectful people. I don't know what the fuck you call them, just more white collar people come to me and say, hey man, you really gonna let your brother get back on a bike? I'm like, dude, I'll slap the shit out of you right now. What the fuck what are you coming in? What do you mean? Of course.
Fucking scram, dude.
Why would I take away the thing that he loves the most? Even if it kills him, then I know that he died literally doing something that
my happy place.
You can't take that away from us, man. Like me, I've just he's trying to catch up to me because he's been in the institutions for so long.
Yeah.
He's like an 18-year-old, and so he just doesn't have. Since he was 18, he's been in penitentiary. You know, it took him getting, you know, doing some really horrible shit to finally. That was the catalyst to finally say, all right, I had enough of this lifestyle. I've given he had the ultimate chance, you know, giving his life back to him. He was probably going to do life in prison, no question. And fuck, by the grace of the biker gods, he got granted his giving his life back, and so he took it seriously. And now he's trying to catch up. So it's been a hard.
Harleys. I had 4 Harleys.
When'd you get out?
3 Indians and a Harley, or 1 Indian and 3 Harleys just last year, bro. So
when'd you get out? Like how?
So, fuck, this is weird. February 19th, 2015, I got arrested for murder. I'd only been out 6 months. I got like 12 years in. I'm 35. I got 12 years behind the wall. And then I got out. I was out 6 months. I caught a murder case. February 19th, 2015 is when it happened. I got I was in for about 11 months. And then I don't know. It's been just a couple years, man. 2 years or so. I'm catching up. Yeah.
This has been the longest he's been out.
I stopped doing drugs, man. I stopped doing drugs. Stopped getting high, and I stopped going to prison. And I have nice things. So
yeah.
So it's whatever.
Yeah. Now we're out here buying him a pizza truck so he can slang pizzas. You know.
Like you're talking about Indian earlier. It's funny. We ripped the motor out of the Indian and put it in the FXR.
For real?
Yeah. Yeah. We have it at the house right now.
My dad's bike. I got my dad's bike, dude. His Indian he had when he died, man. And it's just, I know my dad, and I know he's not tripping. Like, everybody's like, why would you do that to your dad's bike? I'm like, first off, that's not even was his favorite. Like,
yeah.
He's had many bikes. Him and his brother used to swap back and forth for years.
Yeah, we never would have took apart the panhead.
Right. He would have never.
But
still
this
looking for that
Indian was
panhead.
something he bought later in his life anyway, and it wasn't.
He wasn't tripping. He
Yeah.
didn't even. He rode it one time to Oregon and said, "I will not fucking ride that bike across country ever again. Fuck that." And this is a hardcore biker. He's riding panheads, dude, across the fucking country. You know what I mean? It's breaking down every 60 feet. He was having a blast. That Indian, he didn't even ride it back from Oregon. He put it in the back of a truck. Bought a truck while he was there. So when we pulled that motor out of it and put it in the FXR, I have no qualms or anything until we can tell us shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and then he wrecked that bike on the freeway.
Yeah, that was
60
my fault.
miles an hour. He
Operator.
cartwheeled that bike. So, so then we get him another FXR after that, and then it was doing good, and then it just dropped a cylinder recently. I thought a valve hung open or something like that, and it was just, I think it's the ignition. I think just literally the module's not firing on the rear cylinder. So I'm going to fix that when I get home. So then he comes to me and he's like, you know what, man, don't, you know the FXR dude, and I love FXRs too, but I want you to buy this bike for me. Give me a down payment so I can just go and get a fucking brand new, right out of the showroom bike, you know?
I was just at a point in my life, I wanted to build the FXR later. Like, I was at a point in my life where everything was good, and I was riding motorcycles, whatever, but shit would break, and then I'm working this kind of shitty job, and I'd have to sit there and not be able to ride and have to fix the bike.
Doing head gaskets on
Yeah, I'm
this
like,
SNS
fuck,
motor
don't even know what
and
I'm
shit.
doing. He's
calling me over the phone,
Yeah.
and I'm very irritable with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worse on him than anybody. It's like my son, I call him, you know. So I'm like, just fucking do it, you know, do it.
Yeah.
Don't quit calling me. I can't help you. I'm not even there. What the
Yeah.
fuck you want me to do? All right, man. All right. Well, you know, how do you do this? I'm like, figure it the fuck out. Literally, like.
Then he call me back 20 minutes later, get it done. Oh, look, I told you the torque spec's wrong, man.
Yeah.
Pissed off. I wasn't thinking. Like, fuck, I have to take it all apart, do it again.
Yeah.
Fucking dick.
Yeah. So then he got the brand new bike, and then that's the one that he turfed out on, and fucking.
I just needed something I could ride all the time. And then my goal was to have that for like a daily rider, and then just be able to build the FXR I wanted, you know?
Yeah.
And not have to, because I just want to ride, man. Now it's like, fuck.
Yeah, so the dude, point of all where I even got off into this is that now he's completely broken, but yet all we talk about every day is how we're going to get him back on a bike, you know?
Yeah.
And like our mother aren't really pumped on it. All our friends are kind of like, you know, maybe he just doesn't need to be riding or whatever. And we're both like, fuck all of you. not anybody we love, but anybody else that just tries to put their 2 cents in, literally, fuck
I even
off.
went as
you know?
far and went and sat on one of them freewheelers or whatever, but
Yeah, we had been there on a trike.
I went in there, sat on it, man. It's got, like, it was the first one I seen without the touring pack or whatever in the back, and it looked all right. And I sat on it, and it seems cool, man. But
Yeah, that's my
You
theme
can always
this year.
you can do a sidecar, man. Like that's the gangster way of doing
yeah,
it.
we didn't even think about that
Look
yet.
at Mike's sidecar's so badass.
Yeah, so that's kind of like
That thing's so
the
tight. Didn't
even think
loophole
about
in the
that.
trike game. Like if you get a trike, it's pretty gay, right? But if you do a sidecar, it's kind of cool. You know what I mean?
I got a badass
Yeah.
English bulldog. To
Especially you get a
ride
dog
around,
to ride
too.
with you or something.
I got
Yeah.
an English bulldog right now. Probably love it.
Yeah.
The point of this, man, this year my theme is just to get back to being a biker, man. I'm gonna quit getting caught up in the frills and all the bullshit
Yeah.
and the social media and shit. I want to get back to fucking.
Yeah, but you also got to understand, like, no matter what you do, like, it's gonna, like, people gonna hate, man. Like, and
Yeah.
I hate to say things like, oh, fuck, haters make you famous and all that kind
No,
of
I don't. That's not what I'm
that kind
saying.
of stuff. But like,
it ain't haters. It's me getting hating me.
well, you I
know
mean,
what
when
I
you're a
mean?
genuine dude, you know what I mean? When you're a legit, genuine dude and the things you do are pure, you're not trying to hustle people, you're just being an honest fucking guy.
Yeah.
If people try to say you're not, or they try to call you out and say that, oh, you ain't about this, that, and the other, and you know you are, you get defensive about it, like, naturally, like I do.
Right.
You know, and that's why, like, I'm so... I try not to talk about it here, but I'm glad that people don't fuck with me because I'm one of those dudes that'll jump into a battle with somebody online.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can't let factors fucking influence
Yeah.
me, man.
Yeah.
I can't let this shit get to me, you know. And I'm not. It isn't even haters though. That's not the term I would use. I don't have people constantly hating on me. I don't hear shit talking about me. It's that I let things that are happening around me
That maybe not doesn't
bother
involve,
me.
involve
Yeah, it ain't
you.
It's not even in my lane. Like I said, man, I need to stay in my own fucking lane, man. With the raffles and shit like that,
Yeah.
you know, I'll goes both ways. I see dudes like raffling shit, and I see dudes hating on their raffle. I want to jump on those guys and tell them, hey, fuck you. Why don't you shut your mouth? That dude, let him do whatever he wants. It's his fucking bike. I don't care if he raffles it for $1 million or whatever. And then at the same time, then there's other dudes doing shit, and I feel like they're just shady, and I want to say something to them, like, you know what, fuck you.
Yeah.
Just fuck you, period.
Yeah.
Just, you know, and I don't know, man. I needed to rein it in. Last time I was on here, too, I was talking good about Riley. That painter, that guy's fucked over a lot of people. Don't take your shit to him. Fuck that dude.
Yeah, I was going to
Make
ask
sure
you about it because I know Dylan down there kind of
No,
got in between.
I'm backpedaling on that. Yeah, he did a lot of fucked up shit. He's got me. That guy had a golden ticket, man.
Yeah.
And he couldn't. I mean, I think his immediate intentions were good, and I think he started out, but man, it's really weird, man.
Well,
he
he was-
owes Dusty that money. That's fucking
Yeah.
pissing me off. Pay the guy back his fucking money you owe him, you know. And then our other buddy out in California, that he owes him his parts, you know. And he's just got the guy's shit, he says, but like lies and deceit and all this kind of shit. All I'm bringing this up because I pumped that dude up on the last podcast, and now I'm telling everybody I reneged all that I said. You know, fuck that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wish the guy no harm. He has
Yeah.
children. He's a man, and I understand, but he's fucking up.
Well,
Completely.
and I don't know much about the situation or the guy personally.
Fuck.
Just as like business, being in business and doing any of this type of stuff, it's easy. It's easy to get busy, especially if you're doing a cheap price. But you can easily find yourself like so buried in work and things and obligations to where, especially in California, if you're not charging enough, you're not gonna make enough. And you're going to be living on deposits and living on.
Well, the dude, no,
As a
he's a
full-time job,
career
too,
chef, man. He makes 6 figures without painting.
Then why fucking paint?
Well, he enjoyed it, I think, but I don't know what
Do
happened.
it for yourself and your homies. Don't like me. Like at some point in time, like I don't want to do this for I don't want this to be my main source of income, but I want to
Right.
do it for like me and the
Same
and
with
the
me.
homies. Yeah.
Same with me. I'll build a bike for you right now. I don't want to even have to charge you.
Yeah.
I've done it for P. That's when I was talking about meeting Tony, my buddy Jeff in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I met him up there, and it happens in California. I have my first customer ever, this young guy right now that I'm actually just nothing. I'm not charging him nothing, really. A couple $100. But, I don't like that shit, man.
Yeah.
That's not nothing. I never wanted to, I don't do this, exploit this my abilities and things for money, like I know it's nothing wrong with it either. I mean, I have a set of skills that are exclusive to me that, and a couple other guys maybe that are worth money, because guys wouldn't bring their shit to me if I was, if they could do it.
Yeah.
They can, they just don't. People are nervous to go about it. They don't want to fuck
Well, if you
their
didn't
stuff
grow up
and
around
stuff.
if you didn't grow up around that type of mode, like I came into this shit with twin cams and fuel injection, so when I was going down that fucking FXR road, like that shit was all new to me.
Our dad could do anything on a motorcycle, anything, any job, true flywheels, fucking machine shit, whatever the fuck you could throw at him. And I've never seen him charge a dude $1 fucking dollar. And all his homeboys' bikes would come through our garage. He built our neighbor Jim's bike from scratch, Barney the Sportster. Yeah. That actually was my bike originally. It was my bike. It was 1,000 cc, like 69 sporty with a magneto on it. Ended up going to Jim. They built that from the frame up. Fucking everything, man. Painted it purple, called it Barney, you know. And
tanks.
Yeah, badass coffee like tank, big old crazy Springer and shit. Just straight chopper.
Yeah.
They put in hours and hours. That dude didn't charge him no fucking money for that.
You know,
he wasn't in it for that.
I grew up around a lot of that type of stuff too, you know, and the only thing I would you know, counter that with is that, you know, back in the 80s, and I don't know shit about the 70s, but in the 80s and early 90s, like when there was a point when so much more shit started becoming a factor. Like you used to be able to, your credit score didn't mean dick, right?
Right.
You could buy a house with a couple $1,000s down and this, that, and the other. So it's almost like in back in the day, you had more free time to do those type of things. Now, this day and age, like most of us are just trying to make it. You know what I mean? So it's like if you have an extra 2 hours a day, it's kind of hard.
Dude had 2 jobs.
Yeah.
3 sometimes, depending on the
He
time
did
of
a
year.
paper route in the morning, and then he worked at the winery at night, you know, and so, or in the afternoons anyway. So, you know, he definitely didn't have the time in raising all of his kids and shit.
He made it happen.
But you know, in the night, that's what he did. He would moonlight in the garage. He'd go out there, fucking smoke his joints and shit, kick back, and he'd work on any of the homeboys, metric bikes. It didn't matter.
I think that probably was more like his. You know, obviously he rode and did all that shit, but it might have also been like decompression.
Hey, he was a biker, James.
Yeah.
That's it. One word. When I talked on your podcast, I talked about when I helped you, how I said it. I had said a line where I said, as an FXR guy, you can't let anybody. I told you there was no way I was going to let you push your bike. And my exact words were that. My mom heard that and she goes, hey, let me tell you something. This is my mom. She said, no, all bikers should do that for all other bikers, not just you FXR guys, Joe. Like, she reminded me, she was fucking right, bro.
Yeah.
She was serious about it, too.
Struck right to me. I was like, God damn it. You know, because I made it a point that it's FXR guys that do this for other FXR guys. My mom was like, what's wrong with you? Think about it for a minute here. It ain't just, you should do that to any bike that you see that's on the side of the road. You should pull your ass over and help that motherfucker. That's what your dad and all your lineage did. That's what your dad would do, no matter what. How many guys come home to our house and eat dinner at the table with us that we don't even fucking know because they were broke down? He would bring them to the house, bring the bike in the garage. Looking, who's this fucking dude with a beard? I think that's how you met Ed, Red Freak or something, right? Broke down, and next thing you know, the guy's sitting at our kitchen table. My mom's fully hip with it, you know. My mom wouldn't even fuck with a dude that didn't have a motorcycle. That was just part of the gig, you know. That's how I came about, even. So, you know what I mean? If my dad tried to get at her at the winery for a long time, man. They worked together, and he was trying to holler at her, and she was like, "Nah, dude, I ain't going out with you." Then he pulled up to work on the bike one day, and she was like, "All right, you can take me out now. If you take me on the bike, I'll go out with you." You know? So, you know, a bunch of kids later and shit.
A bunch of kids later.
You know, so Harley's brought us into the world even. I mean, literally, straight up, man. That my mom and dad would never even got together if it hadn't have been for motorcycles, you know. And so, yeah, that's just it. Nowadays in my life, that's where I'm going back to. You know, I got lost in my ways because I don't know a lot of bikers no more, man. I don't know a lot of real bikers. That shit's dead, man. Like, dude, those events used to be so fun where you get the sledgehammer and pay $1 and get to hit a metric bike with a fucking jet bike with a sledgehammer, you know.
Badass,
that all the runs and like all the events that they used to do. They still do the weenie bite and stuff like that, but like all the barrel racing, all the games and shit and these events, man, like I don't see it anymore. It's like none of that goes on anymore. I don't know, you know, there's few and far between. They try to keep that stuff alive, but
they literally would bring a Honda out there,
string it up in a tree like a piñata.
For $5, you get a sledgehammer. You get three swings
three
of a sledgehammer.
smacks at the fucking bike. It raised tons of money. Yeah, we would beat the shit. I did it. We all did it. It was fucking fun, you know. Then they'd light it on fire at the end. And just fucking, you know what I mean? Like, we were raised in this school, man. They would bring strippers to the events and fucking, you know, like parties. Just, I don't know, the drugs were good and the women were loose and the fucking beer was cold and it was just such a good time, man. And, you know, I long for that still, but I've gotten all off the path being like on the fringes of the industry, you know, and like letting all this shit that doesn't even apply to me get to me. So right now I've gotten it back though. Like somehow, man, I literally detached myself from all the shit I see going on with the motor company and guys bitching about the motor company and like the electric bike and all this shit that just I come across my radar, and I used to just sit there and invest my energy into it. And the next thing you know, like, okay, one day when we were talking, I told you I'm gonna come on here and talk about adventure bikes because you guys, that was a hot topic for a while.
Yeah.
The main guy I would say is a guy from New York. Probably you and him talked a lot about it.
Purpose built guy. Yeah, John.
You know, and he's all about it and shit. And I told you when I come on here, I'm gonna tell you like it is. I'm not into that. I'm not sold on that at all.
Yeah.
I want to ride Harleys only. Fuck all that other shit. You know, KTMs and shit. That shit's fucking lame to me, you know. Like I wanted to come on here and give a different perspective because a lot of people are on that. You know, it was kind of unanimously like, that's really cool. Well, I wanted to be the first guy to say, nah, fuck that. Stay on the road. You want to do a dirt bike, get a dirt bike. You want a street bike, get a street bike. This little crossover bullshit, I get the, and I'm not ignorant to it. I understand, and I see the appeal. I understand the appeal. But for real bikers that are brand loyalist, fucking Harley loyalist kind of dudes, we don't really even, that's not even an option, really. I mean,
yeah, I think that, you know, to be like, I think I actually said this on either the last podcast or podcast before. It's like, as I'm riding bikes in the northern hemisphere, or just in North America as a whole, you know what I mean? Like, I have no real desire to ride an adventure bike around here. It was just like, if, you know, because at some point in my
living in Baja, Mexico or something, it'd be fucking nice.
My perspective of that bike was, at some point in my life, if I can financially or whatever reason, dude, I want to fucking ride down around the world and all that shit. So at that point, yes, I would probably, that's where I would want that adventure bike, just to be able to go through the terrain that, you know, obviously, you know. My
homeboy Jeremy Kimmerling sent me some pictures the other day of his bike fucking buried in the mud. Dude, he had videos and everything. He fucking went off-roading on his goddamn motorcycle.
You got no service whatsoever.
Yeah, I do.
See, I feel like from Panama up, I'd ride a Harley anywhere. You know what I mean? Mexico, all that shit.
Come on, motherfucker.
Yeah, when this doors are shut in the shop, like you're off the grid, bro.
All this metal and shit, and stuff. Well, Jeremy Kimmerling fucking just took his badass FXR, full on adventure, bro.
For real?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, with street tires. I didn't give a fuck. He fucking, it's on his IG. He was mobbing it, man. He sent me a picture. Nobody's touching the bike, and it's sitting straight up and down in the mud, buried to the primary in the mud. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking that's awesome. You know, that guy's about it.
But yeah, so that's kind of was the deal. It's like like I don't really want to ride off road. Like, I'm not really into dirt bikes that much. You know.
What if you fall?
Yeah, dude.
I'm not in that good a shape.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
So like for me, it wasn't. It was never like I didn't want to buy the bike and then go find off roads around here. And I know that some people might be into that, and that's pretty cool. You know.
Right.
Fucking Brian's into that. TPJ up there, he's into that shit. But for me, it was more of a traveling aspect of like going through countries that don't really have roads or shit like that, which, like I said, I'm years away from. But you know, when Harley's talking about they're gonna bring that bike out, it's like, dude, you know, are you sure? Like to me, even now, like I'm like, dude, like you haven't even made any kind of like advance to being a part of that industry. You know, it's like just throwing a bike out there to do it, but you're not invested in any way. Like, I just don't think it's going to be a great deal for them. And, of course, who the fuck cares about my opinion or yours or in that world? You know, they don't care. They're going to do what the fuck they want to do, right?
Yeah. So, that's cool. I'm not with them or against them, man. I'm just taking it as an open mind, you know. They might win me over. Dude, hey, I didn't know about FXRs being so bitching until I found it. Yeah. Maybe something else is going to come along and I will switch it up eventually. I don't know. I haven't been persuaded yet.
Yeah.
I had a lot of good kind of just mind, like I had a lot of good viewpoints on the adventure shit, but it's been so long since I was wanting to talk about it. I pretty much forgotten all what I wanted to say about it and shit. But I do still remains the same that if that's what those guys do, that's cool. But when I see those guys at hotels when we're going cross country and they're pulling in with all their fucking dorky gear and their adventure bikes, you know, it's usually middle-aged, older kind of dudes. Yeah, when we were in Wyoming and shit.
Crazy too.
I never get I never get motivated by it. I never get. I don't want to switch up, and I still want to ride my I'll make an FXR that'll do it if I have to do it. If anyone proposes me a trip that we're gonna go down through South America and shit, then I'm still gonna do it on an FXR right now. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, and a lot of people was wondering if San Diego Customs kind of had an in, and obviously they had an in with Harley to kind of know about that direction.
I can't speak on it. Maybe or maybe not.
I don't know. And if they did or not, it has nothing to do with the point. But
they something built it better than Harley did.
Yeah, I like.
The one Harley came out with ain't as cool as that one.
I can appreciate what they did there.
Yeah,
dude, they made some huge travel out of that fucking thing. Like, that thing looks like it will mob some shit. I don't know. I'm still hung up on my FXRs, and nothing has won me over yet. Like I say,
how was Born Free last year? I didn't get a chance to go. Was it pretty?
Let me see. Born Free. That's the one where I brought the cop bike down there. Yeah, I went and hung out. It was the same kind of thing. Just kind of lurk around. There's so many people, man. It's so much stimulation, and it's like you don't even know what happened. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell you who I met, who I hung out with. Anything happened. We got in a cool. I think it was last year. Maybe that was the year before. We got in a good bar fight. Yeah, last year I did. That isn't when that happened.
Year before is when I was there, but you were in there on the truck. That's whenever I had to meet up with you to get
up at Cook's Corner that night.
Oh, that was at Cook's. Okay, yeah.
Some chopper dude grabbed the homeboy that was riding in my truck by his dick, walking by him, reached back at a random, just weird fucking thing, and just blindly reached back right in his crotch and grabbed him by the nuts. And that homeboy kicked that dude in the back and started a huge fucking melee. It was badass. Dude got hit in the face with a bottle, got his whole fucking face peeled off. That pretty much what shut it down. Some crazy little motherfucker just popped up. I don't know who it was, one of our people or whoever, and just bang, some dude got hit in the face with a bottle.
You're not gonna get that gay shit over here in Texas at Giddyup.
Oh, bro, it was weird. He was a straight up long-haired Hawaiian fucking shirt chopper kid, just wasted up, fucking drunk as shit, and he caught a boot to the back. I dug how fast the dude reacted that kicked him in the back, because I don't know that I'm that quick. I'm not that fast to think of shit. I mean, no sooner than that dude's hand grabbed his nuts, he booted him, fucking shot him straight forward onto his stomach. I was like, oh, that was tight. And then a whole fucking melee happened, But the last year, I don't even know what happened. I just hung out for a little while, parked it under a tree, I think, and I put my police bike in the little show and stuff, and I don't know, just talked to some people, watched some skateboarding, and a lot of cool outfits and half-naked girls and shit like that. It always stands out, Mm-hmm. It was Born Free. It's been kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a good time that year before.
It's so fucking hot every time,
it
man.
Is.
And I'm not the healthiest kind of guy, So I get in that heat, I'm like, fuck, it's hard for me to walk around out there and shit. Be stroking out, man.
Yeah.
So, it was cool. Giddyup was my favorite. Like I was saying, though, I did a lot of good riding last year. A lot. I fucking rode my ass off all over the place. So, the ride to Colorado, the dude tried to stiff me on the bike. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
I rode that bike all the way to Colorado, and the guy didn't want to buy it. So I blew him up on social media, on Instagram, and a lot of people berated his ass and talked a bunch of shit to him. And I stayed over there in Colorado at this guy Seth Whiteley's house. He's the one that has all the FXRDs, twin cams he's doing. Is he on your radar at all?
I'm not sure, no.
FXR Seth, I don't know what his handle is, but FXRD Seth. He's got two RDs right now. And
I've noticed it when I would go look on Craigslist and shit, looking for for some reason Colorado and Denver, all along 25 there, all those little towns, they always have twin cam FXRs, all kinds of shit up there.
There's a good scene in Colorado for that kind of shit, believe it or not. It's kind of weird, but there are. But I went and stayed at Seth's house for a couple days and worked on some bikes with him and shit. He got badass shit in his garage, so we fucked around, and then when I went to leave, the dude actually hit me up, and he's like, yo, man, I got it together, I want to get the bike. I told him, nah, I ain't even selling you the bike now. You pissed me off. You made me ride to Colorado, and you fucking stood me up. That's just not cool to do, man. You don't do that to people. And so he goes, well, just, I said, if you're on my route right now, if I haven't passed you up, basically, I'll divert and go to you. But if you're not on my route going home right now, the direction I'm already going, I'm not turning around, not even a fucking city block. He sends me his location. I put it in my phone, and it's right where I'm standing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I go, hey, I'm on like 4th Street, or I think he lived on 5th Street, whatever, right? In this certain cross street. He goes, where are you at? I said, I'm at the Shell station. He like whistle. He's like, can you hear me? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm directly behind the Shell station on the 4th Street that runs right along it, right there, right off 25 in Colorado. So I was like, what the fuck? So I fire up the bike, go right around the block, and he's right there at his pad, and I sold him the bike and shit. It was just kind of funny.
So what did you do? Just sell the bike and then fly home, or what?
Yeah, I got on the train. I took a train out of there, like a transit thing, and went to the airport and rented a car, and then drove back to Minnesota. So yeah, and then I don't remember. I was running amok, man. I went back to Minnesota, and I think that's when we got the red bike. No, that was after. That was the last one. I went and got the black one. Yeah, then I went back to Minnesota, grabbed another bike, finished it up, and the day before I was done building it, and I got on it and I ripped that one back to California. That's the one I rode to Sturgis. And this guy, my buddy Al, old Dirty Al, bought that one. He bought my police bike too, and then he just bought that one right after. He was having fun. He was living his best life, man. He got two of my best bikes. So yeah, then he recently just sold the police bike. He's gonna hang on to that RT. That black RT with the twin cam in it, '07 powertrain, was a bike that I actually really wanted to keep. Like I put badass Fox shocks on it. I put some of Brad's pegs on it, boosted Brad's badass fucking pegs that he has. I balled out on that bike I knew Al was gonna buy it, and he was giving me good money for it. So I just kind of and he had already bought another bike from me. So the kind of dude I am, I put $1,400 worth of shocks and pegs on the bike for him, just knowing it was already sold. And I went out of my own pocket and put Fox racing shocks on there, and some of Brad's pegs. So, and then sold the bike to Al, and I'm like, dude, if I could keep any of my bikes, this is definitely one that's worthy of this sick,
There's, for my gold bike, man, there's I'm kind of glad I didn't sell it as a whole, because it's kind of hard enough seeing the tins.
Yeah.
On the homie in Hawaii.
James's bike. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fuck, man. I feel bad sometimes too when I post a picture of it. I feel like I should tag him in the picture, it's his now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Respect for him or something.
But it's his bike still looks good because it's all the frame's blacked out, and the bike looks good. It's just
looks similar.
Yeah. But yeah, it's super weird. You know what I mean? So I don't. And I guess my frame, the gold frame, went to the guy that bought the one Michael Beelin's raffle bike.
Yeah.
So that twin cam out of that's going into the gold frame.
I wish I knew the real whatever happened with that bike.
The dude's from South Texas. He seems cool, man. He texted me the other day.
But why he didn't? He would have had 3 FXR or 3 bikes, and now he's still just gonna have 2.
Well, he worked out some deal with the Michael Beelin dude to sell him back the deal.
I know. I seen what happened, but
VIN number
I
on it.
don't.
He can't even register it,
I think that was the deal.
That was the issue. He got it and couldn't register it. I mean, I'm just speaking out of my ass. I don't know shit. But I know if he tried to take that thing to any DMV or whatever, no VIN, no nothing, they're going to trip.
Yeah.
I imagine that was what he said. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I was curious as to what happened with all that, but.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know too much of the details about everything, but
I don't know any details. I'm just speaking totally on speculation.
Yeah.
just throw that out there,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of that stuff. I mean, I don't know, man. If you're gonna, like I said, I'm not trying to say anything bad, but if you're gonna raffle bikes off, man, they need to work.
Yeah, right? Yeah, don't raffle junk off because you can't sell it.
Yeah, don't raffle junk off because you can't sell it, or you haven't finished it, or whatever the case may be. It's
it's gonna make it bad for the rest of the raffling and stuff. If people are trying to do that. I don't know. I was the first person I seen do that. I don't know. I couldn't tell you when that happened before me. I did 2 of them. Mike did one right after me.
Yeah.
And then I did them on Facebook.
There was before 2016, before I got into the dynas and stuff like that, they were starting to do raffles hardcore in the bagger scene. You know what I mean? And that came from the gun scene, the gun scene, the knives and shit. They started raffling. I got a gun, my pistol that I keep with me.
Yeah.
I bought at a bike night that a dude won that day on a raffle. So it's
oh yeah, yeah, they've had bike raffles for a long time. That Fuck Cancer is one I think about right away. In Sturgis they had that bike.
Yeah, that bike, that Cancer one, that was for that bagger, right? Or was it Softail?
FXR.
It was FXR?
Yeah, it was
oh
gold.
Yeah, that's right.
It was at the FXR show at Big Joe's show in Sturgis probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. I remember
they brought it out there and stuff. It was $25 a ticket. I know I bought 2 tickets for it for sure. And that one wasn't as homegrown. That was like a big mass type of
Yeah,
thing.
that was more about how much money
they're
can they
raising money,
raise
though, for
yeah
cancer.
That's why like at $25 it's more of an insight to sell. But like when you're doing a raffle to sell a bike, or you want to do it like $100 and 200 tickets or 100, whatever the deal is. That way there's better odds. But if you're trying to raffle off for fucking a charity type thing, it's more like, hey, let's try to sell 5,000 tickets at $25.
Of course, as many as you can,
Yeah.
because it's not for your personal gain. So people.
That's also what they do at a lot of these raffles for like Giddyup. They would raffle off a bike, or like the chopper thing. They would raffle it off, but they weren't like stopping like at 100 tickets.
Of course,
they'd be like, hey man, buy as many tickets as you want.
Which is sketchy because you could fuck yourself too. I mean, they're taking a chance at that. The other guys are saying, I'm going to raffle at this. If it don't sell, I'm refunding all your money back. And it's a sure bet that way. Those guys doing that, of course, they're probably going to make way more than fucking...
So, like, what I'm wondering is, like, why is it okay for one way to sell, 5,000 tickets at $25, which is obviously I'm not going to even try to do that math, but it's a lot of money, as opposed to a finite amount of tickets at this much.
I think because one situation, the guy is fully for his own monetary gain, and in the guys in that instance, they're throwing a run for people, so they're actually giving to the community in a way before any of the raffles.
So you should do it like this. You should, hey, like I'm gonna raffle this bike off, and we're gonna be taking your money until June 25th at this day, and then I'm gonna have a party and give the bike away at the party.
Yeah,
and then everybody's like, "Oh fuck yeah, hell yeah!" And it's like you make $100,000 off this bike,
right? More than that. I've always been looking for a hustle I could give everybody, millions of people, to just give me $1 for something,
Dude, I try to do that on the podcast, and I get like 60 of them.
Yeah.
And 2,000 plus people listen to it every time.
Yeah, you ain't winning them over yet, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
But
no, it helps though.
Like, definitely appreciate the podcast, man. I was not into podcasts before yours, and now I'm fucking into it.
See, like this month, like this trip I'm taking to Cali, like our Patreon stuff and our sponsors, like that's my gas money and my travel money.
We talked about that over the phone one day when me and you had a good long rap about stuff, and it brought light to it to me how serious it is. It's not a joke. So yeah, hey, coming from me too, not just Jace, man. If you guys don't understand that, it really, it's not a gain. It's a fucking, it's something that helps.
Yeah. Well, the other good thing is that a lot of people like listening to these type of podcasts where it's in person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The sound quality is better. It's a little bit more personal. And, obviously being in Dallas, like, I'm catching you because you're coming through, as opposed to like not everybody that people want to hear from is coming through.
Right.
And not everybody wants to hear phone podcasts. So like doing this trip, I got Big Chris's number to talk to FXR division. Mm-hmm. I haven't reached out to him yet, so I'm actually saying this before.
I wonder how many FXRs he's got.
I don't know. So
on the tuck, he's one of those ones. That guy is a huge name with the bikes, but he doesn't give a lot as far as social media or like put himself out there.
Yeah,
you don't see pictures of him or anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe that's something people would want to see about. So basically, this trip. I'm hoping that I can sit down with 10 different people that motherfuckers want to hear from.
Yeah.
Whether they're
you have him lined up to do one?
Yeah, I got his number. Paul Lindahl sent me his number, and Mark's good friends with him. I've met him a couple times at like Born Free. And
I don't even know if I've ever even seen the dude. Yeah, man. I'm familiar with a lot of his bikes.
Still, me and the guy from Ramjet have been missing each other.
Tony?
Yeah, we've been missing each other a couple times, and then
he's a hitter.
I'm trying to find some folks up in like Vegas to talk to that I got.
There's a dude at Boulder. I'm just speaking of FXR people, but there's this dude Kenny Pfeiffer from Boulder Choppers. That's I wouldn't even call him a lesser known dude, but he's just not active in social media. He's an old gangster, and that guy's fucking a huge FXR dude. He put an FXRT or something up on a pole. You ever seen that?
Oh yeah, I heard about them.
People fucking were like, "What the fuck, man?" Yeah, because he did that full on to just be like, "Yo,
fuck y'all."
Yeah, you guys are all in your panties in a bunch about these bikes and Mike chopping them and this and that. I'll put one up on a fucking pole. What now? But that's if you meet the dude.
Yeah,
really, really sweet dude, but also very serious motherfucker that you ain't gonna talk shit to that dude. I don't care who the fuck you are.
Yeah, so basically the whole trip is just about getting away, doing some riding and getting back centered or whatever the fuck you want to call it, doing some podcasts. I got a quick job I'm gonna do that's basically gonna pay my rent, which obviously if I just stayed here and work I could do that as well, but this is a cool opportunity to go to Vegas and lay out some graphics. and then we're gonna go to LA and just kind of rip around, run around. That Adam Sandoval dude is supposed to be there too, and we're gonna do a ride together for some video shit. But then I'm gonna be in LA. Other than that ride, probably 3 more days, and all those days I'm just trying to go here to podcast with this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy, and because when I come back, I got a fucking stacked work. Like I don't have a lot of free time to run around and do shit. Yeah. Especially podcasts. Like today, like you showed up, and I need this bike right here. I need to flake that out
coming
today.
In here, I'm seeing a lot of shit around here, bro.
Yeah.
You don't show all the stuff you actually do. I didn't know.
And if you don't notice,
all you've been showing is that helmet right there. I've seen that, but I haven't seen all these paint jobs. You're in here working on another helmet I hadn't seen nothing about, Yeah. So that's what's up. That made me happy to see that.
But that's the other thing is like, it's just me. Like my brother kind of comes in here and there. Right. But
he's not down with it still, huh? I think he's still, bless you, I think he's still too young to see the prize,
like he's got his music stuff, and it's like it's a real passion for him, and it's something that he can feel and touch right now. You know what I mean? Right. Kind of keeping up with like guys like me or you or Mark or a lot of the people that he hangs out with, trying to keep up with us on the type of financial aspects of our buying bikes and working on them and doing these trips. Like he can't do all that, so I think that maybe, I don't know. I mean, he's happy doing what he's doing. That's cool,
I'll tell you this much: he's way ahead of me when I was his age.
That's what we all say.
Even though you fuck with him a little bit, to be real about it, that dude's way. Well, I was already in the joint and out by that age, but that dude's he's sharp, man. He's a smart dude. He doesn't really want to game as far as
he doesn't really want to do the paint like what we do. You know what I mean? And I understand. But the other thing that I keep telling him is like, man, like you have this paint that you can live off of right now. But if you really like bikes, man, like you can start investing your mind in how to work on them, or how to weld on them, or how to do all these other things.
Does he still have his little dyno?
Yeah, he still has a dyno. That's all he got. He don't have a car or anything.
Right. You guys go all in, man.
No, we're just fucking really not smart when it comes to life decisions.
I made some bad decisions. To move back to California and not having my wife there to kind of guide me more, not even guide me, but just that voice of reason, I guess, and oh man, I desperately, because that was a big part of our, like we didn't have no issues really, just not just fell out.
You're probably a little more impulsive with spending and shit.
I desperately didn't want to go broke and have her be like, told you, motherfucker. I told you couldn't manage your money without me, because I did fine before I was ever with her, but then when I got with her, I'd try to buy so much shit all the time. She made me feel like I really was reckless, like I didn't have a game plan or something, and it kind of made me lose my way that way. So now, like, recovering from that, getting back to who I am is where I'm at, but it's been hard, man. The moving back, I just thought I was just going to move back and just flourish and everything was just going to be great.
Yeah, that was the only problem,
I moved back and was dead in the water.
Yeah.
I don't got nothing cracking. I always have 3 to 4 bikes at a time I can list. Right now I got jack shit. I can't list any of my bikes. They're nowhere near. Every single bike in my shop doesn't have tins on it. None. Not one. Not fucking 1 out of 9, bro. The Indian has its tins on it, but there's no motor in the fucking thing. So I got 9 bikes, and they're titled bikes that should be put together. And I'm like buying trucks and doing other shit.
Yeah, and posting a lot of trucks
at the swap meets. And yeah.
I thought we lost you to the C10 game.
Yeah, well, no.
It's rough. Thing's bad though.
Yeah, dude, that truck's hella fun, man. I'm gonna fuck with old schools. Fuck it. Another little thing. We're talking about opening up a vehicles division of Mile Maker, making Mile Maker hot rods. Still same kind of philosophy with taller ratio rear ends and 4-speed transmissions, at least 4 to 6-speed transmissions, 4L60Es, 4L80s, 700R4s. We're not into Power Glide 2-speeds. We ain't trying to be on the drag strip. We want to make autocross shit that you can roll out on. That good brakes, good suspension, tubular A-arms, all the shit I was talking about earlier. So that is definitely something to watch out. And I don't want to say it's going to happen, but there's going to be, we're going to do a few at least.
Well, the good thing is that, like, if you think about, like, especially when you travel a lot, I don't know about you, when I get on the road, like, I start figuring out business plans and all these different, ventures.
That's all we do, man.
and
because
shit.
me and my brother finally are getting to hang together finally, you know, because
Yeah.
he was doing outlaw shit that I was too outlaw for me before.
Yeah.
Doing dope and fucking just doing radical shit, right, we'll say. So we couldn't hang out. We'd see each other and it would literally be a quick hug and passing and just catch you later, you know. He would literally, word for word, he'd see me and be like, yo, man, you know, I'm fucking up right now. So I just want to say hi, but probably don't want to talk to me. I got shit on me. I got a pistol on me. I got dope on me. I'm on dope. I'm fucking...
Yeah, I'm at war with these guys across town.
Yeah, all the shit that I'm not, that I try to stay away from, that's in our faces. He was fully immersed in it, not just immersed, but a major player in all of that.
And thriving, yeah.
You know, so now we got it, because it's been a tragedy. We're both fucking powerful dudes. The fact that we weren't together on something all this time has just been, it's always hurt me. Because I had it in my mind. He was doing just gnarly shit.
Well, I know what you mean. Like, cause, I mean,
it's like with you and your brother, but just we're closer in age. We're only 4 years apart.
Yeah.
So, and we're both more alike. Maybe we have very similar interests. We're both outlaw biker dudes. Literally, we're both the same. You know, you guys kind of were raised a little different than each other, I believe. You know, maybe.
Yeah, like I went through. I had crackhead mom, and he had good credit mom.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Well, we had outlaw mom.
Yeah.
Same mom, dad. You know, same people raising us. So, it just sucked. But now that we are, now we're like catching up with all this time that we missed. So now we're fucking every endeavor. We're gonna move to Texas together. You know, the truck. He wants to get involved with the vehicle part, the trucks and cars of that.
Yeah, I've just been trying to find something different to do.
You know, I used to use this analogy to talk to my brother about like things, and you know, it's I look at my friends, my brother, my wife. I look at us all like eating off the same table. Like we have one big table that we all eat on, and I'm like, like I have a lot of opportunities that come my way, but I'm one man with 2 arms and 2 legs in 24 hours. Is like, if all these opportunities that come my way, if I had people that took the time and cared as much about these opportunities to do a good job or make it something,
the value in it,
then all of us eating off this table are all going to eat it a lot better. You know what I mean? Because now everybody's putting food on the table instead of just me or just my wife or just this or just that. And you know, I think that's kind of the same concept that you're talking about, is like,
very much,
you know, if you have 2 people putting the same amount of energy and effort,
I call it life pooling. like life pooling, making it a little easier. When we're talking about buying a house out here in Texas, I'm like, you know, if our mom drops 70 G's, you drop 70 G's, and I drop 70 G's, we can buy a $210,000 home and own the motherfucker outright.
Yeah.
You know, and that was never a reality for us to think about before. Okay, better yet, the neatest thing right now is his pizza endeavor. I'm talking about working with him on that.
Yeah.
Now, I've always been I'm the older brother that would bring the hustle that he could get in on my shit. That's amazing to me that he might be bringing a hustle to me that I can get on his hustle.
Yeah.
That's fucking epic. That's like Jesse coming to you and saying, I got something for you, Jason. You're like, oh, this better be big to take me away from what I'm doing.
Yeah.
How can you top me? And he has something that's actually solid. That's like, you're like, okay.
Yeah, one day.
You're onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, he's 35 years old. Your
Yeah.
brother's early 20s, right? He's like 21, 22.
Yeah, 23, I think.
Is he
now.
23
Yeah.
now? Ah, time's flying, man. So that's fucking epic, man. Like, I'm considering, you know, if this pizza truck, if it's the demand is there and this works like we fucking are envisioning, you know, I may end up fucking slinging pizzas. I keep all my bikes and fuck everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like build your own shit or find your own bikes or whatever. Or let's just go ride.
Yeah.
Not fuck you. Just come ride. I just want to ride. I want to ride with people. I don't want to do business. I don't want to sell my friends and people I care about bikes and things, and you know. And,
also, the other thing that sucks about doing this shit for a living is like figuring out who's kind of your friend and who's trying to get the hookup.
I don't know. I'm very understanding, man. We're Americans. We want the most for the least.
Yeah.
I get it. Everybody does. I'm no different. They're no different. People can abuse it, you know, and stuff like that, but that never really has bothered me. Just like what I said about our dad, you know, I'm not looking for anything from it.
Yeah.
I do it because I like it. The fucked up part is that I'm getting burned out on something that I love.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to avoid. And you even have said that too, like
like,
painting and shit.
you know, like I said, I've found, you know, when I would get burned out on a scene is what it would. It's never the bike. It's never the bike's fault.
Right.
It's all the shit that comes with that bike or that style of bike or this type of bike or whatever that burns you out. It's like I've never just walked out and looked at a bike and like, fuck you, you know, like everything you're doing. No, like it's not you, man. It's your baggage that brings.
It's the dude's voice that rides on the back of that bike that's telling you shit that you don't agree or whatever, you know, or like, yeah, man. I love it. I always will love it, but I don't want to be burned out on it. And to say that I'm burned out on it doesn't mean I still don't love it.
Yeah.
It's just that literally the best way to describe it is I'm slower to go into my shop now than I ever was. I used to run in there to see what I would produce, to see what was going to happen, to whatever I was going to do that day. And if it was shit I didn't even like to do, I was still fucking excited to do it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, nah. Yeah, I'm gonna go do it today.
But then I was thinking about that shit too, because you know I was talking to my brother about this, man. It's like, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago when we used to be at the shop till 1, 2 in the morning every fucking night. Just, you know, yeah, we were working and trying to keep up with the demand of work, but man, it didn't bother us that much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And now, man, here, you know, 6, 7 o'clock rolls around. I'm like,
can't wait to get the fuck out.
I'm done.
Yeah, I get
ready
it.
to get home.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm riding to work every fucking day, so it's like
that makes you feel better about going to work.
Yeah, it's not so much that it's not that I don't want to work on bikes. It's just that, you know, just like with a lot of things, like I don't look at that bike anymore like, fuck, I can't wait to just try to put this cam in or something. Like now it's like, fuck, man, I got to put a cam in this bike.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. I kind of, you know, I used to be so juiced on building the bikes. I could build a fucking bike from a naked frame to a fully complete bike, assuming I had good paint and enough parts in 2 days.
Yeah.
My pace is so fucking slow now. That poor kid that brought his bike to my shop for me to work on it for him, man. You know, he's making a drive over from not even the neighboring town, probably coming like 25, 30 miles every time. And we get in there and I'm just so slow now. Like, he doesn't even know it. He probably doesn't realize that the job he gave me, I could probably knock it out in an hour. But I'm over there like slowly, like, you know, I'm in there bullshitting with him, hanging out. I'm like, we got to plumb his oil lines. Oh, Jesus Christ. I like put it off like 2 full nights he was there. Finally, I'm like, I guess we better plumb these lines now, you know.
Yeah.
Get out my manual, figure out where they run. Simple shit that just, I would usually just knock it right out.
Just get it done, yeah.
And I'm not doing it now, you know. And I still love it. But.
I found, you know, by doing this podcast and then like getting into like wanting, you know, after meeting like Adam and meeting all these different dudes that do these moto vlogs and shit like that, there's something missing in the visual representation of this motorcycle scene. And I feel like, you know, you see these chopper dudes making these really epic videos about riding like 21 days under the sun and all these cool videos that they're dope and they're pretty accurate, but you know, like most people ain't doing it on, like even those dudes that have those choppers ain't doing it on those fucking bikes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like finding a way to kind of just, whether it's like running around on this bagger, running around with my homeboys like you on the FXR and just creating like real visual content of this lifestyle in a way that's just honest, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and you know, and I've been thinking, and me and my brother are actually on the same page with this, and if I can get him to kind of put something on the table.
Talked about this.
Is like
video.
We were talking about doing like more video, but also like in doing more of like an online real magazine that's more, it's less about telling you about the products, like, oh, check out this new, you know, fucking whatever, you know, like making real videos about the lifestyles that we're living and the people that we find in it.
What you're doing in the podcast, but with visuals, like literally doing the podcast and taping the podcast.
Yeah, in a sense like that.
People see the guys that are talking, see the facial expressions, see the disgust or the happiness or the fucking whatever they're going through.
Yeah, the real shit.
Yeah.
Well, we thought about doing that too, but it's a lot of work to bring video to the podcast because, I mean, there might be an easy way to do it. We haven't found it yet, but you need a studio for that shit. You need a specific spot that's always set up so when you come in, you do it.
But then that almost kills the authenticity, though, if it's all set up like that.
Like right now, like in the shop, like we don't get any echo in here when we talk on the podcast, right? So it's pretty clear when it comes out. Like it sounds really good. But then I got this conference room at my house that's literally smaller than this paint booth right here. And it's nice big table, nice comfortable room, but it's small, so it echoes like a motherfucker.
All off and
so it's like, but you know, I find myself having to do podcasts in there quite a bit because the shop's so far out of the way for people that are around here or if I'm doing a phone conversation, instead of like having my wife watching TV with headphones on so she can watch TV or something,
Right.
and I'm sitting on my table trying to do a podcast. Like I said, it's kind of a pain in the ass right now. When I had my garage, the garage was a good place. We used to do a lot of shit in the garage.
Yeah.
But, you know, but no, like video, like just this ride, like I found that more people reach out to me like from listening to this podcast, and they talk about how they either want to they want to do some riding like that. They just don't have the friends or the people to be involved. And, you know, like, hey, man, I want to meet up with you on part of your trip, which is all fucking dope. You know, it's all cool. But more people want to see people riding these bikes, you know?
Yeah.
And there's millions of them doing it on adventure bikes.
Yeah, very true.
There's just
They're
nobody
really good
doing
because
it
those
on
people are
shit.
tech.
Yeah.
The guys that really ride Harleys are fucking bikers, bro.
Exactly.
They ain't no fucking camera clue. They got no goddamn GoPro.
So that's what I'm saying. So like bridging that gap, man.
My
like,
homeboys for years have said, Joe, you go on epic rides and we don't get to go on. You should film the shit, man. We'd like to see the country, what you're doing, where you're at. I'm like, yo, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
You know, I fucking bring about 6 t-shirts, 10 pairs of underwear and socks, a bar of soap, towel, wash rag. Not much else, man. I mean, I ain't bringing no goddamn camera and charging the battery and making sure I turn it on and shit. Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You want me to be responsible to turn on this camera every time I take off? Negative. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, so basically I just I've been like selling a lot of shit that I don't use, and I just bought this new badass fancy GoPro that's actually sitting in my house, just showed up today. And so I'm trying to learn how to do the video editing, which is getting the video is the easy part. That's the shit we love to do.
Yeah.
But coming back here with fucking 6 hours of video footage,
Right, yeah.
and then making a
All
minute
that
long
dead
video.
space of just a straight road with nothing to see or nothing going on.
Well, it's not even that. Like, just, I mean, the more and more I've invested in learning how to do this stuff, in which I'm nowhere near at the point where I can make a video super badass yet. But same thing. Like, all the information to learn how to do it is on this computer. YouTube and all these other places show you how to use every program, how to do it, and then you got to take that creativity in your head with this, like, physical application of doing the work, and then that's how you make badass stuff. That's how you do paint. You know, you can learn how to do all this cool shit on here, like the physical aspect of doing it, but the creativity in your head is something that you got to have on your own. You know. And so the idea is want to do it, but at the same time, you know, me and my brother were talking about this. The hard part about this is that we're real passionate about it. It's like this podcast, really passionate about it, something I love to do, and I don't plan on stopping even if we're not making any money off of it. But you got to think as like a responsible adult at some point in time, if you're putting all your eggs or all your time into a basket that doesn't pay for anything or doesn't keep you alive or doesn't keep you, you know, able to eat and do all this stuff, it's like, you know, it's like, okay, that's not a good plan. You know what I mean? It's like you're going to be the dude that invested your whole life and lost everything, but you created some of the coolest content that changed the course of the way bikes or bikers are like see the world now.
Right.
But, you know, I died broke.
At the cost of your own fucking life, livelihood, you know?
Yeah. So it's a weird thing, but it's like, you know, I fucking love it, man.
Yeah, I'm so thankful, man. Not to be honest, just that you keep doing it, keep pursuing it. I get nervous that you're gonna just say, fuck it.
Yeah, a lot of people keep saying like, oh, don't stop. Like, our shit has gone up as far as listener base.
It is
every
growing.
month. Yeah, so we're not stopping. You know what I mean? It's just
good.
that, and we make enough money right now off the Patreon so that it doesn't necessarily cost us money anymore. You know, but realistically, all it is now is just like, it's just the trade of time. Like, you know, with having the cushion of knowing that, okay, now this area is paid for, that frees up this many hours and this much time to do more shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all it is. It's like I'm still selling my time, but I'm trying to make this podcast better, bring more people on, find more ways to make it, you know, to use it, whether it is a short video we do or whatever. Like when we go to California with the big ride with all my 6 homies.
Yeah.
Every night, only around the campfires. Every night we're camping like a big portion of that whole trip. Every night at the campfire we're breaking out the mics and all 6 of us are talking about
That'll
that
be
day.
good. Yeah, that'll be good. Highlight an actual ride.
Yeah.
Never done that.
So I felt like, you know what?
I don't think.
That'll be badass. Yeah.
Oh, you know, like Danger Dan does a really badass podcast when he does like his road tripping ones.
Yeah.
You know, he talks, but the only difference between mine's literally going to be probably 7 or 8 podcasts, because I could see us all sitting down, popping open a 12-pack and talking about today, and you know, like, oh man, that one time like you about to fucking wreck, and then you know you didn't,
that
or whatever,
jumped out and everything else.
So you know,
how
like,
about that rain we hit and everything. Yeah.
So basically, like we're camping like Colorado Springs, Steamboat Springs, Wendover. Fucking, we're probably gonna be camping at TPJ's spot if he lets us.
Right.
We're camping at Big Sur. We're camping in Monument Valley. We're camping somewhere else in fucking Colorado. So all these spots, we can. In one day, it might be talking about 4 days. Like when we camp at Monument Valley, it'll probably be us talking about Born Free and Vegas.
Yeah, getting to that point.
But you know, if I put out 8 podcasts, each one of these things are 2, 3, 4 hours long. Like you're gonna feel like you did this trip with us over the course of 12 or 14 hours of podcasting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I gotta piss.
all right.
Say something, Marty. What do you want me to say?
But yeah, we can you know, start wrapping this up. So what else? What's the end?
The end of this.
Yeah.
Fucking Maggie Valley,
Back to the
Daytona, all the events, man. Ride. That's my message. That's what I want to come across. We talked about all kinds of shit. I don't even know what the fuck we just talked about. All I could tell everybody from Big Joe Kid, fucking go ride, man. Come on, please go ride with me. Can I get a motherfucker to go with me across country one time, please? Shit, I'm gonna stalk your guys' ride, and I'm gonna come ride with you guys, and I'll be on these podcasts you're talking about having. I'm gonna be riding with you guys, and I will. You guys know me, man. I'll follow through. So, yeah, just get out and ride your fucking bikes. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's an adventure bike. I don't care you fucking don't agree. If you're on the electric bike from Harley and you don't like the company or whatever else your fucking issue is, shut the fuck up. Put down the phone. Get on your bike. Get in the wind. Be a fucking biker. It's pretty rad. You know, I want some bikers to come back, man.
Yeah.
Not fake ones either.
All right.
There ain't no man buns in goddamn Harley culture.
And if you see me at an event selling pizza,
yeah, buy some pizzas from us.
Y'all figured out a name for it yet?
right now it's the Pizza Pirate, but I'm thinking about changing it. I don't know.
We want to link up with my homeboy I was talking about earlier.
The ice creams, yeah.
We had the Jeremy Kemmerling, FXR dude. Him and his old lady just fucking started up an ice cream business.
Cartel.
Oh, you're
I heard about
familiar?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike.
Ice Cream
Mike's-
Cartel.
Yeah,
Ice cream
man.
cartel, is that what
Yeah,
they
they
call
got
it?
a school bus they turfed out into a fucking badass high-end ice cream truck. So we'd like to just link up with them and do a bunch of bike events, have pizza and ice cream, you know.
Well, for sure. The
ice cream
camp out thing,
cartel,
like I said, if y'all can do that.
Yeah, well, fuck, bro. We'll pull right up to where we're camping right there and just serve it up, you know.
Yeah.
Just with our group alone, it'll make our trip, you know.
Yeah, especially if we start getting drunk and shit.
That's what kind of the whole point is that, yo, you're all fucked up. We make you fire-ass pizzas right now, like good shit.
Real pizza oven on the.
Yeah, man. This thing got a $12,000 oven in it. It ain't no lightweight bullshit. This is some real. We're gonna make real gourmet shit. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I ain't saying we. This
It's
gentleman
all me,
is.
yeah.
I'm hoping that I can be involved somehow. Maybe if it works out like we want.
That's
so. Yeah, man. You're gonna see my C10. You know, keep driving that. My new Dodge that I just bought right now this morning from Robert. Thank you very much. His father's original owner's truck. I've been wanting a diesel truck for fucking years, man. And I'm real slow to get into that because that's big boy shit. It's expensive. And so I'm really thankful to finally have one that I can haul, and I can already tell that thing's a fucking war machine, dude. I can haul anything that there is.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys doing these podcasts, and I appreciate all of the love that I got from the first one. I mean, that was really rad. The response I got.
Still the highest listened to.
Am I still the number one? See, that's pretty interesting to me that I beat out all. You know, you've had some really cool, interesting, and big companies and things on here.
You know, all the FXR people that come on get pretty high listens. You know what I mean? And like I said, we have a pretty good group of the FXR community. You know, which we try to, for sure, give them their, like I said, feed that audience, right? But we, as far as growing this podcast and getting it bigger and bigger, like we have to bring on these, you know,
of course,
the performance baggers, the dynos.
I listen to them all.
Yeah.
I'm not picking through if it's not an FXR one, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the last.
I think
one
a lot of people do though.
I listened to the Von Metal guys recently.
Yeah.
You know, got to learn some stuff about that guy a little bit.
Yeah, on his podcast, he actually said some stuff that I don't remember, but he told me, he's like, "Fuck, man, I said it the wrong," you know, because he's good boys with Sacha over there at Kraus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Something about rear piggyback shocks. They, you know, that he did them first, and he forgot or didn't know that the Olin's already had him or something like that. But
yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, he's a good dude, and you know, he reached out to me about doing some paint work, and I just like, man, like, you want to be on the podcast, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because to me, it's like, fuck, man, everybody was always giving him shit. You know,
I wasn't aware of the dude at all until the fucking clip, that one video clip that really.
You know, you know, not to drag this out too much longer, but one thing I've noticed is that in this biker world now, there are people that are more intertwined with the life. Like, there's many different lives of being in motorcycles, right? There's that guy that's in the scene, in the club, lives in a club lifestyle, right? A real club.
Right.
That dude's got a different attitude and a different look on the motorcycle scene than just an enthusiast, or not just an enthusiast, but another biker that's just a biker that rides around.
Those guys are trying to keep the values of being a real biker that
they come off a lot more brash and a lot more, you know, in your face.
They're fucking bikers, bro. Most of them.
Yeah, and some people, you know, aren't used to that because, I mean, like I said, they're not really, they don't hang out with the local, you know, powers to be of their area. So
they're the first of their lineage to get on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I remember that guy saying that his father and the people before him rode.
Yeah.
And that's why he got, you know. So I'm sure he has a more old school look on things, you know, than some guy that found it on his own. He's coming into it on his own. He doesn't have a model to follow off of somebody else.
Yeah.
Now all he has is social media and what he's seeing around, and may think that shit's way different than what it really is or something. I think that, you know, a lot of the guys in all I'll say about club stuff like that is that those guys are holding true to the original values of being an outlaw. I mean, that's what they're supposed to be doing, being an outlaw biker for the most part. You know, you got to have a license and shit like that. Some of that stuff's kind of like bylaws and stuff. I don't know much about it because I've always just kind of kept my nose the fuck out of it. But I just know that they ride a lot. Part of that's part of the deal.
Gig.
You're damn right.
So when you, like I said, a guy that's in that world can, you know, like they might not be able to mingle or have the same mannerisms that you expect out of an average guy. You know what I mean? And so it's hard to judge people that way. And so, like, you know, like, I'm sure that I could go talk to a lot of different people in different factions of this motorcycle world, whether they are that hardcore club guys or you're just your nerdy fucking CNC guy, you know, that makes parts and rides bikes.
Oh yeah.
So it's like there's going to be different personalities across the board, and some people and definitely different views about it.
Right.
You know, so
different goals with it. Mm-hmm. People want different things out of this. You know.
Yeah. So
some people look at it for money. Some people do it just as a weekend only. Some people live it all day, every day. I mean,
exactly.
And so, I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess that's the point, you know. I'm just trying to live it.
Yeah.
All day, every day, every minute. Just do it. I want to encourage more people to just fucking ride.
Yeah.
Ride. That's it. That's my message.
Well, on that note, y'all motherfuckers go ride.
Yeah. See you out there.
Right.
See you on the road.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a good time seeing him, catching up, getting to know how things have been since he's, you know, moved back to Cali and all that good mess. So don't forget to follow him on Instagram and following all his journeys and seeing all those badass FXRs he's putting out there on the road. Oh man, you guys check out D&D 844 D&D pipe if you want to, you know, get an exhaust system. Also want to check him out on Instagram at _ND exhaust, as well as DandDexhaust.com. Check them out. Also want to thank Texas Performance MC on Instagram, TexasPerformanceMC.com, as well as PaintHuffer.com, PaintHuffer Metal Flake on Instagram. Check all those guys out. Thank you guys for sponsoring us. Also, guys, if you want to, you know, in the meantime, help us out with Patreon, go to our website, Fast Life Garage, and on the front page, you'll see Patreon. Just go on there, man. $1, $5, $10, whatever you want. Help us, you know, maintain all this goodness and all this great shit. And, you know, I appreciate it. we thank you kindly and all that other stuff. So also don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram at The Fast Life Podcast, as well as our shop where we actually do motorcycle stuff at The Fast Life Garage. Check us out. Thank you for doing everything. Continue to share this podcast if you like it. Let's try to get more people to listen to it, and maybe we can stay off the paywall option. Hopefully we do. And I don't know, man. I love doing this. I really do. It is fun. It is passion. There's a lot of passion to it. I love talking about bikes. Anybody that knows me personally knows, you put a quarter in me and a beer, which is a beer basically, and we could talk about bikes all fucking night. So I love doing this, and I want to keep doing it, man. I love for this to be a real career of mine. I have a lot of ideas of how I would like to grow this podcast and grow this medium and bring other content to the table. And, realistically just takes time and money. And, I don't really have a lot of time right now. I don't have a lot of money, so it's weird. Anyway, let's just keep it going the way we're going for now. Thank you guys for supporting it. I hope you continue to do so. And you guys have a good week. We got Cody Childress. We already recorded it. We'll be releasing later this week. Cody is another really awesome dude in the industry, so check him out as well, coming soon.